But actually gets the damage over towards the guys from Damwon Kia. I think that they are a little bit worried, but this position is very classic Inco, to be honest with you, with the fact that, you know, they're usually either squashed between two teams or on the outside between two teams. It's very interesting how they get themselves into this scenario so often, and I think that you bring a good point, John, in the sense that they've allowed this to happen, realistically. They don't like to take too much presence. They'd rather that they chilled with the homies. You know, they had 12 players all in one place that were sort of wary of one another and didn't want to take any fights, because there's always that looming presence of a third party, and it's very, very close by. So now Damwon Gaming, as well as Game Lord and Inco, reluctant to fight one another. Although, with the way the circle's going, keeps heading up towards that northern side, and sooner or later, this is no longer going to become one of these central spots.
Ooh, a trade, 1-for-1. Victor able to get a knock, but Damwon have the backup. Game Lord try and put theirs into the fray as well. Akashi moving forwards, Rob's low, and a second knock goes over towards Damwon. A flush over onto Victor, but Akashi's picking up the points in the meantime. Forest still active for Damwon, trying to get that heal off in time. Has got the DBS. Brutal, catches one, looks for the flush onto Robs. Now one more player from Game Lord downstairs. Narvalo looks to try and survive, the archetypal survivor for this squad, and Forest is the solo. Molotov through the door forces him around that staircase to play a little bit fast and loose with it. Narvalo gets to cover on the outside, but instead decides he wants to go maybe for a little bit of a scrap. No, outside further. Akashi repositions away, and just in time, the Molotov bursts outside the door.
You can hear the shells been popped back into the DBS. Nade goes long, but it's not good enough, and realistically, again, this is a bit of overconfidence and a bit of overzealousness coming through from the guys from Game Lord. They had a good position when they didn't have to push that. They could have waited. They could have gone for the reses.
I think this was Damwon's push.
Yeah, what I'm saying, downstairs. After they'd taken out so many of the members, they could have waited and got those reses as opposed to pushing onto
Hello, bhai log. Hints on new ST player. मिल जाएंगी भाई. Hint भी मिल जाएगी.
Saving grace for both these teams is how much of a non-aggressive team Inco actually is.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check, check.
Narvalo is alive for Game Lord, Blank, and that basically means that Game Lord is still very much alive. Can survive anything, I'm pretty sure. But Victus, they've been holding in this really powerful position for so long with Nigma Galaxy right down beneath them in this compound. And it looks like Nigma Galaxy want to turn the tables at the top, but Aegon is here to play as well. Sun HP able to find the second elimination over.
Hello, bro.
Victus.
Hello, bro.
They have taken heavy hits, and they're down to just the one player. Looking to try and put this nade in through the window. Besiktas full burst.
भाई कल क्या ही मैच था मैंने मिस कर दिया. Hello, Iconic Gaming YT.
And two eliminations for their troubles. Very, very well done to them. A great timing to go for this push as well. Smokes on the top of that ridge side to prevent any of these third parties coming through from PPE that they could basically quietly slip through. So I really like this play from Aegon XA. Sets themselves well. Gets them in the circle. Gets them towards a high ground position. Yes, it's not towards the center, but it does give them a great outpost to start playing from, to start scouting from. BTR out, 14th place, 0 eliminations, nothing found for them.
Not ideal. We've had 3 teams go down early. And in a sprint format, it is dangerous to take these L's this hard. With only 5 places available, right? You're talking maybe 3 or 4 games maximum you can take a dive on. And even then, you will need to be putting up numbers in the others.
Wow.
At the top, we were seeing that bubble in 5th place around 120 points. That's a 10-point average per game, Blank. So you need to be pushing past that.
क्या लगता है आज के इसमें कौन निकलेगा?
Some of our heavy hitters in the lobby, taking a lot of those points in the first place, and I think with the majority of the big players.
I8 last match on. Oh yeah, bro. I8 played too good. Too good.
We're not doing so well, or
कोई next level ही game था यार कल.
From 8th place downwards, it is a rough lobby going forward for a lot of these guys. Good practice going towards the Pmgc Grand Finals.
देखते हैं आज.
Play all your way through.
बहुत सारे सवाल जवाब हो रहे हैं. हो क्या रहा है आजकल यार?
Situation to be in. Much rather be kicking back, analysing these games yourself in the meantime, rather than having to pseudo practice, but also fight for your life at the same time.
But I think like every team will play something else. I mean like they will do their best. But I think I8 के लिए this was a very good confidence boost.
Very much nearly took that spot from them, but they went down fairly early in that final game with only a couple points to leave HVVP the victors. But now they need to do it all again. Circle shifts down southeast, cuts out the compound on the western side of things, but keeps the position in the compound for Vampire, for Inco.
Inco, again, not moving too much. They did clear out that player from down one earlier. Now Valo lives longer, still within the circle. Bit of a barren wasteland towards the center of this circle, honestly. Some good compounds on the outer edges, though, so you're most likely going to see teams play edge for a little while longer. You might see some crashes come through as well.
Wait, circle देखने तो देखते हैं ये chicken किसका होगा.
But they have been doing some good work down towards
DRS भी अच्छा खेल रही है यार, बहुत अच्छा खेल रही है. क्या ST न्यू स्टेट लाइनअप लेने वाली थी? Bro, लेने वाले थे. I mean, let's just not talk about it right now. इस पे मैं पूरा खुल के बात करूंगा. थे discussion में थे, but
not quite so fast up the top.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, there's Agot XI8. They're coming in behind Nigma Galaxy, potentially looking to crash the same building and cause problems.
देखो हमारा scouting process जो है ना वो पूरा वो बहुत different होता है. So we are not like we are not some people like for an instance अगर हमें कोई lineup उठाना हो या player लेना हो कुछ लेना हो हम ऐसे teams उठाते हैं. We have our own strategy. We have around अगर आप देखोगे हमारी टीम में सबसे ज़्यादा पगार जो लेता है ना वो पगार लेते हैं हमारी स्काउटिंग टीम, उसके बाद हमारी सोशल टीम. लिटरली बता रहा हूँ. So we are invested into almost like 15 esports organizations globally. कौन esports organization internationally क्या करी है क्या नहीं करी है, we get to know it before anyone else. So we were considering that new state lineup long back. I think उस time पे it was probably around 2 to 3 months back जब ये conversation उठी थी. And then recently I had one of the guys, we were again started discussing because roadmap नहीं था. तो हम लोग sure नहीं थे कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है कैसे करना है किस मतलब whether new state का होगा क्या. Again it's like it comes under that conflict, so we didn't really take too much of pains into it. But then एक official tournament आया, उस particular tournament से that particular tournament gave us kind of like a hint, and like the guy texted me, one of their team managers, उसने मेरे को ये event का भेजा था कि ऐसे ऐसे official events आ रहे हैं. So then we started talking, but at that time they were already playing with Seoul, and I was like, I was under an impression that they were already signed by Seoul, but which was not the case. So we rather kind of like we're just like okay, so like not a big deal, right? It's not like कोई ऐसा तूफान की बात नहीं है कि मतलब there will be many opportunities even in new state that can come up in multiple ways, but उस टाइम पे ये था कि we have our own process until and unless हमारी अपनी due diligence पूरी नहीं होती है we don't hop on to anything. कुछ दिया था हमने उन्हें offer. I think they had certain requirements. We have property in India as well, which we are planning to use as a boot camp. जो हमने basically last time allocate करके रखा था just for keeping, yeah, just for the fact of keeping it for the BGMI lineup if we take one. But yeah, we were like, yeah, we can allocate them in that particular boot camp. We can take it from there onwards. But हुआ नहीं तब, समझ नहीं आ रहा था, बट अभी देखते हैं. I mean, इस पे मैं पूरा खुल के अभी बात नहीं करूंगा, मैं खुल के बात करूंगा. Stalwart players godlike boot camp में जा रहे हैं क्या? I don't think so. Not yet. यहाँ से DRS भरे जा रही है भाई, भरे जा रही है. IHC कहाँ है? गया. I8 last match. Okay, love from godlike, thank you. So yeah, what can we expect in this match? DRS के 2 knock. IHC A7.
This guy was basically on his last legs anyway. Bacon time. get knocked out. It's on that north side. Great move from IHC. Realize that there's so much space open. It's time for them to move in and start dominating this lobby. Alpha 7 similarly have a good spot. They've been playing out from here for a long, long while. Haven't had to move too much. One of the stronger compounds, but look at this western side.
Let's go,
It's so
Inco.
grouped up.
Guys.
It's so horrendous to push through. So many smokes now been laid down. The fog of war absolutely blooming here.
Vampire have been fairly quiet so far this lobby, but they are playing as 4. They're playing on this flank. Unfortunately, though, Squash finds that nade. Nenebete wants to push in to go for the flush. Will be able to find it onto Stoned, and none of the team from Inco will fall. 5 eliminations.
Strong feeling आ रही है कि God LST PMGC निकाल लेगी.
As LGD holding on the outside here.
Probably.
On this ridge on the outside of this compound.
Nice.
Just getting torn to shreds. 5 eliminations for LGD, and some of the heavy hitters from Group Green have already taken that tumble.
HGP out, VPE out. Bacon Time also not making it through very far, but Inco...
Do you know that Godlike is taking the new state lineup? Yesterday, Cronton mentioned your name. Do you know? Yeah, I know that. It's already out there, bro. What do you mean, do you know? They took the lineup, which is good. I mean...
over the last couple of days, LGD, nades in hand from Suki, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Not a big deal.
Average damage done. It is unbelievable. The amount of work this boy puts through.
Spray from Nenebete over to the Titans, lights them up, but doesn't quite knock them down. Now that position's given away, and LGD are going to launch nade after nade over to it. Looking to burn them down as well. Inco going to be low on these meds. Moving in for Vitali.
ये fight देखने वाली होगी.
MVM pushes
pump,
over the
pump,
top.
pump, pump.
So many shotguns in this close range, and MVM finds out all about it. A nade, a shotgun shell.
Ooh.
Trying to put the hurt on, and it will be good for Squash yet again. Suki falls, and now LGD down to just 1. Chunksy is there behind the ridgeline, but can't be in a position to aid his teammates just yet. Shots over from Teak. Might be able to
LGD
under the vehicle.
Squash ने 1v2 कर दिया LGD को.
The heel being burnt out right now for Chunksy against 4 players from Inco. They did get the res onto Vitali, but they still have to push.
Huge amount of damage been sent through to Inco now. Titan looking to pick
Titan BT दे गया. Titan BT दे गया.
Puncher takes those shots. Inco still taking shots backwards. Nenebete might be able to find himself a thread of an angle here. It'll be very difficult for him. The RS sends nades over towards now.
इनको 9 elimination. इनको पहले अच्छा खेल दिया, बाद में पता नहीं क्या हो जाता है इनको. हार्ट अटैक देके जाएंगे इस PMGC में.
They're still alive. I said it earlier, Game Lord. They're still very much going in strong. Don't know how Narvello does it. Teak. Oh, he's finally gone down.
Oh, very nice.
Ruin it for him. But shots over towards Titan, still good for Nenebete, and Inco still up at 4 players alive. 10 eliminations for Inco. This is the sprint team that we wanted to see. Nenebete finally takes down Titan.
ये दो भी इन्होंने निकाल ली.
This guy is just unreal good at the moment. I think for Inco, he has been such a massive boon to have on the team. The rest of the team doing well to.
भाई ये must fight रहेगी. ये must fight रहेगी.
Survival stage and last chance. A7 now. Looking to go.
ये fight must रहेगी भाई.
TU comes out on top. A7 were able to make things look a little bit better for themselves towards the end of the survival stage, but now
Carrillo down.
Inco might have something to say about it. IHC in the back though from Mongolia, looking to maybe take out the team that sits between them and the 12 elimination squad.
These are all high-power teams, Blank, looking to get into this fight. Revo wants the challenge.
ये क्या कर दिया इसने?
It will be good, but there's a rundown to be seen for it. A trade-off, a 1-for-1, but IHC come off the worst for wear. As Inco can now
ये इनको लेगी चिकन भाई.
5 eliminations for Alpha 7. A good start to their
ये इनको लेके जा. अगर IHC ने यहाँ पे चिकन निकाल लिया ना, लेवल ही अलग रहेगी.
They have 10 eliminations as well.
Nice.
Looking to hit these shots. 4-man squad now for Inco. From a very unlikely position on the map. Took their time about it. This is when to really come alive. Is in these final moments. And this time around, it's not Inco with no utility, no nothing, no ammo on board. This is an Inco fully set up. Backpacks just brimming with supplies here.
मुझे लगता है IHC निकाल लेगी ये चिकन.
2 first aids, no stims, no nades, no utility. Nenebete only 2 first aids himself as well. Vitali, 6 eliminations for Vitali so far. That's almost half of the elimination count for Inco. Doing a lot of work himself. all lit up. Alex maybe soon to follow, but there is an answer coming through. Godless able to trade that one off, but the 2 players forwards might just fall here. Alex hits the deck, doesn't quite get that heal off before getting knocked by Squash, leaving Inko at a 3v1. The trade knock is there, and maybe even looking for the res. It's all on Godless now for IHC, but Inko on the warpath. Looks like they cannot be stopped.
Has to try and find another knock here. If you can find another knock, it will provide hesitation, provide
Inko le gayi
limited amount of time for Inko to move up, but
Inko le gayi chicken.
So unlikely. But Godless is going to go for it anyway. Flank comes through. On the side is limited by this smoke that's been set up. Squash is sprinting into position.
Shotgun.
Oh, so much out
Inko.
And the final chunk is there as well. Inko take the first chicken dinner. The team from Brazil.
ये हमारी दूसरी टीम. हमारा Brazilian.
Insane stuff coming.
Brazilian gang.
And I mean, that is a buffer that you absolutely need at the start of the day. I mean, that's going to run them through a lot. Right?
Like करो बे, हाँ बे, like करो बे.
And not love hearts for the fans at home.
अनमोल तो मेरा भाई है.
You guys are extremely happy about it. Usually on these games, Inko is able to put up a 5 to 6.
Favala. You know what Favala means? Favala means the hood.
Squash here stepping up tall as well. And one thing I absolutely
ले अनमोल भाई तू मेरा mod.
adored from this game was the fact they all had auto shotties coming from that building. They realized that when they were cresting that ridge,
अगर इनको भी पहुंच गई ना ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में, पैसा ही पैसा. और पैसा.
Upon 3 of their players. I was astounded by this decision. I thought, you know, this is going to go badly. But when they crested that ridge, and it's 3 shotguns in the face of 3 players from LGD, they get sat down real quick.
भाई कितने एलिमिनेशन निकाले? 6, 7, 8, 8 और 16. 16 का चिकन. 16 का गोला.
The devil to everyone else in the lobby. And the rest of the team as well, beautifully moving across those hillsides. Really nice stuff from Inko. You said it before, they made some off-the-cuff decisions that panned out very well for them. They made it work, and Inko blast out to an early lead.
Tokir bhai, is that Rolls Royce yours? Of course it's mine, bhai. दूसरे की क्यों चढ़ाऊंगा भाई? चाइनीज टीम को अपने क्लोज रेंज को इम्प्रूव करना पड़ेगा. कोई भी टीम उनको क्लोज में भर देती है. तक लिया. At least you got the joke.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you a question here. Close your eyes and just imagine saying that a team isn't going to make top 5 and you don't even put them on your teams to watch. And then they come out in the first match to win the whole thing.
Do you think that Noah that we saw in league stage was their best, or the best will be in finals? Bro, I'm going to talk about my team, but we haven't seen the best yet out of, to be honest, our own team, Stalwart, but we're expecting much more gunpower in the grand finals. It's chess, you know. It's chess. It's not checkers, bro.
It was in the favor of Alpha 7 as well, but their movement was very
Wait,
nice.
what? Is there any chance that New State lineup also has the same as BGMI lineup of God LST? There is no God LST BGMI lineup. There is a godlike BGMI lineup. Is there any chance that New State lineup also has the same? Also has same as BGM? I don't know what you mean. Explain, Devil Monster. Explain what you're trying to say. Shotgun meta, yes, bro. Except Nova, बाकी सारे Chinese team close quarter में weak. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I think in close range, I have seen Mongolian, Asian teams performing really well, and now today I'm seeing Brazilian team doing really well. So yeah, I kind of agree with you.
That was a question we had initially, right, Sandstorm? Right,
let's go Nigma Galaxy, our hope is with you. Hey, Xerox, my brother. What Nigma Galaxy, bro? What is Nigma Galaxy doing? They're retired now, man.
this going.
No, but I love them, man. I want
I
them
think
to
about
win.
that LGD push that was even more interesting.
I want them to win. They are
LGD obviously
brothers.
finishing second throughout the
How are you,
squad
bro?
stage,
Yes, I
being a
did get the
very, very
joke and
strong
came to
team,
watch your
especially these
stream.
last
Thank you,
couple
mere
of days.
bhai. Thank you for
But they
watching the
also had like
stream.
somewhat of a little bit of a high
Full
ground too. I
lafdabazi.
don't think they
Full
expected the
lafdabazi.
coming their way when they rounded that corner. Even a tree wasn't enough to save.
मतलब
That
तुम
tree's gonna be
लफड़े देखने के
non-existent
लिए आ
with
गए हाँ?
many shotguns blasting it away.
करो
But yeah,
करो करो
fantastic
भाई
to see. The
लफड़े
thing
करो.
is, we've known the DBS to be insanely strong for quite
Off the cuff decision.
they also had like somewhat of a little bit of a high ground too, but I don't think they expected the amount of shotguns coming their way when they
Dyslexia
rounded
हो
that corner.
गया.
Even tree wasn't enough to save. Because that
Bro,
tree's
which
gonna
one
be
is your
non-existent
best
with
team?
but yeah, fantastic to see. The thing
Which
is, we know
one
DBS being so
is
strong.
your
For quite a
best
time, we've
team?
seen more and more teams using it,
We
especially
have
with
lot
the
of teams, bro.
situations
To be
that
honest,
here in England. Now, the fan vote that we've been talking
ये
about
सिर्फ
against
बात
Warriors Sports
Stalwart
Center,
की नहीं है. We are invested
yeah,
into
these four rivals have overtaken one
a
of
lot of other
One
esports
of these
teams,
right? One of these
quietly,
Yeah, one
silently.
of these is actually
Um, but publicly, हमने अभी
right
कुछ ही
now.
नाम,
Out of the 5 teams
like
that
you
have
know,
been voted.
well, two
we
teams
have
aren't like the others, I guess.
announced very
Yeah,
few only
exactly.
publicly. जैसे हमारी godlike is a partnership.
But one of
Recently,
those
we bought
teams desperately
equity in
needs
Inco
the
Gaming.
votes because they got 0
Now
points
Inco
here
Gaming
in
has
this last match.
one of the
Tough
best Call
team
of
to
Duty
beat
roster
from.
as well. So you
We'll
will
see
see
if they can step
godlike
things up,
versus
obviously, over the next
Stalwart
few days. You
Inco
guys at home,
in
though, who are watching, we
Call
have
of Duty.
a survey for you, which
In
you
US.
can share with
Then
us
we
via the
have
2022 Pmgc
the
vote
PUBGM
survey link
roster,
that's gonna be put up
Inco Gaming.
over in the YouTube chat
We have
for you
multiple
guys
other
to
teams.
participate in. Just remember,
कोच
there's a
नहीं है
question
क्या?
of
रुको कोच
who
को
is the most
मैसेज करते हैं
handsome and
सेनेटोर को.
amazing talent. You have to say
जरगल द
matchup.
सेनेटोर किधर है?
Agreed, 100%.
I never know where you're going to go with these, Jason. I don't know if you're going to be nice. I don't know if you're going to be mean. Sometimes he's keeping me on my toes. I hate this. This is weird.
I can be nice sometimes. Let's take a look at overalls. It's going to look very reminiscent of the match rankings, though. No overalls. So we're not going to look at that because we just basically saw it with the match ranking, right? It was just one match played.
ये
We
क्या
still
बोल
have
रहा है?
11 yet to go, but only 5
पहले तो ये
left to go
translate
today.
ही नहीं हो रहा है.
We'll be heading over to Miramar
हाँ,
for our
प्लस
next
stream कर
game,
रहे हैं
which is
क्या?
going to
हाँ.
be, I'd say again, quite interesting. We've had
इसको
3
भेजते
different groups that are on
हैं
stage that swapped
link.
in and out, basically
Link
changing
ba.
where you potentially will drop or potentially have to hot drop against. And now we're finally into that
New
solidified lobby, though there is
start
teams from every
instant.
single group in this one. And after this first day, or after I guess the first set of maps, you should feel kind of comfortable of where you're dropping and kind of comfortable to understand where teams are going to be going.
Especially because you're not going to have that changes of drops and rotation heading into tomorrow's matches, right? It's going to be the same lobby, the same teams, normally the same drops, and kind of similar rotations happening. So it should be good to go. And yeah, LGD, HVVP, really showcasing in the survival stage why they are currently the top 2 teams in this map. And Vampire 2, and Inco, I mean, okay, I was looking, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes even more sense. This makes even more
Bro,
sense. with
do
Inco
you
up there.
think
So,
Nova
I'd like to see
players are
HVVP go
humble?
a little bit further in this game because they had a
I mean,
really tough
I don't know,
rotation
bro.
before we get
Hey, troublemaker, bro. All good, bro. All good.
Not an easy game for them, so this next Miramar game might just redeem it
Hi,
all.
friends. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Anmol Bhai, for
We are
reminding
actually
them.
moving towards Sam's
Brazilian teams and Mongolian teams are all rounders.
Games
Agreed.
on point.
Bro, which one is your best team?
The other way around for the first match.
इनको ST के साथ कोलैबोरेशन करके बहुत मार रही है. Motivation तो है.
I mean,
Motivation
you
तो
know
है.
what? Inco, absolutely incredible.
Hey bro, would you provide a job opportunity
Yeah,
to
Inco,
someone who is
Alpha
into
7,
DeFi
I guess
and
a
any
lot of thoughts on
advice?
them, Inco, what happened
Bro,
last
DeFi
year.
is kind of dead right now,
Obviously,
but I would
again,
love to work with
again,
anyone
Alpha
who has
7
an
are the
understanding of
Brazilian
blockchain
representative. We already have one in
and
the grand finals,
related
but I
to
think
DeFi. Why
Alpha
not?
7, from what we've seen in their first game,
Trouble
great
मेरे
start for
bro.
them, and I think that
कहाँ
they
थे
might
आप
actually do a
इतने
little
दिनों
bit
से? जॉनी
better
दुबई
in
आ
the
रहा
next
है
market.
ना
But
ब्रो.
my main
एक
focus is
स्क्रिम
still going to be
STE
Enigma Galaxy.
से
We saw a little bit
खेलने
of a
बोलो
change
भी
compared to
मजा
the previous games
आएगा.
once again, but this time it's a
I
change
don't
for
know,
the
bro,
good,
if
for the
he's
better.
coming
I
to Dubai or
promise,
not.
okay? I really promise this time.
But
Enigma
yeah,
Galaxy,
Coronton
they
कुछ
had,
बोल रहा
I
था they
guess
are
their
coming to
entrance
Dubai.
towards the mansion area was
BGMI
good,
कब
but
आएगा?
they got pressured by too many teams at the same time. But at
जब
least they
ऊपर
were
वाले
playing
चाहेंगे
together.
तब
And
आएंगे.
I want to see that consistently coming through
Gordon
across
like
the
boy,
games, and
no
I think
need.
that they might actually
Gordon
surprise us
like.
again.
I know.
I love how you said
Lobby
promise,
missing Indian
and I look
teams.
down and I see
Yeah,
Matchman, I make
but
the exact same
what to
face.
do? But do you think
There.
Nova players are humble?
What about your picture?
I
You got
don't know
IHC,
them.
which definitely have
I haven't
better
heard
shooting
nice
coming
things
today and
like
yesterday,
about
DRS
their
and
humility.
Alpha
I've
7.
heard they are not humble,
IHC
but
is a
I
team
don't
that
know
was
it
a little bit
firsthand.
disappointed by in the
Tokir
initial
bhai,
stage.
what is your
I don't think
birthplace?
they'll be
I
able to
was
do a
born
lot
in
better.
Kashmir,
I think
India.
we've seen a slow ramp up of what they've been able to
Both
like
ST
do
and
in
Godlike
these
has
matches. I
same
think
new
especially
state
in those
lineup.
first
God,
matches,
no
not
bro, it's
easy
not
games
our
for them. They
lineup.
keep fighting in the
It's
open. They're
Godlike's
constantly trying
lineup,
to take
not
fights,
Stalwart's
which is going
lineup.
to keep them, giving them a good position if they win the fight.
It's
Yeah,
in
I feel
future
like
can
IHC just
possibly
seeming a
Johnny
lot more
playing
comfortable
on
now. I think
God
they're
LST
used
main
to this
lineup.
Pmgc setting right now. And
No,
I feel
it's
like
not not
can
possible.
even be
It won't happen.
stronger in the matches.
You want me to
Hopefully
drop our
Extra didn't, but I
players
wanna see
and
an IG win
how?
eventually,
I mean,
because
logic
IG is
istemal karo
quite
dost.
threatening.
So where can I connect with
Heard him.
you
He's
for
cracked right now. You know
opportunities,
he's not
bro?
cracked. He's a team on top.
Fahad, maybe
Currently
Discord
at the bottom
या
of the
तो
leaderboard, 0.7 points. You know, Sandstorm you talked about before. You
Wait,
have
मैं
one
ना
guy
ये
here
I will just pin my
11
Discord
points,
server
12
link
Megatron.
जहाँ
We
पे
have to
sometimes I'm
anything
active.
less than
Discord
really
join
strong
करो.
matches from now on.
I think
Edit
what me and
invite
Maxman
link
agreed
not
to
expired.
is
Never
maximum of 2 games,
generate
but then you would
copy.
need to have 8, 9, 10 point,
Key.
10 point
No, wait,
games
wait.
consistently throughout the rest of the tournament. So if you make a mistake in this game, then we need top game performances every single time.
All right, let's head over to our commentators to jump into Miramar here with John Allen and Blank once again.
Yeah, I have just pinned the Discord link. Let's connect there and Instagram, of course.
I'm sure our teams
मैं okay.
will be trying
Watcher, मैं बस दुआ कर रहा हूँ कि LGD qualify हो जाए 4 Chinese teams. But why would you pray for Chinese teams, bro? I hate Chinese teams. क्यों competition tough और tough करना है? Tokir bhai, if Godlike comes to international official tournaments, will ST will change their name as Stalwart? Yes. Stalwart name change नहीं होगा. We'll just work. We'll just play as Stalwart. Scree खेल रहा है क्या? Yes, Scree is playing. He's not playing today, but we already qualified. FYI. Jonathan joining ST. No, bro, he's not. Thank you, sir. We'll send you. We'll ping you. Godlike is danger. पागल हो क्या भाई? Johnny अपना BGMI लाए. Yeah, exactly. ज्ञान दो इनको.
And you were saying, for that bubble position in 5th place, you need to hit a 10-point average. Well, right now, technically Inco sorted 3 of their matches, so the next 2
भाई समझदारी की बात की है. Watcher मेरा mod.
16th place, and they'd still be on track to hit that bubble position if they hit 10 points and then
PMGs to Gordon Stalwart. क्या? Gordon Stalwart ही जीतेगी. जीतेगी भाई, जीतेगी. जीतेगा भाई, जीतेगा.
They're very good at finding these positions towards the center of the
1080.
map. It's pretty decent. I'm liking the decisions they're making. However, very big decisions have to be made going forward with this kind of circle that moves away from the western path on the plane.
Goodness me, yeah, it is really again a hard
Stone भाई मुझे पोच कर लो.
to the eastern side.
तुझे किससे पोच करूं?
Zoning over towards Impala. Difficult set of rotations now for the teams, as you say, all on that western edge flank. Ooh, shots from LGD. And again, they're in an early scrap. A very efficient knock and flush for LGD. But Enigma Galaxy, again, taking a little bit of a hit here.
Godlike के लिए पागल हैं हम लोग. Stalwart के लिए पागल नहीं हो. देखो perform क्या कर रही है टीम. Gordel अपना काम करिए. BGMI में dominate. Stalwart PUBG में dominate. Domination ही domination भाई. खुले में domination.
A little bit better towards these finals. Besiktas have had a really good run all year, and I think that we just haven't seen that powerhouse mentality coming out from them. I think you can look at a team like HVP and VPE as well as LGD, just bullies of these lobbies at the moment. LGD in particular, not afraid of absolutely anyone. I think VPE, similar kind of play style, where it's just a case of sending in, getting all those points on board, and just taking it to absolutely anyone. 2022 special crate, though, will be dropping soon, December 5th through to January 8th. You can try and pick some of those up, get yourself some nice bit of kit from that one. Make sure you look good in game and support some of these teams as well. Let them know that
What the fuck?
Show. On the other hand, back to my original point of not being a bully, it's HVP who've taken a bit more of a careful approach to these games. And I think although you'd see them as perhaps one of these teams that goes in and it's very oppressive to play against a lot of times, they don't necessarily take that kind of stance that you see it from LG.
Yeah, लोग ना मतलब guys, like this is so fucked up, man. This was.
They demand that kind of respect coming through from you.
You know what I've just realised is HVVP drop northwest on every single map that we play. It's a relatively unimpactful thought, but it's still kind of interesting. Maybe they just like heading southeast, it's their vibe.
Anyways, छोड़ो. तौकीर भाई चिकने बन जाओ. Why? अरे तौकीर भाई सबसे ज़्यादा satisfaction तब आएगी जब सबसे ज़्यादा tough lobby में जीतेंगे. रात में नींद अच्छी आएगी. एक बात बता वॉचर. ये जो ग्रीन ग्रुप था ये कौन सा मतलब सबसे आसान ग्रुप था. It was an insanely tough group. न्यू प्लेयर कब होंगे अनाउंस? जल्दी होंगे सर. पीएमजीसी में एसटी के साथ टीम में जोनाथन का फोटो तो लगा सकते हो. पीएमजीसी में एसटी के साथ क्यों? पहले तो क्यों और कैसे लगाएंगे फोटो उसका? क्यों? क्यों और कैसे? तौकीर भाई ये नोवा वालों के खिलाफ कुछ प्लानिंग बिठा दो. क्या प्लानिंग बिठाए? कॉम्पिटिटिव में हरा देंगे यार, जैसे हराया ग्रीन ग्रुप में. करेंगे कोशिश और we will try and dominate. Bro, look, Nova is not a joke, right? Nova is a monster of a squad, right? They are 2 times world champions. Their experience, unka like gameplay, it's next level, bro. It's next level. But we just want to, yeah, I mean like.
The field of the area. We'll see if anyone picks up on this. I think most other teams will be more concerned.
Yeah, we just want to outperform them. We are working hard. The guys are performing well. They're really working hard. Yeah, we will see how that goes, and we'll try and beat them in a fair competition. कभी दुबई में प्रॉपर्टीज लेने का प्लान है तो बता दो ब्रो. हैव अ रियली गुड रियल एस्टेट बिजनेस इन दुबई बिटवीन लव एंड दुबई. Ojasvi Goel, I own a real estate company
Their first point of the tournament.
in Dubai. I have my own real estate company in Dubai, if you didn't know.
Coasting into this stage.
But yeah, लास्ट के जोन में हमेशा ये लोग की फाइट होती है और जो भी फाइट जीत जाते हैं वो मैच जीत जाते हैं. यस. हेलो सर. हेलो. ओ रशर ब्रो, हाउ आर यू ब्रो? भाई कहाँ है तू यार? तेरे को कॉल वॉल किया था, तू दिख ही नहीं रहा. Green group was the toughest. Yes, in PMGC Grand Final, why are you changing your lineup? We are not changing our lineup in Grand Final, for your information. ग्रीन ग्रुप की बाकी टीम्स भी सर्वाइवल खेलती तो येलो ग्रुप की टीम्स के टफ होता सर्वाइवल खेलना. सर्वाइवल खेलती तो येलो. आई डोंट नो व्हाट यू मीन. एसटी भी कम है क्या ब्रो? ऑफ कोर्स टॉप ऑन टॉप ब्रो. टॉप ऑन टॉप. ST versus Nova, love to see. Yeah, bro. So far they have been outclassing us in some situations, but strategically they couldn't defeat us. We had better strategies. Winner will be from green group for sure. 100% bro. मैं पहले दिन से बोल रहा हूँ. पाजी आज अरे यार तू एक रशर. तेरे को मैं पाजी ये भेजता हूँ. क्या कहते हैं इसको? लिंक. Stay in the call.
Delivered. A little bit of a point there straight to them. Ragey, as well as the rest of the reject squad, moving outwards. This is towards Impala. Managed to get
रशर पाजी मैंने मेरे को भेजी है. लिंक भेजिए आपको.
Towards the south side too, looking to move in.
आ जाओ.
A lot of teams on our outer edges though, very much outer edges.
मुझे पोच कर लो, रोल्स रॉयस चलाऊंगा. तुझे पोच कर लूंगे तो रोल्स रॉयस क्यों चलाएगा मेरी? ये बता.
IHC currently in front of LGD as well as Nick Galaxy, and HVP slowly making their path down.
कुत्ते दे कुत्ते उत्थे कौन? एसटी. पीछे देखो पीछे.
Samuel and the teams on the outside. It feels like that's going to continue here today, which could be interesting to see unfold in terms of those dynamics.
Top on div, giving tap to everyone. भाई डैमेज देखा तुमने टॉप का PMGC में? भाई मैं बहुत वो बंदा, I promise you he will be the biggest name in PUBG. I take my word. Top especially. Top is a killer, bro.
Setting up towards where we've got a
killer.
lot of teams sending very central. That includes Inco, which we sort of expected anyway. IHC able to put up a good performance on last game with 22 points. A7 also 15. LGD, although going out rather early, were able to get that 10-point average on board, which is great to see for them, continuing on their track upwards towards the top of the lobby. But yeah, this is one of those positions where you want to get set up nice and early. I think DRS has certainly gone for that one, which is on that high ground, because the further you get in towards this area of the map, the more the circle shrinks down towards Impala. It is really tough to get.
Scree is love, bro. Scree is emotion. भाई मुझे लगता है या तो बसिकतास का चिकन होगा, या तो बसिकतास का ही चिकन लग रहा है.
As well, a lot of teams will want to make that rotation through there because there's not a lot of valuable rotational space through Los Leones.
बसिकतास का BJK बसिकतास का चिकन लग रहा है. जोर उन पे बना है. मिनी मस्त चलाता है टॉप. यस. हे ब्रो, व्हाट्सएप चेक कर लो. अनानिस, यस ब्रो, आई checked it. I'll wait. Actually, I didn't check it properly.
Inco will go untouched by BTR. They find a little bit of a ridgeline. Okay, I say that. They're going to be taking a couple of shots, but very, very minimal.
I will go with BTR. ठीक है RKS भाई. Betting lines are open. फाइनल्स में एक्शन भाई फॉर्म में आ गया तो पक्का नंबर 1 रैंक. भाई इमेजिन ये आइडियल सिनेरियो है. आइडियल सिनेरियो ऐसा है कि फाइनल में पीका डज व्हाट पीका डज, एक्शन और टॉप दोनों फॉर्म में आते हैं. अभी तो फिलहाल हमारा ये चल रहा है ना, वन इज इन फॉर्म, वन इज नॉट इन फॉर्म, वन इज इन फॉर्म, वन इज नॉट इन फॉर्म. Imagine both of bro, the day they both of them come back, धुएंधार मजा आएगा. To be honest, Kree is a lot more than just a support. I agree, bro. He has a very high level game IQ. He like देखो टीम कोऑर्डिनेशन में सबसे ज्यादा important होता है टीम में, you have to be selfless. अगर एक सपोर्ट खेल रहा है so he has to play like you know as a support. He doesn't have to kind of like you know, अगर स्क्री को देखो ना, स्क्री like if he knocks down a guy, he will come take the spot of action or top, he'll tell them finish, take the kill, till then I'll give you support. So he actually does what his job is. He's never selfish. So in between them we have a very good bonding. Pika is the IGL, yes, obviously. So Pika is the IGL. Pika is not just any normal IGL, bro. वो बंदा बहुत भर देता है. He has a crazy good survival instinct. His understanding of the game is too good, bro. Too good. He knows how to play with the minds of other teams. And he knows how to position himself. PMWI top का device का bro, अगर PMWI में I can guarantee you one thing, if we didn't had the device issue and अगर हमारी 2 games में major जगहों पे like तीसरे circle पे आके position और zone लेके हमारे device के साथ mess up नहीं हुआ होता ना, we would have won. PMWI हमारा था, इतनी लीड बना लेते. बट kudos to Vampire the way they played, but yeah, PMWI में we were just a bit unlucky. PMWI, okay, Luxy Zaxi BS form में आ जाए तब मजा आएगा. Luxy Zaxi, yeah, I mean they are big names, bro. They are legendary names. और यहाँ से IHC I have very like high hopes on. They are veterans. I love IHCS. Gameplay very good mindset. Very good mindset. Good experience. इनको पे zone वैसा है क्या? इसमें तो तख्ते ही पलट रहे हैं जैसे लग रहा है. What do you think? God LST is aggressive or they for plus? भाई देखो, we are for strategy. You aggressive होना is not always smart, right? Aggressive होना is not always smart. अगर आप for an instance अगर वो aggressive पे चले जाते हैं, full aggression पे चले जाते हैं, then you have to understand that in a group like green group, is it actually smart? It's not. HUEP की वही strategy, 2 दिन benefit किया, तीसरे दिन they were not even in top 3. So that strategy never works. You should know that exactly कब aggressive होना है तब aggressive हो, और हमारा aggression everybody in the world knows. अगर आपका फॉर एन इंस्टेंस आपको डिफेंसिव खेलना पड़ता है, मोर स्ट्रेटेजिक होना पड़ता है, देन इट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग. यू गेट माय पॉइंट? व्हाट हैपेंड टू एनजीएक्स हियर? आई डोंट नो ब्रो, लाइक होता है कभी कभी. यू आर नॉट इन इट, यू आर नॉट इन इट. आपको नहीं लगता 18 गेम्स मिलनी चाहिए थी टीम्स को? आई मीन मेरे लगने ना लगने से क्या होता है? आई थिंक सो फार इट इज वेरी गुड. आई लाइक द फॉर्मेट. इसमें मतलब हर टीम को पूरा चांस मिल रहा है. एवरी टीम इज गेटिंग अ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी. यहाँ से मुझे टिक्सी का गेम प्ले बहुत पसंद है यार. एचईपी का मिरामार में स्पेशली मुझे टिक्सी का गेम प्ले बहुत सही लगता है. टिक्सी और मेटिक का. इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पता है क्या होता है? अगर आपका 1 या 2 गेम्स बुरी जाती है ना, देन प्लेयर का माइंडसेट ये होना है कि चलो ठीक है, हो गया तो हो गया, एंड ही इज स्टिल काम एंड ट्राइज एंड कैन हैंडल दैट प्रेशर. Like that makes them
Ahead of
that
Vampire.
makes them like what they are.
Vampire are scoping out every angle of ingress to try and move in, which they will have to do after this shift. Keeps a little bit of Impala in there, but Alpha 7 will have to get a little bit more active with it on that southeast side. DRS may be looking to regroup on their 2-2.
I think at this point in time, I don't think you can say that someone upstairs isn't looking out for Inco Gaming at the moment. They are getting some incredible luck on these circles, even throughout the entirety of
सर्वाइवल
survival
स्टेज
stage.
पे
Yes,
नंबर
they
1
moved
टीम
them
को
very
डायरेक्ट
quickly
फाइनल
towards the
एंट्री
second
चाहिए
spot,
थी.
but
नंबर
typically
1
don't
का
move
कोई
to this
फायदा
type
नहीं
of
चाहिए
position
था.
anyway. A lot of times, if
Well,
Circle does head over
we can all
towards them,
argue.
I think you have to give them credit. And I don't want people to take me in the wrong way that I'm saying that this is the only reason they're winning games, because I think that they do send towards the center of the circle quick. Their macro to get into that position is very good, and they hold down those positions well too. The thing is that how long does this look continue? Because I'm curious to see how Inco Gaming does when the circle moves away from them. They have to start leaving these compounds. If it remains for the rest of the tournament, great news. I think this is 100%, and I'm very, very willing to say if they never have a circle move away from them, 100%, I think that Inco Gaming will hit in towards that top 5.
Have to wait and see if they're able to achieve that, if they're able to get it, if that ground is afforded to them. LGD, 11 points on the first game.
Hoping that God LST
Should
will
extend
win
power
PMBC
yesterday.
2 on
They almost
2023.
made it
I
into
hope
top
and pray,
spot.
bro.
Second place
Are you trying to
on the
take
survival
Indian
stage.
PUBG new
Only
state
got 11
lineup?
points, about
No, bro.
4 points in
I'm
it, so
not.
it's really, really close to them and
लेना होता
HVVP.
तो कब का ले लिया
But at the
होता.
moment,
OS
they
को
have
कब
outperformed
से जानते हो
their
पर्सनली?
rivals
OS
at
को
the
मैं
top.
बहुत टाइम से जानता हूँ.
Still,
OS
only
and
one
me
game
also met
behind
in
PTR
Delhi
and
LAN.
HVVP. You never can blank. Vampire on the western side, similarly powerful. One of the group green teams gives everybody a little shiver down the spine whenever they look at them.
So you can't discount HVP. I think it's one of these things where, if they're gifted one of these great edge playstyle games where they can comfortably rotate in and start clearing out members, they'll do very well. I don't think that this is one of those games though, John, with the amount of compounds that are still available, playing on this edge side, it's going to be very difficult to pick up these knocks to capitalize on the back of it, especially from this northern side where it is so open. So for HVP, they're going to have to play a very long game here. We're talking 25 minutes before they start being able to do anything, and that's with the hope that the circle moves back up towards that northern side, because BTR currently are one of the teams that they would like to go up against. Assaulting that longhouse is a little bit easier than the others as you're able to hit all onto one side, but again, there's a bit of a dip going up towards that area anyway, so they have to hit that hillside, they have to move on forwards, so there's a lot going on before you make that crash. In the meantime, BTR can take that moment of hesitation to grab the nades, get them cooked, and send them
Hello,
out
hello,
as
hello.
they hit
Okay.
that singular position.
Volume बढ़ाओ
So
तौकीर
for
भाई.
HVP,
I hope this
difficult
game का
position
या
to be
मेरा?
in going forwards.
Hello,
I in the
99 Wizard
meantime,
bhai.
that
Who is the
last
most
stage
famous
run, I
person
think
you
they've
have in
done
your
something
contact
very well
list?
with
I
it, and I think they've
wouldn't
made
take
some right
names,
choices. However,
but
this time
yeah.
around, they've got a
कल
nice
I8 का
spot.
मैच देखा.
Alpha 7
Yes, bro.
though,
I saw highlights,
enough
but
for
then I
them
went
to
and I
be
actually
coming
watched
out
the game.
in
I
a
was
very
busy
strong spot.
somewhere.
It's 2 knocks to start off with, and then they're aggressive with it.
Mafioso needs to slow down this push to allow for these
CODM World Cup में गॉर्डल ही जीतेगा. देखेंगे. Let the best player, may the best teams win. अबे LGD और इसकी फाइट लग गई भाई. Come on A7. हगना नहीं, हगना नहीं, हग दिया. गए, 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 गए. LGD ने दे दिया भाई. LGD ने दे दिया. ये देखा अब क्लोज कॉम्बैट. क्लोज कॉम्बैट में LGD क्या करती है?
What a wonderful push coming through from LGD. They are very aggressive and quick with the trigger where they need to pull it. Circle moves over towards that central position across the roadside. Titans currently trying to put the pressure down towards LGD as they made that push. They had oversight towards this position, but they will have to move as well. And I think for LGD, with the vehicles they have on board, the YZZ is smoking.
Very
It'll
good
be
push.
a little bit of an easier push for them to send
Very,
towards
very
that
good
north
push.
side, though it is all fielded up towards the Game Lord compound on their north, so very, very open. Nice shot though coming from HVP. Maybe
बसिकतास का डिनर लगता तो मैंने भी वही कहा था पहले ही बसिकतास जीतेगी, but let's see. आना तो इनको का चाहिए. BTR ने HVP ने पुश दे दिया BTR पे. ये इसमें मजा आएगा. ओ टिक्सी पहले नीचे. ये गड़बड़ हो गई.
Bigatron able to rebut
क्लोज
the
कॉम्बैट
first
में वो
push,
लोग
but HVP
एडीएस
still
से
have 3 players
इंटरनल
inactive, still have 3 players
इस्तेमाल
alive,
करते
and the
हैं
instinct starts
रादर
going
देन
through
क्रॉस
the window.
हेयर फाइट.
After a little bit of
बड़ी
overconfidence there
नॉलेज
on
है
the
यार
push
तुम
from
लोगों को
Tixi,
यार.
didn't have the sightlines to back up, covering that doorway. Going
अब
down
देखते
is
हैं.
not ideal.
अब उम्मीद है
Not gonna be
मैकू पे.
dramatic in Kitsune. They're going to slow it down, get that healing done, and go again. Remount, because they do still need to push south.
It's a really good move from Misery there. As soon as he sees that circle come downwards and the northern side be cut off, realizes that this is the compound that
ये
most people
ये
will
OG
want
fight
to
है.
pick up in the meantime. So
Nova
sends himself
versus
forward
BTR
towards
OG
that
fight.
position that everyone wants to hit up before they start making their move onto this building. Able to just wait by the door side. Really well done.
HVP
Misery.
भाग गई?
HVP have to make some tough, difficult decisions going forward.
यहाँ
Damwon
से
get absolutely cut to pieces by the guys from Inco. Not quite out yet though, with 2 players down and knocked.
भाई इनको DWG को भी दे दिया. नाइस नॉक. भाई चाइनीज एक बार इतना अच्छा खेलती है पूरी इरिटेट करती है. हाँ.
Trying to stop them doing just that. Aegon XI8 are there as well, just a little bit ahead. It's a difficult push for both of these two teams.
Vampire ने
okay. Taking heavy shots. Will be traded off. Vampire fighting out on 2 fronts and actually winning.
Nigma Galaxy बाहर. नावी नावी हाँ नावी मार दो. साउंड बढ़ाओ. किसका गेम का ये लो बढ़ा देता हूँ. ऐश करो.
Compound retreating their position. Nade over from Icy is good, and Schwepp does go down to Godless from IHC. Ravenclaw moves up into the smoke, moves
Face
over.
cam bigger.
Actually going to be looking for this res as well. They do not have a lot of time to get it
ललित
done.
भाई इतना प्यार मुझसे.
Very fast. Icy still doing so much work
ललित
for the
भाई
squad.
इतना प्यार.
Finally the flush comes through onto Stone.
ले चल बढ़ा ही देता हूँ अपना फेस कैम. बाद में नहीं बोलना ब्लॉक हो रहा है ब्लॉक हो रहा है.
Looked like they had a little bit of a shout, but now they turn their attention over to Aegon XI8. IHC disengage a little bit. Icy not wanting to push over, and the rest of the team much further south.
Difficult for VPE here, right on the edge, no cover to speak of. Find their way through. Aegon XI8 cannot hold the entirety of that compound to themselves, but they're doing a good job of it. They're split a little bit, so losing members would be unideal. IQ not going down, really important.
लो बढ़ा दिया.
That might have opened things up pretty massively.
फेस कैम बिगर, फेस कैम लिटिल बिगर. बढ़ा दिया ललित भाई. इतनी भी क्या शक्ल पसंद आ गई मेरी. लास्ट चांस है ना. डिस्क्रिप्शन देख के डाउट आ गया. डिस्क्रिप्शन में मैंने क्या लिखा है. भाई डोंट माइंड व्हाट आई राइट इन डिस्क्रिप्शन बट यार. ए लास्ट चांस है. एनी बीजीएमआई न्यूज़ ब्रो. अभी कोई न्यूज़ नहीं है. वैसे लोग थोड़ा सा इंफॉर्मेशन है कि मार्च तक आना चाहिए. जब तक इश्यूज देखो. हाउ कैन एनीवन से कि ये गवर्नमेंट के साथ इशू कब रिजॉल्व होगा.
Right? Proving to be very troublesome.
Like Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli.
So far, this is the
Kohli.
question I wanted to ask: is how does Inco
I
fare
look
when it
like
comes
Virat
to
Kohli.
leading these compounds? They have the shotguns, but not super useful here. And it's a very typical position. Teams will play, but very nadeable. Gem Foster sends in. I don't think it's necessary for him to hit into it, but he goes for it anyway. Will get knocked. Becca last remaining for them. Then Abete on the back, also not just him to
Gordal ललित भाई को रिश्ता भेजना. अरे हाँ भाई. I'm straight bro. Straight as an arrow. ओए इनको अभी इनको और इसका इनको और BTR एक नॉक. ओ तेरी.
A lot of those points away actually. 2 eliminations over.
मैं बोला था ना इनको क्या होगा.
That it is HVVP in this bunker. Playing for that position, they know this is in.
अब DWG दे. अबे DWG BTR.
ओ तेरी. Looking to commit to try and take down the squad, and it will go through. 3 eliminations for Bigatron. Again, not the greatest of results. First 2 games not going their way, unfortunately. On the northern side, it's starting to heat up continuously, though. HVVP down to 2 as down 1 take control of this position. Vampire suffering. Aegon XI8 finally able to deal the final blow.
Wipe out. वाइप आउट दामवान किया ने निकाल दिया. इनको खत्म.
It's a good game from Engon.
यहाँ से LGD versus Game Lord versus Besiktas, very good.
Hold down the majority of this compound, which is not easy to do, by the way. You need to be really aware of what's going on around you, and it seems like they are taking that momentum. It was a little bit stymied by that
Game Lord
previous day.
गया, Game Lord
Match,
बच गया.
sorry, but
Game
back
Lord बच
on
गया.
form now. Bacon Time going up against the two players coming from HVP. Already one knock on towards Bacon Times.
इसमें IHC निकाल लेगी, देखना थर्ड पार्टी निकाल लेगी IHC. लेकिन अगर उनको पीछे कोई नहीं आया. बेसिकतास को साइड क्लियर करना नहीं आ रहा है, दिख रहा है उसको वहां से दो की फाइट चल रही है भाई, घुस जा साइड से.
A stark callback to the last game that we saw for them. LGD.
ये HVP को क्या हो गया, इतना डिमोटिवेटेड. हाँ भाई, इतना डिमोटिवेटेड. अब वो प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट्स पे खेलेगी.
Top 10 teams now. Aegon XIA have another fight on the cards, this time with IHC. Couple more frags under the belt for IHC this game, 6 eliminations. But it looks like
IHC का चिकन है. नहीं भाई, यहाँ पे I8 पे कंपाउंड है, उनको निकलना पड़ेगा कंपाउंड पे भी. जोन पे पता चलेगा. जोन से they'll need to clear their back. Unless they don't clear Aegon I8 का को clear नहीं कर देते, they won't be able to do anything.
Play with so much open ground towards this center area. They're going to say they absolutely need to get.
ये देखो LGD वहाँ से कैसे निकलेगी वो देखना है.
Off the back of it. Godless is already sent in, so right now
very
it's
good.
a 3-man squad there for IHC. Can still provide support over.
Where is ST team right now in the boot camp, bro? हर्ष न्यू स्टेट के बारे में कुछ मत बोलना, कंट्रोवर्सी चालू है इधर. तुम लाइमलाइट में आ जाओगे न्यूज चैनल पर. आने तो भाई कौन डरता है. IHC जूस वाली रूप दिखा रही है. Yeah. I hope.
Going to cut the mustard here in the last chance
Practicing.
Scenario. And remember, HVVP was a team that everybody was expecting to go through as a direct qualifier from the Group Green stage. They did so much work. LGD
क्या नावी बाहर हो चुकी है PMGC वर्ल्ड लीग से? नावी टीम डिसबैंड हो गई थी भाई. वो उनका PUBGM रोस्टर डिसबैंड हो गया था. They are now called HVVP.
Picking him up, grabbing it on him into the circle, and DRS up to 5 eliminations. Aegon XI8 now.
इनको DRS नहीं जाने देगा आगे.
Over onto IHC, spray transfer to Seoul, not quite able to get.
ओबे ज्ञानते ने 1v4 कर दिया. नहीं 1v3 कर दिया ज्ञानते ने LGD को. नहीं 1v2 कर. ओबे नहीं 1v3 कर दिया. नाइस ब्रो. टॉकर भाई कंटेंट दे दो. मांगो कंटेंट.
So a lot of bullets to fend off any.
क्या कंटेंट चाहते हो? स्ट्रीम देखो मिल जाएगा.
The only team really central.
अरे मैं पीछे हूँ क्या? हाँ. God, nice IHC ने. Nice, well played भाई. I8 निकाल दिया. I8 को निकाल दिया.
They have fell short a fair few times, but Ice moves in, takes down Kitsune, 8th place. We drop down to 16.
Delta ने Bacon को eliminate कर दिया. Nice.
In the process.
DRS भी अच्छा खेल रही है. Damwon भी और IHC मुझे लगता है भाई अभी भी बेसिकतास पे गेम है. अगर नहीं हाँ बेसिकतास पे ही सर्कल है. ये देख लो क्रॉसहेयर फाइट. या ब्रो एलेक्स का नॉक अबे गई.
They had one of the biggest days in the tournament. 86 points on their second day of the last chance stage. Looking to try and answer that call. A shot over towards Reject is good to open it onto Reiji, playing 2-2. What ground do they have? What cover is there available to them? It's all going to be on these divots, these ditches. And Godless isn't going to make it easy for Damwon to move forwards.
Circle really putting things in a
Karma Queen. Hello sir, copyright का कोई सीन नहीं है क्या? मैं कौन सा इंडिया से ये कर रहा हूँ, स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ.
Just have to stand up and start fighting.
Rolls Royce versus Porsche content or what? I don't put out content, bro. There is. Come on, bro. Stop those things. I'm not here to create any controversy.
These are the best spots in the circle, as well as IHC currently still holding on to this shack, but that's outside.
PMGC last chance top 5 आएगा और हर red, yellow, green है. Shade OP भाई कुछ टिप दे दो. इतने views कैसे लाते हो? Exactly. Shade OP यार एक बात बता यार. मेरे यहाँ पे गिन चुन के 100 व्यूअर होते हैं, लाइव व्यूअर होते हैं. 100 भी पूरे नहीं होते हैं. तू कहाँ से इतनी व्यूज खींच लेता है? हमें भी टिप दे दो यार.
team shot there.
आयत
Godless
से
will find
बाहर
Forest, able to pick that up
अब
now.
है
Attention
हाँ
turns
ये
to
फाइट में
Besiktas
मजा आएगा
reject
4v4
to
v4
start to strike out their way.
b4
Down one playing on a really solid ridge line here for the squad. You can see
regards and
everybody
lots of
almost
love subscribe
looking their
thank
way. It
you
looks like
guys and press
everything's
the
settled
bell
there, but there are
icon
still sidelines
press the bell icon
to be
at
fought
least जब
over.
तक
Besiktas spike out
PMGC चल
towards
रहा है
DRS. One knock
bell
going
icon
over
दे
for
दो
both of these teams, and it's full squads right now, but Enjoy goes down and Besiktas' numbers are dwindling fast.
Everybody wants this spot. They're currently down one hold. Nade comes over the top. It's a
I've
long
been-
throw here from Reiji. One of the top players coming through.
Good
from
guys,
Japan.
और
It's
एक
just a
second,
little
एक-
bit too short, but it's kind
भाई,
of on target.
ये-
Now Reject can maybe push on this.
ये जो है ना
Fabian
ये
desperately
Gordel
sending
Mastan
around in the
BTC
buggy
don't
like a
talk like that
bumblebee,
bro. I'm not
looking
here
for
to
those
show hate on
scouting
anyone
opportunities, but you've got Reject.
don't
Uh-oh.
take
Gonna be able to find
someone's
an early knock as
hard
well.
work and
Some
efforts
low
for
HP, they
granted
just need to put
उसकी
bullets down
Porsche
range, and that's
है
how you do it.
Hyundai
Two
है
players fall
Ferrari
for
है कुछ
Reject,
भी है
and
उसकी
now
अपनी
Forest
मेहनत
pushes
से
forwards to try and
तो
capitalize
बंदे
on
ने
the
कुछ
momentum
कमाया
they
है
gained.
it's okay
Two
we
players
had
down from that
controversy
one
in
as
the
well,
past
and
so
it's an even
so
fight.
let's not
Forest
do all
falls,
of
now
this
it's just
here
Song looking for the shots over the
हाँ
line, has to go
if
for the weapon
anyone
swap, but it's
pokes
not
me I'm
there.
gonna reply
Reject
but
take
he
down
has
that
not
one.
done
They've
anything as of
diminished
such
so
I get it
much in
पहले
these last couple
misunderstanding
of
don't do
seconds.
anything like that
Reject are only on one player, and they
so
really don't have the
by
time
the
to
way
go for
just to
it. They
clear
just
here
jump
my
straight to the
full
challenge
respect
counter, shots
to
over
him
the top of
for all the
Besiktas,
hard
taking
work that
heavy
he has
punishment.
done and what he
DRS
has
two,
what he
Besiktas
has made
two,
out of
Reject
himself
one.
through this आसान नहीं होता है आसान होता तो कोई भी बना लेता वो बंदा अपने दम पे खड़ा हुआ है and I have known, I have heard, I have spoken to people, people have come to me and talked to me about that guy and where he started from. I have my full respect for him. There is no disrespect for him. So it's okay, competitive banter चलता रहता है. We can always do competitive, what do you call it, मस्ती मजाक वगैरह जो भी है, trash talk I can do all day. मेरे पे कोई बात लाएगा, मेरे बारे में कोई बात करेगा, उसको भरना कैसे मुझे बहुत अच्छे से आता है. I don't think like there is even a question there that I will hold back. So I don't think anybody will dare to do that, but at the same time I will give my full respect to the people who deserve that respect. So let's not do that here. I don't care if you want to watch me or you don't want to watch me. I'm not here for any sponsorship deals or anything. I'm doing it for fun, for something like that. Anyways, आगे बढ़ते हुए भाई की प्रेडिक्शन देखा बसिकतास का चिकन प्रेडिक्शन देखो
Staying hydrated, got to keep it up because it is all about maintaining that pace here in the last chance. Getting to
prediction
those
or
top
what?
five. Down one, a pretty big game coming through from the Korean squad. Staying alive very long.
Turk Beyler Allah senderazolsun.
Reject as
By the way,
well.
that's Turkish.
Really
Senator
solid
को
stuff from a
बुलाओ,
lot of these
senator को
teams, but in
बुलाओ.
the end, it was the
सेनेटर को
Turkish
बुला
squad.
तो लिया था
Besiktas
मैंने लेकिन
take
सेनेटर ने
home
मैसेज
the
नहीं
chicken
देखा मेरा अभी इग्नोर मार रहा है सेनेटर मेरे को सेनेटर है क्या लाइव हाँ नहीं भाई ऐसे ही प्रिडिक्शन फाइनल में करना एसटी के लिए हाँ वो किधर गया वो एक बंदा आता था ना जो बोलता है तौकीर भाई अपन होती हो कौन था वो
Every win here in the survival stage, not even the survival stage anymore, that was yesterday. And the last chance stage is massive. The points you need to be top 5 is quite extreme. We see Besiktas able to get themselves the chicken dinner, but with only 4 eliminations. But hey, 19 points added to their tally. But damn one Kia for me, Max, man. The team that you talked about when we started off the day here, the team that we kind of fell off a little bit when we saw them on their second
दिगम काम नहीं कर रही है राय आज सब
That's
गलत
huge,
प्रिडिक्शन हो रही
That's
है
a huge step up after that first match of the day, especially because
Trouble
it was
maker
all
मेरा
over
mod
performance.
भाई.
As you stated already, Sansom,
Troublemaker has a very good
2-0
knowledge
when
by
you
the
take
way.
you
He's
to
very
3 matches can be a bad performance. Then you got to start stepping things up if you want to make yourself in that top 5 position by the end of these 2 days. So yeah, good presence overall. It was going to be hard for them to transition because the circle was not quite going their way, and it is just an open finish. Besiktas had a lot of a better angle to play with, but especially Forest. I mean, the first game when you went on that push on Game Lord, and this game also, like Forest is stepping up to the plate, and he's always a player I'm looking out for when it comes to teams from the region.
Yeah,
I mean,
so is IHC. Apologies, Jason. So is IHC and Godless. I mean, the
रुको
first two
senator
games
को
that
भी
we've
लाते
seen
हैं, we'll
today,
bring coach.
impressive performance from them, considering that when we've watched them throughout the second stage of the tournament, the survival stage, they did struggle on day one. Then we saw a massive resurgence from them. So picking it up again here in this last chance, pretty good.
ये
And we saw
डांगवान
what
वाले
happened
बंदे
in
ना
the first
बहुत
game
क्यूट है, इनके
with
साथ मुझे
IC
बहुत
just
मजा आया था सऊदी
running
में.
rampant, deciding to push the squad all on his own, managing to get a couple of elims and even running one over. But IHC
जमा
definitely
के
one to watch
एसटी
out
के
for, and I
लिए
think
तौकीर भाई
they
पनौती.
might be able to get a decent start
यार
for
मैं ना
today's
देखना ही
match,
बंद
considering
कर
that
दूंगा
they've
यार
consistently
शशांक.
performed so far.
Well, speaking of
ठीक है भाई, अगर तुझे ऐसा लगता है मैं वॉच पार्टी नहीं करता भाई. कर लो ऐश, तुम्हें बर्दाश्त नहीं होता.
went out 16th, 15th, and 14th place respectively. Why did you want us to watch them again? To see them go out early, or what's the?
You see, the main reason I pick teams to watch them is because I focus on them and I want to see something good from their side. But NGX, you know, there's no point. I don't think I should be allowed to predict teams anymore. At this point, this is you don't predict 3 and then just watch them all get eliminated at the start. I shouldn't be allowed.
Well, now you know how
I'm
Max
banning myself
feels
from
a
that.
lot of the time. Maybe he rubbed his curse off onto you. We're gonna head to a short break though. We get things ready to go for our third match of the day. It'll be on Sandhawks. You're not gonna want to miss this, and we'll see you guys in a few.
अबे स्टालवर्ड की ना इंस्टाग्राम पे जाओ, मीम देखो, मीम वहां पे स्टालवर्ड की मीम देखो. चेक 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 माइक चेक. देखो मीम वहां. सेनेटर माइक चेक माइक चेक माइक चेक.
Yes, yes.
How are you, bro?
Good, good, good.
Senator, what is happening?
I'm happy because I supported the South Asian team and they play very good.
Yeah, I like IHC is playing really good.
Yeah.
IHC is playing nice. Bro, yesterday, what a game by I8, man. What a game.
Yeah, yeah. I ate what I supported, bro. In the last 2 games, it was very, very hard for them, but they made
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that was a
Nice.
miracle entry into the last group, last chance.
Yeah. Epic comeback.
Yeah, yeah, epic comeback, bro.
Well,
Do you know,
No.
right now I was
break
doing
this
prediction,
doesn't
bro.
involve
I did a
not
very
trying to have the
perfect
lowest
prediction.
score, but you have a chance
Besiktas.
to
Yeah.
Don't worry, you have another match coming up.
Besiktas?
You still have
Yeah,
more
maybe,
yet
but
coming
I
tomorrow.
not want,
Besiktas
bro.
do chicken.
Chances
Yeah, I know. For me, I supported South Asian 3 team, IHC, INM, and DRS. After it will be DVG, BTR, and
Yeah.
Nigma.
South Asian family, bro. South Asian family.
Yeah, South Asian family. True.
Yeah, yeah. Senator's YT name. Senator does not stream on YouTube. Senator streams on Facebook.
Prime Gaming.
Yeah, I will start streaming on YouTube after Pmgc.
Yes. We will do controversy together, okay?
To be honest, Max fan. You know what's also sweet? The matches so far today.
What do you think?
Sweet, they've been spicy,
So
they've been a
today,
little
so
bit
coach, tell
salty
me
for
more
some
about
teams.
this.
Some teams
So
have been going out early.
at this stage,
It's
what
quite
is
enjoyable
what
to
is
watch.
happening
We still
today?
don't
What will
have
be
that
happening
one
tomorrow?
clear
How is
winner, that
the
one
whole
clear
match
team
structure?
just yet, but I
Explain
kinda
us.
What?
expect that considering
Can you explain a
you're
little bit
looking at
about
some of the best
how the
teams,
whole
best teams in
matchup
the
is
world
going to
are
work
competing
now?
just for those
Like
5
out of
spots.
today's
Can't really
16
afford to
teams,
hold
how
back.
many matches will be there?
100%.
And
It is
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
really good
yeah.
for all these teams to
Silver
make it to the top
stage
5
is
position, but
last
I gotta say, DRS have been looking really good today. I do
silver
wonder where they
stage,
currently
and
rank because they've been consistent
top
in game
top
1, and I
5
think
team
that
go
they
to
are
grand
to embody
final. So
extreme
today they
passiveness
will
in the
play
past, and now they
6
are willing to
match
take these
each
fights, and
team, and
look at that
tomorrow
here,
6
Jason.
match
Top 3
at
position
all
right out of the gates in
12
their first
match,
2
and
games.
after
I mean, DRS are
total
one of the
ranking,
strongest they've ever looked in this
5
Pmgc so
teams
far.
go to
Going
grand
for elims
finals.
has been going great for them in these first 2
Okay,
games.
so let's say out of these teams, top 5 will go, and after that, what is next?
What?
So after the 5 teams get qualified from today for the grand finals,
Yeah.
then what will happen?
No, not today. It's about all ranking today and tomorrow.
Today
right?
and tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what
Top
we
5
wanted
team
to
go
see
to
from
grand
DRS.
final.
Well,
That's it.
That's it.
Max, but he has unfortunately
Rest
That's
of the teams go home.
for getting bad predictions.
Yeah, rest of the teams go home, and now already
we've known them in the past as being a team that's
11 team go to the have the grand final ticket, so only 5 remaining.
But imagine a Pmgc
Understood.
HVVP.
Understood.
I don't know if I can.
I can write off the first game. I think the
Understood.
first game was
Got
one of the
it.
toughest rotations I've seen for one team to pull off in like almost this entire survival / last chance
Indeed.
stage. This last game though, fighting versus BTR, I think that they tried to avoid it. I think there was a lot of hesitation on their side, and as you know, your biggest enemy in PUBG Mobile esports is sometimes
زي ما انا خرجت عيدتي عورت
indecision,
نكتب
and,
جين
that's what
ماش
happened, I
قوي
feel like,
ينش
for
جبري
HVP
أمرين
in that game.
ماش
I
قوي
thought you were
ماش
gonna
قوي
say like the worst things that happen. Yeah, is those.
زي ما أنا حتى إنتي نساتن قل عيدتي DRS عيني
That too, but I thought that was like obvious. I just didn't bring it up.
Okay, 1 minute remaining, bro. I leave. I
Yeah.
go to toilet and
First. Give us. Wait, I'll tell my moderator to keep it written. Give me your top 5 predictions in this.
Top 5. No, top 5 it will be hard, bro. I don't want to predict top 5 because yeah, I really want South Asian team qualify. So if my prediction it will be I will not predict the South Asian team. Teams.
Okay.
That's why I not want to predict.
Okay, Senator.
And plus next game is Seahawks, so it will be
Yeah.
hard.
Agreed. Where are rest of the guys? Action, Top, Pika. They are not coming for the stream today? Watch party?
No, not today.
Okay.
They say it's so long.
Yeah, right. The biggest problem we have. Okay, bro.
Okay.
Good luck, bro.
Bye.
I don't know why you just keep digging yourself in that hole, man. I don't know what's going on. But DRS, as I already pointed out for my team to watch on this
not
game,
today.
Okay.
they're looking
They
consistent.
say
They're willing to take
it's
fights.
so
I think
long.
that if you look in, especially in their group stage, these are fights they would never take. They
The
would never
biggest
do. They would
problem
just
we have.
play hyper passive
Okay,
and just
bro.
wait for things to
Okay, bro.
happen.
भाई आपको मंगोलियन लैंग्वेज आती है नहीं?
Like, sure, they will be defending side.
मुझे टर्किश आती है तो.
But the
I
moment they
know
get close to them,
Turkish.
instantly full send it, go for the aggressive fight, and they come out on top. So I love this
They
new DRS,
say
and I want them to
it's so
remain
long.
on this trajectory.
Well, you know what, Max, man? We're going to full send it on over to our casters. That third match of the day is ready to go. It's going to be Sandhawk and John Allen and Blink. Take it away.
तो अगर भाई क्या लगता है BTI qualify होगी कि नहीं?
Thank you very much.
To be
We
honest,
are
I
gonna
don't
be
think they
getting
will,
Right on
but
over
I
to
don't know.
Sandhawk and Blank. This lobby is looking tougher than Maxman and a denim jacket.
Fans and
Yes,
everyone
it
want
absolutely
BTR
is,
to
John. I
come
mean,
up, but
to be
I
fair,
don't think.
Maxman
I
in
mean,
a
like
denim
they need
jacket
more
strikes
confidence. They need a
fear
good big
into
chicken
every
dinner.
single man around. So I would be worried to meet him in a bar at night. Obviously, looking at this match though, looking at these overall rankings, looking at these players, you know, every single team
Maybe
really
top
does
5.
want to get into that top 5. I don't think there's any team here that I would say
HVP,
doesn't have a chance to make it in.
I'd
which is
see
what has made this entire PMGC
DRS,
so exciting.
LGD,
There doesn't appear to be anyone
Inco.
that feels like they don't deserve to be here. I think every single one of these teams has a chance. Every single one of these teams could make it towards the top. And with some of our massive players, massive teams, not really stepping up to the plate, you know, now there's been a real opening towards the top. I mean, with VPE and HVP similarly not getting a huge amount of time, it's Bacon time as well. They've got a big journey ahead of them to really pump those numbers back up. We know that they can, but is it possible with the 9 matches remaining with the lead that some of these teams have already created? Down
आज vampire इनको ठीक है लगाओ सब लगाओ इधर पे सट्टे लगाओ
how they were going to move around it. So it's interesting to see them actually bring things back into
Let's
the
go
fold here.
another match.
Current bubble sits with reject 22 points and 11 points.
Let's go. जब
Average of the
Ryzen
game,
ने
which is
break
fairly
लिया
close
है
to what
BTR
we were
का
thinking about
form चला
Such
गया
a
है.
small
Kind of
game
true,
set,
yeah.
But the third match about to kick off now, Blank. South side of Sandhawk for the playing path. But again, so small. The islands will be available no matter where you want to go. So everybody going to get their favorite drop spot here.
मेरा
A
10
little
crore.
bit more time to rotate up to that northwestern island, but
No, they are I think
fairly
in Jakarta
achievable.
grand final.
Very, very
और
nice
Bali,
and
I don't
solid.
know. जहाँ भी होगा I'll be there. सट्टे का prize pool. चलो giveaways करते हैं आज से. बोलो क्या कितना होना चाहिए amount. Select an amount.
Now, some of these teams really do need those points on board. And soon, getting towards the top side of the lobby will be very, very important for them. Bacon time, currently struggling just a little bit. See them down towards 6 points, HVP 4. VPE last place, 2 points. What a massive switch around for this team it has been. Again for VPE though, with the broad
एडमिन तो
playstyle
बना
they
ले
have,
क्या
they've
बबले
showed
बबले
toe-to-toe with
भाई
a lot of
क्या
these
बबले
teams.
भाई
There is a potential they can get a big match, but will it be here on Sandhawk
बेकन
where it's
बेसिकतास पे
unlikely we'll
भाग
see
गया
those big numbers coming
बेकन वाला भाग
through?
गया
I don't
मेरे
know.
21 रुपए
LGD also 7th
आईफोन का
place at
कर
the
दो
moment. Not a
वाह
team we expect to see here.
अगर मेरे
Still
500
very
लाइव आ गए
strong,
ना
though crumbling under the pressure.
तब
A lot of
आईफोन
these teams are just
500 लाइव
100%
वॉचिंग एक
turning
काम
up
करो
the
जाके
heat
शेयर
here
करो
in our last chance at the moment. Whatever they've got left, they are just sticking in the engine and getting
मेरे
it
है नहीं ना
running, getting
बड़े
it
नंबर
moving.
आएंगे
Again, there's always tomorrow. There's always the
यूट्यूब से
adaptive
कुछ
day.
पैसे उठाएंगे
LGD, we know that they
और
are a
जेब
bit
से
of a
कुछ डालें
comeback
नहीं
team.
पीएमजीसी
They
ग्रैंड
will
फाइनल्स में
make
आई गिव
sure
अवे एन
that
आईफोन
even
डील
if they are low down the
डन
points, they can always
आईफोन
jump
14 प्रो
back up
मैक्स में गिव
towards
अवे
the
कर
top of the
दूंगा
standing. So them actually being in 7th place, maybe not
ठीक
the
है
worst thing in the world for
वी
them.
विल डू इट इन पीएमजीसी फाइनल्स
Teams leaving one another alone. Bacon time with Besiktas.
बेकन
Not
वाला क्या कर रहा
wanting
है
to lose a player early, and this is really demonstrating the consciousness of how important each team,
एसटी
each
जर्सी
game
विल
is
नॉट
for
चेंज इट
each
विल रिमेन
team,
सेम यस
and trying to just keep
ये
it all
मॉड्स
together.
को बोलो
Besiktas now
टाइम
with
मॉड
the
दे रहे हैं
circle as
बिना
well, in a
फालतू का
crucial
कोई
bridge
बात नहीं
camp
कोई बात
spot
नहीं तुमने
to
कुछ कहा
stop
होगा
Vampire
तब
from
मॉड्स
getting
ने
too
किया
far.
होगा कोई बात नहीं
HVVP as well
चिल
behind
करो
them in
आई
the
थिंक
northern top queue.
आई
Will be pretty
इन
tricky to
फेसिंग
make
गॉड
those
लेगेसी विल बी गुड
crossings.
कंटेंडर्स फॉर
Lane
द कप
and the circle
इन्फिनिटी
a
या
little bit, well,
केम इन
the circle
केम या
all the way
ओके
up to that
या
north side lane.
काश मुझे मिल
HVP,
जाए
tough crossing for them. I think a lot of the spots that they want to move through have been cut off right
जर्सी
now.
पे गॉड
Even the
लाइक
bridge
भी
crossing towards
लोगो
that northern side, not
लोगो लगा लो
exactly
फिर
ideal. And with a lot of teams like LGD,
संडे
Enigma
को
Galaxy,
आना
down one, moving up
आना
through on that
मस्त
south
ना
side,
दो
even if Rage
वेयर इज
do
एसटी
decide to
एसटी
move up, try and get through,
भाई
moving on
देवेंद्र भाई
past
को
our
जवाब दे दो
2nd,
देवेंद्र
that
शर्मा को
position on the map, that confluence
बोल
is
बोलो
going
इसको
to be
एसटी कहाँ है एसटी
retaken
क्यों
up
नहीं
by
खेल
another
रही है अभी
team, by IHC, Damwon Kia, or Enigma Galaxy moving up that way. So HVP going to have a tough time getting across. Titans, not seen a huge amount out of them so far. They've been a little bit flying underneath the radar. We've been able to talk about them. 9 points has been consistent from game to game, so nothing too drastically bad, but nothing too amazingly good either. So maybe we want to see a little bit more coming out from them. Similarly, Aegon XIA, I think they've been making some good moves and we've been interested in them and watching them purely from their performance yesterday on that last match. But 10 points, not going to cut it at the moment, about half of what they would need to be on track towards that bubble. But you want to have more points than that overall. Inco, 1 point after last game, John. And see, this is that buffer coming into
Can I
effect.
buy
They
ST
do
jersey
wanna put some
anywhere
more
in
points
Dubai?
right
No,
now,
bro.
see themselves
वेबसाइट
that
पे जाओ
buffer
वेबसाइट
once
पे आई
again.
थिंक that is
See
not my
where things
department
come to
believe me I
pass as
don't
they
even
are on
know
the
क्या हो रहा
southeast
है
side and
jerseys
still
के
have a
साथ
long way
but yeah
towards that center.
You do eat heavily
राहुल
into that
एसआर
matchup
लख
here. You do
लानते
not
तेरे
want to be
ऊपर
spending all of those points lightly. So the fact that they do lose out
क्योंकि वो
on that
लोग और
opportunity in the last game, fairly significant because it does really curtail that buffer, as you said, that they'd managed to establish in that first game.
तोकिर
They're
भाई
looking
गॉड
to
लाइक का
try
दुबई
and
बूट
keep it
कैंप
up
का
here
लीक्स
to
दे
make
दो
sure they
भाई
can preserve
उनका
that
नहीं है
moving
अभी
into
यहाँ पे
later
बूट
stages,
कैंप
because that is where it
they might
really
be
becomes
planning to
stressful,
but क्या
where it can
लीक्स
really
दूं
start
मैं
to affect the mental
तो
of your
लीक्स
team.
गॉड लाइक
Having that
वाले
buffer
देंगे
into
भाई
those
मुझे
late
कहाँ से
stages,
पता है
to be fair, can
एसटी
also
को
affect
ड्रॉप
the
क्लैश
mental of your
लेना
team. If
चाहिए
you're thinking, oh,
नोआ
well,
के
we're
साथ
fine, we've got that little buffer, we're doing okay. You can let it slip, and with a lobby like this, you cannot afford to have those mental slips.
Yeah, there is a huge amount of clawing and scraping from the bottom of the lobby for any kind of points they can get. That 5th place, all eyes on them at the moment. Reject currently in that scary position, 22 points. Besiktas behind them in 20 after their previous game, getting themselves some good points on the board. Again, Besiktas, I said I'd be surprised and happy to see them get that chicken dinner, and I was happy to see them get it. Now
Rancho Davidson,
this kind of
कैसे हो
performance.
भाई
It is just on track right now with the 20 points to get towards that top side.
भाई
But
मुझे
obviously,
एसटी
being on
खरीदनी
track
है
doesn't always cut it
रेट
at the end of
बताओ
the day. As we can see right now, currently 5th
क्या
place
सर
bubble is
आप भी यार
11
गरीबों पे
points
क्या
average.
क्या
So this
डायलॉग
might
बाजी मार
change
रहे हो
and shift around
क्यों
as the days
गरीबों
go
की
on.
रोटी छीन
But
रहे हो लेवल
also
99 भाई
could get himself evened out towards the end of this tournament. Again, only 2 days to have played 12 matches total.
आई
All
8
these
का
teams,
मुश्किल है
limited amount of time. Only have 1 day to address any of these mistakes you made on the previous day. But I'm excited for tomorrow. You can tell I'm excited because I'm talking really fast. And I'm
Skylight
just
Gaming
waiting for
क्या सीन
action,
eliminated?
essentially.
Yes, Skylight Gaming is
It's
eliminated.
very soon to pop off, I'm sure. Vampire managed to get across on that northern side. HVVP yet to leave that northwestern island. Playing it a little bit slow from there. Likely that they're going to have to go for that northern crossing.
भाई Neo सोया है.
In their current position. Reject. Lying down in the grass. South side of the club teams in the middle. South of Paradise Resort, currently only occupied by Bacon Time, but Bigatron are in the hills.
Is ST boot camp in Dubai? ST players stalwart का जो PUBGM lineup है ना, उनका boot camp है Mongolia में.
Really desperate.
We do have a boot camp also in Dubai, but that's for some other teams.
They have a lot of pressure.
जैसे last time हमने Major Pride के साथ partnership की थी, हमने Major Pride को दिया था, उसके बाद Vista Gaming के साथ था, उसके बाद हमारे और भी बाकी rosters थे, they used it. And हम लोग use करते हैं कभी-कभी party शार्टी के लिए कुछ कर लिया.
It's just one of those things where I think for BTR, maybe that pressure's getting them to a little bit. They can't quite make the correct decisions. I think they're still making some
boot camp से क्या होता है?
They're crumbling under some of these engagements they go against. I think it was decent versus HVP. They knew what they exactly had to do, but that was that early game where things hadn't got too hectic. And I think already in Erangel as well as Miramar, we've had two endings to the zone which are just brutal as anything. And I think for BTR, maybe it could just take a little while longer for them to find that mojo, find the comfortable jog that they need to get towards that top side of the lobby. But right now, the team is just not working too well versus these quick and aggressive pushes. They can't quite combat that.
Shunt in on the south side.
ST have any Free Fire lineup? Nope.
Up north.
We don't have a Free Fire lineup.
It's going to be DRS and Reject really struggling. Aegon XI8 as well, kind of behind everyone in the queue there. Inco trying to make their way through, but Game Lord spots Nanebete and Becker as well, taking a heavy toll. Inco down to 2 players. Their first game buffer being eaten into yet again. And a nice couple of elimination points going over to, well,
Bro, bootcamp बड़ा होने से कुछ नहीं होता है.
We're able to steal one of those away.
Either way now, for the guys coming through on Inco, losing Squash as well would be disastrous. Vitali goes down, and I think that's it. I would even go as far at this point to say that it's 1 or 2 points more that Inco could potentially earn on the rest of this game. When you lose 3 players at 8 minutes, with the length of these games now with the new circle settings, it is unlikely to get many points more at 8 minutes in the game with 1 player left alive. So 32 points, that's the buffer eaten into now. You said how quickly it could be used up. They've expended
Prediction बताओ सैनहॉक की. ठीक है, सर्कल देखने दो. बताता हूँ prediction.
And I think when you look at that, right, now Inco need another fantastic performance to see themselves safe. And it's great to say that after such a good game,
thumb 4 finger gameplay effect होता है.
Now they're in a position where the back to basically basics.
Prediction बताओ सैनहॉक की. रुको. दुबई godlike के जैसा बड़ा boot camp बना दो. Boot camp बड़ा होने से again कुछ नहीं होता है. ST girl lineup को थोड़ा YT live stream करने बोलो. उनको इतनी जल्दी इतनी जानते भी अभी no interaction. We will try to tell them to start streaming. ST वाले न्यू स्टेट का लाइनअप लेने वाले थे क्या? लेने वाले थे बहुत टाइम पहले यार, अभी नहीं. Not recent. That's a long story. We'll discuss it some other day. World like new state and lineup is good. Yeah, they're good. They recently won one tournament, right? They used to be known as Team Mavi, if I'm not wrong.
Can't quite find the shots. I think he could see an ankle there, just dipping in and out of view. But just fading away on
Abhi hamari, I think like recently conversations, I explained it already, bro, in this stream. Leave that topic aside. About I8 yesterday, banger. Yes, it was a pretty good banger.
Very
इस बार PMGC का ट्रॉफी godlike के बूट कैंप में लाओगे क्या? पता नहीं यार. अभी प्लेयर दुबई, obviously they will first take it to their country. तपन रहा ना. So it's players' wish where they want to take it. Forget about it. I don't want to get into that whole conversation again. First, right is for players. Then we talk about the management. That's what we have decided. That's what we are going to do.
They were very good at taking individual engagements with many different teams, surviving for quite
bro,
a while.
वो deserve कर ले players, so उनके पास ही रहना चाहिए ना. Yes, bro.
Not out of the realms of possibility or out of the realms of unreasonable nature to say that they are a very good team on Sanhok. This central spot, this
okay.
good position,
Circle.
maybe get some points here, but losing a play like that.
Bro, या तो ये वाला chicken LGD का है या IHC का है.
Really not.
Yeah, LGD IHC.
Galaxy in 15th place.
Meri second
Happy
prediction.
about that though. They've already managed to rack up 2 points on the game. They're playing in a strong position. The rooftop affording a lot of power to the squad. Narvalo being pivotal in their position. Has cover from the back as well if he drops to the low end of that roof. The other building's giving him that sanctuary.
Does Stalwart have any content creators? No.
However, no one challenging for the spot just yet.
No. But if you look at it in MENA, we have around 200.
Take too much damage. Alpha 7.
We want Stalwart Esports win.
Points.
No more Chinese team, please. Yes,
start,
bro. We are trying our best. Aap
LGD
dua
down
karo.
towards that southeast side.
We will.
Very good playing on the edge. And HVP, as we said before, they've had to wait a long, long while. 12 minutes now.
BTR chicken this map. ठीक है लगाओ बताओ बताओ अभी prediction बताओ रुको मैं poll डालता हूँ
decided to go for that bridge crossing in the first place, letting a lot of these
start a poll
maybe guarding head across and try and find themselves a better position with the circle in the first place. Now maybe thinking about crossing, but again, Besiktas have that sight line over that way. Zessi is a front man up towards a compound that likely Besiktas is going to head over towards on the eastern side. That's very close to Enigma Galaxy and Game Lord, but still leaving those players behind, waiting for HVP.
DRS 3 players close to MVM from LGD. The forward position. Knows Delta's right behind this rock. Teammates taking shots over, moves around. No, he's there. No, they've tagged him and will be able to get the knock, but it's instantly traded with a very, very prescient rotate out wide coming through, but they have to get back to cover because Suki's there. Marksman on a mission. Looking to try and land those shots, land on the target. There's shots coming through as well from Titan. The forward positions are getting shot down, and MVM, sorry, for LGD is looking for this crawlback. It's going quite well. Gianti and Killer want to shut this down, and they will be able to slow it out, get that point on board, but they've lost 2 of their players in the process. 1 confirmed and flushed out, but Rules is still active. However, LGD want an answer for their downed man.
See.
भाई A7 की हुडी मस्त लगती है 3 टीम का डालना पोल 4 का डाल दिया नोवा चिकन दिस LGD और INC बाहर हो जाएगी अभी तौकीर भाई प्रेडिक्शन लगाए A7 के चिकन
Managed to get behind the rock with the use of a smoke there. Onus being on Rules to crawl
LGD का एक प्लेयर गया भाई मैं बता ना IHC या LGD का चिकन सर्कल देखो ना कैसे बन रहा है ओ A7 के भी चांसेस है Is it your Rolls Royce in previous Instagram story? Yes, Parv, it's mine. वो कितनी बार बोलूंगा मैं दूसरों की गाड़ी के फोटो नहीं डालता
This is that opportunity to put up an Inco game, right? Inco's still alive, by the way, with 1 player, but Squash very.
नहीं IHC के chances अगर Damwan ने rotation yeah.
Nade over the top towards
I think A7 थोड़ा sandwich हो जाएगी या IHC sandwich हो सकती है.
They're going to win out the duel. Last time they did push into Aegon XA as well, remember, and it didn't go very well on Miramar. This time they are much more ready for the fight. 2 players down to start things off, and Vampire start to close the jaws. The snapshot over towards Aegon XA.
BTR का circle.
2 players alive and active. They just need to stay safe from these nades, but it's not going to go well for Schwepp to start things off. There is an answer, a volley back over towards the Vampire players, and that'll slow them down. Stoned a little bit further down the way. HVVP, by the way, in the meantime, taking heavy, heavy punishment from Besiktas. Trying to just stay alive and keep themselves in it. 2 players active for the squad on the northwest.
Katam Tokir Katam मतलब
Really difficult for them. Currently taking a fight with Enigma Galaxy.
तो अगर बोली दो BTR उनको जिता दो नहीं भाई BTR नहीं जीतेगी
Maku will fall. That leaves HVP with 2 players. 1 elimination found on the game. Ghost outside in the blue doesn't want to move just yet. Waiting for someone to make a mistake here. Maybe Stone gets spotted by Ghost. Peeks out, but he's taking a lot of damage.
थोड़ा flex करा करो हमें अच्छा लगता है देखने में नहीं यार flex करने से क्या होता है
engagements going on around the map at the moment, but so many compounds still available.
मेरे को नहीं आता है मतलब ठीक है बीच में I used to do that even before coming into the eyes of people, but yeah I don't like doing that.
But still alive. Besiktas with Enjoy and Peace on the hillside. Playing with 2 as well. trying to stay alive. HVVP, this is their third game in a row where they've been in trouble, where they've been caught out. Inco down. A squash falls in.
देखा अभी किसका लगा IHC बाहर लो
eliminated the top two.
मैं बोला था ना डाम 1 आएगी डाम 1 का प्रेस आएगा डाम 1 की भी LGD का कौन बचा टीम प्लेयर
Piece close to
Alpha 7 का एक knock.
Lord as well, just behind the rock. Though here these shimmies. Game Lord being cut out on this northern edge as well as Aegon X8 move on their eastern flank. Ralph shuts them down from the west. Game Lord eliminated.
Nigma Galaxy ने Besiktas वाले को
enjoys first of all. Besiktas in this scrap with 3 players from Nigma Galaxy. Only the 1 player now standing for the squad. It's Peace and Stoned is there as well for Vampire Esports.
Audience के लिए करा करो flex.
Standing for the squad. Peace falls, but with those shotgun shells ringing out.
तुम लोग जिसको पता है उसको पता है भाई.
And Nigma Galaxy might just hold it out.
Difficult push now.
Vampire गया outside play zone eliminated. अब बची DRS, DWG,
VPE out, HVP out.
और Bacon.
Be shame to lose these teams, but you know, in a sprint format like this, if you can't make the cut towards that top
भाई
side,
एक
and now
vlog
the
बनाओ
expended,
अपनी
now the
गाड़ियों
points
पे.
found for them. This is very, very odd.
बहुत बड़ा vlog बनेगा फिर.
Doing his best.
If you want
which
to make a break
team is psycho in PUBG scenario as per you? I think
the bottom to be getting these wins.
crazy, like super aggressive.
You want them to be going down as soon as possible. Reject as well, but they're on 4 players alive on that southeast side. Really solid bastion of a position. Looking good to maybe break through towards the top.
I think Alpha 7 or HVVP
as well in a similar spot naturally. Maybe going to give them a run for their money. Aegon XIA up against Shirty. Last player standing will fall down.
I8 भी
1-2 punch from Bacon time. Eliminates Aegon XIA in 10th place. 5 eliminations though. Still not terrible, but it's not going to be enough.
BTR fans.
Those 10 to 12 point averages that are needed to put up on the board to see yourself safe into the top 5.
Hug the I8
BTR currently still in this disgusting position. Now losing from this position will be a real blow to them. I think that they've been given every opportunity now, and it will be seriously bad.
LGD
LGD on the other hand.
RC LGD पे. Oh, LGD eliminated.
But it's not enough. Reject run through them like a
भाई
spear
क्या ही
there.
पनौती दी है
LGD
मैंने.
will be removed. 3 eliminations. Up to 22 points total there, 8th place.
अभी बची है डांग 1 बाहर.
वो
भी बाहर.
The guys in HVP, VP, a lot of these top teams rather early. DRS last left in that 1st to 4th squad.
रुको मुझे देखने दो सर्कल किस तरफ गया है कि ऐसी पनौती लग गई इनको.
4 players alive, it's looking good, but the amount of healthy teams still remaining in this lobby, you know, this could be a very explosive finish to this game.
Alpha 7. Shots over towards Bacon time.
नहीं बे BTR का चिकन.
Alpha 7 not quite in this.
मैं कुछ बोलूंगा ही नहीं भाई फिर बोलोगे तुम पनौती देते हो. Guys, like the content, like the channel,
ready and waiting.
like and subscribe and press the bell icon.
Again, good news for the teams at the bottom. It's going to keep that pack nice and tight. Keep those opportunities for top 5 nice and condensed. And within
Nigma Galaxy chicken marni yaar.
Worth of play.
Nigma, I want to see the old Nigma back.
Happy about. Nade over the top still continues for Nigma Galaxy. Bacon time, 2 players in the fight. With Noise getting fully flushed out there, Orm style. Nade towards him, low HP. Amodi keeps putting that one up. Alpha 7, shots over towards Titan. Finally spotting them on the top of the hillside and taking the scrap. Puncher, spray down and Mythic goes down first. Evening the numbers
Titan
now, 3 versus 3 on the top
Titan
of the hill.
Bhi apni
Puncher
team
jumps up, looks for a sneaky little angle, but Revo isn't really in this fight, giving Titan the outside advantage. If they step too far, though, he can start to be that off angle for the squad of Alpha 7 as they descend into the compound and into the circle. Bacon time, in the meantime, eliminated.
Nigma Galaxy pick up those points. Reject, though, spot them on that side. Take some shots. That's some long shots as well. Liquid finishes off Lord. That would be Nigma Galaxy. 1 player left remaining. Titans with 3. Fairly decent. Alpha 7 in a similar spot, but in a very good position to hold out the guys from Titans. Mafioso spots one of the reject players. That's Reiji going down. Carrillo finishing that off.
Reject eliminated. Sorry, Alpha 7 eliminated by Reject, but they are caught right in the crux of that mountain. Very difficult descent ahead of them. Sending in one player.
RC कौन बोला था? हितेश.
Leaving just Duello now.
ले हितेश.
Rolling straight on up to Alpha 7. You've got to imagine this doesn't go much
गई
further.
RC भी. RC का एक बचा.
Duello, sliver of HP.
लग तो वैसे रहा है BTR का ही chicken.
Finally dismounted.
Next circle पे
place in
depend
three
करता है.
eliminations though keeps up those averages, Blank. That's going to see them at 11 points, which is good news. That is over the average that they're going to be looking for. Keeps up with the rest of their games. It should be 33 at the end of this.
BTR and Titan and Alpha 7.
Can we earn profits by
head-to-head.
investing?
BTR finally now
By
in a position
investing
where
by
they have to
orgs? What do you
leave
mean?
this
Investing into
compound. Road ahead of them,
organizations?
smokes required. Zuxi setting up now, a little bit too late in my opinion to be setting up these smokes because they need to get them out much earlier to make this crossing. Alpha 7
can, but it
concerned about
depends how you
Titans on their
invest.
side. Misery takes a huge amount of damage and Revo is set up perfectly for this crossing.
NGX कौन बोला था तो कह रहा मैं नहीं बोला था यार शशांक मैंने नहीं बोला.
Here, John. They need this hard cover.
There's really nothing they can do against Revo's position. You said it was perfect. I definitely agree with you here. Covered completely from Titan. Titan putting nades down range and Bigatron are being lit up right now. They had such a strong compound here.
BTR खत्म.
And the bouncer from Titan will find it. Alpha 7.
मैंने मत बोला था साले तुम पनौती हो. 54% of the people are पनौती. बची Alpha 7 और Titan. कौन बोला था? Nice. तपन राणा बोला था Alpha 7. और कौन बोला था Alpha 7? देखते हैं.
Put the cat amongst the pigeons for them. The final zone starting to close now, and Alpha 7 forced to leave this compound. Teak looks for the heal, but Mafioso is right there. A crucial position for Alpha 7, but the blue zone is taking it away from them fast. Will not be able to get that off angle. 6 around the side, definitely spotted by Mafioso, who stands up, takes one down, looks for the rest of them, lines them up, puncher the second to go down, and the DBS out of the back there, and it is Alpha 7 to take a chicken dinner here for Brazil.
Shade
2
OP
out of the
raid,
3
matlab?
games are being claimed by the Brazilians, and Alpha 7 take the third.
Really good
Alpha
game
7
take it all
का
the way to the
chicken.
difficult as well with the 3 players they had in the position they were in. A lukewarm third place though for BTR. So much time to get out from that position and set up
A7
early
का
for
chicken.
this last engagement over towards the guys from Titans
Bhai,
and Alpha 7. The smokes come out too late.
इसको
The
करते हैं
pushes
end
come out
poll
too
को.
late as well. There was moments where
Guys.
there was fighting between Titans and Alpha 7, in which case BTR are almost certain that their eastern side is completely clear.
Kill me or
So
what?
they make
बोला
that crossing, go for the third party,
हूँ
and maybe
था
pick
A7
something up
का
there.
chicken है.
I think
हाँ
this is
हाँ
maybe
भाई.
just a case from
जीत
BTR
गए तुम लोग.
worried about throwing the game too
जीत
early on,
गए.
getting a 5th or 4th place, which is really not valuable to
GG.
them at this point in time. But this game is maybe enough to sit themselves back up to a position where they need to continue. They can continue, and they've got that extra life available.
Rejects get in fairly late, sure. Alpha 7 get the chicken dinner, but a lot of the teams at the top went down with very few points. It keeps things nice and close for the teams who want to strike out from the bottom. There's still all to play for.
ऐसे ही पनौती लगाओ तौकीर भाई. हाँ भाई. A7 तो पूल में ही नहीं थी. तू खुद कौन सी टीम बोल रहा था भाई? तू तो BTR बोल रहा था, वो भी गई. ओनरी पनौती में. check. Senator, check.
What's up?
देखो, this time I predicted any team I predicted 3 teams, all the 3 lost.
Bro, don't predict.
Yeah, a lot of guys in my chat were talking about we're actually supporting.
Well, as
wishing
7 Worlds
BTR
Gaming
will
would
have the
say,
chicken.
do Brazil!
possibility.
What?
24
A
points
lot of
for
people in
Alpha
the chat
7
were
here
saying
off
BTR,
that match. Give
BTR.
themselves a chicken dinner again. Very
No,
needed
BTR is
points.
they not have
Think
done in
points
the
like
last match.
Gaming,
Yeah.
Bigatron, Red
It's
Aliens,
impossible
Reject,
because
Enigma,
if
Galaxy,
Tita
on
and
the
Alpha
board.
7 fight
It's a very,
each other, then
Very kind of
BTR
like
is
split,
possible to
I'd
have
say,
a
battleground
chicken
match
dinner,
here
but
between
Yeah.
all
it's
the
not the
teams and
case.
I think it just gives a little
They
bit of hope
split
also
into
for the teams that had a
two
rough start
spots
to the
and
day, like you talked about your BTRs, talked
they
about
focus
Liquid
on
Galaxy,
BTR,
talked about
so
also Bacon Time that
it's
needed
not
some
possible
points,
for
definitely in a rough
BTR.
spot before. I think they were in 12th position before this game was only 6
Agreed.
points. So that's going to put them in a slow
Agreed.
of hopefully a rhythm for their following matches. But
Man,
Alpha 7, I'm not going to lie,
this is
Sandstorm,
gonna be a
I was a
good 2
little bit
days.
scared in this match because I think they
Good
did do a
2
mistake
days.
giving
Gonna
that
be fun.
mountaintop over to Titan, but
Yeah.
luckily enough, Titan did not want to fully commit to the
It's the
final.
хоёрын
Let it happen,
өдрүүд
but
л даалгавар
if Titan
болгоно
wanted to
да.
and went full aggressive on that compound, I think this actually could have been a Titan chicken dinner. It could have been
Consistency.
I'd say
Yeah,
like
it could have been a Titan chicken dinner, but
Consistency.
in the
Ooh.
end, like you mentioned
Alpha
yourself, Vivo was
Serum
able to
take
get
very
into
good
an
points.
amazing position, and we
How
saw
many?
once again
24.
the Brazilians
24.
bringing
Yeah,
out that
24
DBS
points.
close range. Even
wanna see
mid-range,
the point
they
table,
are
final
still
point
using it. They
table.
are still dealing
Sniper
damage.
Yeah.
DPS.
Okay,
Correct?
listen. Can we allow like
I don't know
a
what's
6x
happening with
scope on a
HUD.
DBS? I don't know if
Doesn't
that's
seem to
gonna
be in
work,
any sort
but
of
we
momentum.
want to see it happen now.
Can I actually hear you?
Yeah.
I know this is kind of off topic here. Maybe
Yep.
the sound effect for the
Yep,
DPS
yep,
or
yep.
Sandstorm?
Let's see.
No,
See.
do I have-
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought it was like
What? That's the DPS sound. Oh, well, that was what was that?
Well, to be fair, Max, man, he needs to keep his
How many viewers you
voice
have?
down because this is
Me,
in the
bro, I'm a
lobby of
poor
one of the
guy.
best
My
hotels
peak
in
is
the world,
around
Kuala
70,
Lumpur,
80
where
people.
Vengsar,
Right
where
now
our
I have
world is your
26.
playground. Doesn't want to disturb anyone else in the
26.
You are a
lobby.
big
Right
guy,
now-
bro.
Reception.
You have 1,000?
Right
What
now,
it is.
I
Back to
yeah, I
you
have
for the next segment,
1,030,
and we'll get you to the proper
45.
DBS sound. But obviously, when you get
Only
to your
if we
room,
knew
you
how
can
to
maybe
become
hook
a
yourself
content
up with some
creator.
Prime Gamer, get some exclusive free in-game PUBG Mobile
Бид
items,
тэр
premium content, as well as the
ST-ийн
other
хөрөнгө
benefits you get
оруулагчтай
with Prime.
давхар YouTube дээр watch bar
And
хийж
maybe you
байгаа.
can actually
Бид
order
залуу
something to
тавьж
help you
байна.
with the sound effect because
IC топ тавтай
there's
байж байгаа
just-
асуудал
I don't
бол
think
нэг
you can
лүг нэгээсээ баг унаг баха.
No, that's the.
Баг байх.
See, I give myself
Аваад
a 0
л
out of 10 for
хармаар
that, but
байд.
I'll try again next game.
Just message Squash, and I'm sure he'll teach you. Okay, I'm sure he can definitely give you a few tips on how that works.
Alpha Serum
Well, the
хүчээс
Sandbox
санагдсан.
one thing I have to point out,
Good.
HVP 2
I
points.
stop.
They have been struggling today so far. They're looking down towards the bottom of the leaderboard, but a team looking towards the top is going to be Inco.
I think
which we're gonna
today,
interview on the
like
stage
anyone who
with
wants to be in
Flavor
the
once
top
again.
5, he has to have that big lead, right?
Yeah, very big because it's only 2 days, so
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's
welcome
very
back.
close.
Here we are at
Yeah.
the PUBG
It's
Mobile
like
Global
survival
Championship
stage.
2022. My name is
Yeah.
Flavor, and hopefully you guys
I
have an
think
amazing
tougher
time
than that. You
witnessing
need
the
to have
first
that
half
lead
of day number 1
straight
right
away.
here at the
Yeah,
final
but-
chance
but
for all these amazing 16 teams
but
featured
if,
right here for the weekend
like
itself. And of course, ladies and
HBVP
gentlemen, a
is not
special
in top
announcement
5,
just
they
for
can
you.
come
Captain
back
Messi
very
is now
strong
available
tomorrow.
in PUBG
You have
Mobile
some team very
background,
strong
packed with
mentality.
Messi football
So
icons
they have
and
nothing to
more
lose. They
collaboration
need to
team
fight.
items until
Even
the
if
31st of
they
December
not fight,
2022 to help
they
you
lose.
stand out
So
on
they
the
know
battlefield.
about that. So
Grab
they
them
need to
in
fight.
PUBG Mobile
Tomorrow
now.
will
Now,
be
of course,
fire.
ladies
Tomorrow,
and gentlemen, right here,
I
we
don't want
are
to see
here
tomorrow
with
last
the
game.
Julie, one of our amazing teams we featured
Tomorrow there
on
will
the
be
PUBG
drop
Mobile Global
clashes.
Championships 2022. How are you doing,
Tomorrow
great
will
sir?
be so fun.
Yeah, tomorrow will be fun.
Tô bem,
Let's see, let's
Tomorrow will be
tô
fun. Let's see
tranquilo,
what happens tomorrow.
focado para essas próximas 3
Yeah.
quedas e buscar esse top 1 aí hoje ainda.
Man, the
Ah,
bottom
Orma
teams,
Ferrari.
the bottom teams will ruin it for a lot of top teams.
Yeah.
Right, getting
Bottom
excited.
team.
I
That's
don't
good to hear.
I
Now,
don't know
first,
why
now,
Inco
allow me
do
to say
this
right?
game
You
in
had an
Sanhok.
amazing first match for the day,
They
but the next two
separate.
matches
I
didn't
they
go well
I
for
think
you
they
and the
don't know
team
what
itself.
they do
What happened
in the last
after Irango?
rotation.
What did they do?
Tipo, o primeiro jogo foi
Yeah, I
com
don't know.
vocês, mas os dois segundas caídas não foram assim tão bem.
They have
Other
such a
Suleiman,
good
shit,
position.
ata
A gente
korona.
fez o que a gente
And
sempre
good
faz
point
lead.
nas outras 2 quedas. A
Yeah.
primeira a gente aproveitou muito bem as oportunidades, a gente
They
fez o
need
nosso jogo de
they need
centralização.
to play
Na
it
segunda a
more
gente não soube
consistent.
aproveitar as
Yeah.
oportunidades que a gente teve, como a gente teve na primeira queda. Teve time que tocou
You
perto da
know
gente, a
that
gente
you
não
have
tomou a escolha
Indonesian
certa
accent.
de-
Ne үгүй штэ би.
das ações, né, que a gente
Миний
podia ter
аялга англи
I'm gonna
аялга
wear my
орташ.
lucky cap.
Na terceira queda acabou
Франц
que foi
нөө
uma
Францны
infelicidade,
аялга
a
орж
gente foi
ирсэн
cortado no
байхгүй.
meio da safe,
Англи амар
bateu,
муу
foi
аяллаа.
cortado, mas a gente tá bem para essas 3 quedas, com certeza a gente vai sair bem nessas próximas partidas. aí.
Алтан чоны хоцтой.
So for them, like actually for all the
Well,
three
PUBG
matches,
Mobile
they
used
be
to.
doing like what they always do, like playing
I
like, for the
lost.
center field. Like for the first one, of course, they got like the chicken dinner. They had like a good point. But for the like second, they like made some mistakes, special like in the center field. and the other teams like didn't allow that. For the third,
2 minutes.
almost
People are asking us, Senator, why players
the
didn't
next
come
three
up
matches.
for an interview
Definitely,
after
that's what
2
they'll
to
be
3
doing
chicken
right there.
dinner in
So,
green group.
now next up, what
They
should we
they
do
not
to
asked
prepare for today? Because
our
you guys
team
had
to
a
do
day
an
off
interview. They
yesterday
just
itself
asked it
for
last
witnessing the matches between
in the
Green
last
Red
game
versus with
after
Green
last
Yellow.
day,
So
but
you guys had a day off.
even
What
they
about
not
everything like that?
speak
So what you guys do today?
English. We not have Mongolian translator, so
You are a
I spoke.
translator, bro.
Nah, nah, nah.
What are you saying?
I
You have good
can't, bro.
English.
I can't speak when I have you know in this moment I have so many my
preparando as
how to say
estratégias, decidir os lugares
I'm
que a
very
gente ia
happy, you
cair.
know.
E foi isso, a gente sempre se
I
reúne
lost. I forget some
antes
English
dessas
words.
partidas para poder conversar com a nossa última análise e se prepara para todas as partidas e é isso.
Yeah, it happens.
So of course, like there was like the map feed like for yesterday. They prepare like well.
That'll be crazy
They
seeing.
talk with the coach tonight, and
I
also
remember in
like they all
Pmgc,
got
I'm like, oh
together
my
like all the
God,
players
man, I was
before
gonna go
like
crazy.
for the match today, and they talk like
Yeah.
about the strategies for
Some
today.
cheers or something.
It sounds like the team seems to be very prepared for what's about to transpire today as well as tomorrow as well. And of course, last question I have for you two right now. Now, what are unique strengths for that your team has that other teams don't have, and what do you think you guys need to improve on to perform in today and
Nur
tomorrow?
território PUBG da
Então, qual é o ponto
E no
mais
território
forte aqui
PUBG
da
da
vossa
Ultra.
equipe que as outras equipas não têm e que vão fazer para melhorar para os próximos 3 jogos?
Айтси дээр мэдгүй аваад гарахгүй надаа map хэлгэрэнда.
Quando a gente vai mal, a gente consegue resetar a cabeça e ir para as próximas partidas. Vários dias
Одоо
aí, a
3
gente
map
foi mal
эсвэл
nas três
тэсгийн
primeiras
багууд нь
quedas,
гоё
depois
хиймээр
nas
байна.
outras três a gente conseguiu recuperar. Na primeira fase a gente foi mal, nos 2 primeiros dias e nos 2 segundos dias a gente deu comeback. Então, com certeza, acho que essa
Bro, these guys, Inco guys are doing very long interview.
So like for the most
Yeah,
talented
very,
they
very
have
long.
is like the unity
Let's see what
and
they're
the
saying.
friendship between them, because like even like the first games, if they do bad, like for the first week they are like two, 3 bad days, but then they also do like the comeback for the next matches.
Unity is definitely their way to go right here.
But
Thank you
they're
so
good
much,
kids.
and all the best
Inco guys are
to
good
Inco
kids.
on the remaining matches we have today. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
there you have it. That concludes the interview.
Very
We have Global
friendly.
Global Champions 2022.
Now they are our partners.
It's
Now
going
we
to
play
be
Call of
match number
Duty.
4. 3 more matches
Stalwart
go
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we close out
Call
day
of
number
Duty.
1. Stay tuned,
Can we do
and
watch
we'll be
parties
right
on
back with
CODM
game number 4
events?
right after this.
No, I don't know. I have no
Have
no
you played Call of
competence,
Duty ever?
nothing. No.
Well, welcome back here.
Maybe
Let's take a look at our
CS:GO
overall
I can,
rankings
but
to see where our teams
Call of Duty I
currently
can.
stand. Remember, top 5 is what it's going to
Okay,
be about. DRS,
this
Inco,
match,
Reject,
Alpha
Ice,
7,
Esports, and Alpha
39
7 would all
points.
be going to the
Wait.
finals over in Jakarta in
Overall
January
rankings.
if we ended things off now. But we're not
Okay,
doing that
let's
quite yet
see.
here.
39
Sandstorm,
points, Alpha 7,
went,
36
what
IHC,
did you go to-
Reject,
about
33.
Айцаар
Who
just
about the fact that Alpha's now in the lead
Дэвиж
after
артын
getting
багууд
that
зөөхөн байх
dinner
шүү. За
and
одоо
just
нэг
the fact
тоглох
that we
хэрэгтэй
also have
болчихлоо.
both
Одоо л нэг тоглол залуучууд.
top 4 at the moment, and
Тэгвэл
there is
энэ
already a
бишээс
Brazilian
титан битач
representative
яа
in
гэдэг
Influence
аа
German
бэ?
in the grand
10
finals.
зөрүүтэй
So
шүү.
if it was to just stay as is, you'd have 3 Brazilian representatives in the grand final, which would be huge for the region.
LGD on
See our
number
second
9.
page as
Oh,
well.
this,
Empire
you know, the
bottom
all
of the table at
Chinese
14,
number 9.
HVP second at 16. What is happening? I swear we need to get an interview with them because this is not the HVP
За
we've
одоо л
known.
нэг
This is
тоглох
not the
хэрэгтэй энэ
Vampire Esports
залуучууд.
we've known.
Does this
And they
number
are
9
running
ring
out
bells
of
for you,
time to
Senator?
catch
Yeah,
up.
okay,
Only 3
okay, bro.
matches in.
I
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go
What about
toilet
2
in
bad
the
matches?
okay.
What about 4? That seems
Bhai, Nova wala number 9 hai hai.
Kill will be the next match of the day. Gentlemen, I'm worried honestly for these teams. You know, Maximum, we got to cover HVVP over in PMPL Western Europe, and we got to see them finally come back into the mix. But are they going to be a team to watch for you? That's my question. No.
These are not my teams.
These are
HVP
not those
was
look like the
it.
last match teams to watch, to be honest.
Was,
but
it
you know
was.
what? Who were your teams?
So I went with Bacon Time. I think with that a little bit of a step up this time, so I want to see that continue. HVP more specifically because I don't really know what to say. Like they've had some tough rotations in the first 2 games, and they got gatekept. I think it was by Besiktas over on this previous Sunhold game, and they're just struggling to get themselves in decent entry points, and they're just constantly being gatekept. I don't know if it's off the back of them doing the same things as they used to, and teams just being so much better at gatekeeping because they know how HVP move. They know HVP is a very scary team and a very aggressive team at that. If they can stop them in their tracks outside the circle and just hold on to a really good spot and just fight from a distance, that's what a lot of teams have been doing this game. It happened for Bacon, happened to BTR, it happened this time to Besiktas and Nigma Galaxy. So maybe HVVP need to change their plan because it seems like someone cracked their code and they're just struggling to get in the game itself.
Seems like old school HVVP where they take a day to get into the mix or a week to get into the mix. Sandstorm, appreciate your teams to watch as well as your contribution to that segment. We're going to head over to our casters, though, to get into our fourth match today because it's ready to go. That's why we're not hearing your predictions here. John and Alan and Blank, take it away.
Going into another Erangel Blank, match number 4 on the card. We played a quarter of the games of this sprint phase. Of course, the last chance top 5 spots going over to Jakarta to the PMGC.
कोच हमेशा टॉयलेट जाते हैं क्या इसका आफ्टर पर मैच पानी पीते हैं ना यार people drink water during streaming except me.
We are indeed heading over towards match number 4 now, so already halfway through the day. Sandhawk's done and dusted, so Erangel next, Miramar, and Erangel once again. HVP here currently struggling quite badly.
भाई उर्दू स्ट्रीम लगाओ कमेंट्री से ज्यादा कॉमेडी मिलती है
Still playing
समझ गया डिलीट क्यों करना है
coming through from that survival stage, which is always good to see considering how far they were down in the lobby from that last day of survival stage itself before they did send themselves with a chance into last chance itself. BTR though, again, I think that last game, 18 points, it was getting themselves up to 18 points is good, but the last game is just not enough, right? Coming in that second, third
guys,
place
I'll be
position,
back. Stay here. I'll be back quickly.
What was that they got? It just wasn't enough for them, and it's sad to say, 14 points on that game from a position which really they should have won from. That is not what's going to see you towards that top 5.
Main path coming through. Lipovka down to Sosnovka military base. A little bit cutting the northwest out, but those vehicles can be claimed. I think we saw a similar playing path to this during the previous days, and it wasn't too bad for teams to get out a little bit far, but HVVP could still drop down to their backup drop in Sosnovka military base if they decide to go for that split drop on the west. See if there's any hot drops as well around those vehicles near farm and shelter.
A7 taking Lipovka as per usual here. LGD moves up towards that northern side, could hit up Kameshki if they want to. Sosnovka available, like you say, there is some positions down there. Bit more difficult to go for vehicles down in Sosnovka if you don't originally drop down there, just because you're more than likely going to have to fight over those and losing players early on when there is compounds very close to those vehicles where you can quickly get those weapons on board. It's a bit of a toss-up in terms of what you can get done. I8 will drop down there in the first place though. They found some success from Sosnovka before. See if they can find it again. HVP also dropping this area with vehicles in mind. BPE very close by too, so a very scary drop down to here in Sosnovka. A lot of teams close by to one another.
HVVP actually going to be challenged out by quite a few teams down there. You've got, I think, potentially a hot drop with Aegon XI8 going on in the military island. As Mythic and Zessi come close to one another. Looking for that vehicle drop. Trying to get to the garage. Zessi, does he know there's a player there? Certainly he's going to know about it now. Here's the nade go off. Thinks better of moving too close. I wonder if Mythic has a weapon. It looks like he has something on his back, but it could be, you know, a crossbow or something like that. I haven't quite clocked it just yet. Okay, has got an AKM and a DP as well by the looks of it. Some pretty heavy gunfire. Level 1 vest, level 2 helmet for Mythic. Alpha 7, Besiktas. Both just trying to keep themselves safe. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Mythic just hop in the vehicle and razz it as fast as he can.
This is an active hot drop over towards Alpha 7 though, with Mythic taking his position practically every single game up towards this side for Alpha 7, scouting out nice and early. Zessi dropping here alongside him does make things slightly weird. Now the rest of Alpha 7 do come in, but Besiktas also here. 2 shotguns available. Not the best ones. You have to hit those ones hard. And 2 players from Besiktas immediately go down, and now they just have to dip out. Alpha 7 did a really good job to get them off this spot. Very happy with the response time from the rest of the team from Alpha 7 down in Lipovka. Immediately Mythic's like, I have the inside track here. He's locked inside a building. I'm on the outside. I need some help. I have locked down the majority of the fences. So a very, very good response coming from Alpha 7 to salvage that engagement. And now BTR basically have Yasnaya all to themselves.
Leaves Besiktas down on 2. It's going to be very difficult for them to really push in too much further than very east of Yasnaya. The circle keeps a lot of the gap between the military island and the mainland in play. So those teams on the military island have a little bit longer to get out of dodge. It's still possible that it potentially could go down south all the way to the island, but the majority of the land in this next circle in that mainland position will be playing around that potato hill, that sort of area between there and shelter.
BTR, looks like they're leaving actually from Yaz. Nice and early on, looking for maybe a different position on the map. HVP didn't take too many casualties down towards that south side. VPE instead taking up Quarry, as well as Primorsk. Not a bad spot for them. Can certainly play from here for quite some time. Enigma Galaxy heading back up to their usual stomping grounds in Pmgc. They do have some players still on the
Besiktas पे
outside,
किस
but
A7
they do
ने
move fairly quickly.
ड्रॉप क्लैश किया है क्या?
4 minutes into the game, I mean, it was very early on the path on these northeast teams. So that has accelerated their movements.
Name a team you want to see perform well. Inco.
Inco.
Inco or DRS. Sang मेरा भाई है.
Spot on board. Close to Titan. Becker folds back. Returns it. And they just want to try and hold this out for as long as possible. Play in these buildings, get some presence, make sure that they can establish control of a little bit of an area. And you can see there's quite a lot of area that they have sightlines and vision over, especially once they get to the top floor of those buildings, once they've cleared everything.
It does become a pretty damn good spot for them down towards farm. And again, this time around, Inco's able to find themselves that central spot. It's not moved too far away from them. And I think they find the most success when they're a little bit on the outside track at the beginning of the game, and we see that second shift and they can be a little bit more certain where the circle's heading towards. But so far, Inco do look fairly good on their angle. It's one of their favored maps. They tend to find some good performances here with the central compounds they're able to play from. I think their timing is probably one of the things that they're very, very good at, in which case taking those third parties, when to disengage, when to engage, a lot of times where they're cramped up with other teams in the area. That has really helped them out. And I think that comes from a place of, you know, being one of these underdog teams, one of these teams that maybe people didn't expect much out of. However, coming into this, yes, they're a bit more careful at times. They don't always
यार
take
IHC
these
भी जीतनी चाहिए.
engagements,
तुम लोग ना difficult
whereas other
question
teams would
पूछते
be
हो. कौन
thinking,
team
we have
जीतनी
to take
चाहिए?
this right now. We have to challenge this position. Whereas Inco is very happy. Just sit back and bide their time and wait for the best moment to strike. And that seems to be what has been securing a lot of these very strong central compounds for them, even with teams surrounding them. BTR moves down to position on the top side. They have high ground in the Wizard Tower, trying to scout some of these compounds underneath. Think about where their next rotational path might take them.
Teams on the military island still yet to make a move away. IHC still playing fairly split on their position on the east side of things. Don't think they've managed to go across just yet. And they are still just all four of them on that south military island. Potato Hill now claimed at the top by Down One. Pretty important rotational path, but a lot of teams have headed center early, which means that not many teams are going to be rotating through there.
HVP do need to move north at some point. You'd expect this circle not to end up down towards Sosnovka. VPE got a fairly easy rotational path on this western side. Sort of reminds me of back in the day of Western Europe, Mad Bulls and their rotation through this position. Made a lot harder come group stage because there were a lot of teams playing in Gatka downwards. With this specific playing path coming from Kameshki to Sosnovka, there's not a lot of teams taking up these positions in Gatka in the first place. So VPE, fairly easy rotation, get themselves to a position on the coastal side, and then can start to take shots and move their way through. Will depend on this next circle shift, though. Interested to see where that one does head.
Should be in fairly soon. Besiktas on the northern side trying to move in, but Bigatron are in the way. Looks like they might have scouted that out. Peace actually going to poke his head closer. I don't think they realize there is a team there just yet.
But
it's worth checking it out. The question is, can Peace get away with that information?
Achhabal is a beautiful place.
Will he hear those footsteps? Will he hear a vehicle? Looks like Jen Foster's going to lose a couple of shots. just try and back them off a little bit. They're definitely going to know there's a team present now, but LGD rock up and into the mix.
VM moving downwards. Been taking a while for them to get into position, but yeah, finally here now. We'll be playing around that north shelter area. Most teams heading very central very quickly. We're having discussions ourselves before this game about why VP and HVP maybe not doing as well as maybe we expected them to. And I think it's born purely off the back of their edge playstyle. A lot of times you'll see that edge playstyle work out very well.
अब बताओ किसका chicken?
More teams playing towards the edge itself, you can start to clear positions. But
now I can say
lobby,
HVP RC. नहीं, HVP हो जाएगी sandwich. देखना, I8 और इसके बीच में ये sandwich हो जाएगी.
Come in from the back and a third party sideswipe on the eastern flank here. Besiktas, remember, they're already down at 2. LGD have been now severely diminished as well. Both middle pack teams right now looking to break out, but neither of them going to have too strong of a showing here now, with only those 2 players left standing.
मतलब RKS 2 भी ना easy pick उठाता है.
In this next circle, sure, but how long
easy pick नहीं उठाने का.
Going with 16 teams still in.
देख pick होता है Besiktas, जो मैंने पहले मैच में उठाया. वो तक तो सोच सकता था Besiktas chicken लेगी उसमें.
Yeah, for LGD, as they start to slip away from the top of that leaderboard down to 9th place now.
Hitesh, ये HVP है, yeah, bro. I don't know what's wrong with them.
And in match 4,
I think HVP ना बहुत demotivated है, because they think that maybe
it's a very even split at the moment. Other than HVP and VPE, to be honest, with 6 and 4 points, everyone else is slowly sits up at 1 or 2 points between every single team, up towards 3-point margin between.
They needed to be in the top tier right now, qualified. They deserved that. होता है थोड़ा mindset में. ये क्या हो गया, वो क्या हो गया. सारी चीजें दिमाग में आती हैं. That's why I think they're a bit deserved.
Which would see you currently in 3rd place if you hit a game like that right now. So there's still chance. And I think that getting these big games at the end of today is where it's most important, because you want to see yourself in line with some of these top teams before you head into tomorrow. Otherwise, your work is really cut out for you.
Yeah, and I think it's most important for those big teams who haven't performed well so far. You know, it would be great if HVVP and Vampire can get big numbers up on the board.
हाँ तो तुक्का ही बोलेगा.
2 of the teams that
हम बोले तो तुक्का, तू बोले तो prediction.
Quite frankly, in those top spots. Top 1st place for HVVP, 3rd place for Vampire. And it will be a relief if nothing else. You can kind of write off the day and be okay with it, as long as you get one good game here today. And you have to take a good day tomorrow, but it's match 4 and we're still
देखते हैं circle किधर बनता है.
End of day results. It is such a short form short format tournament. There you go. That it really does matter. These small little junctures and the way that you handle them, really important.
Already you can see exactly why I'm.
अब इसको बता तुक्का, मैंने बोला था नीचे बनेगा circle. उसी time नीचे बन गया.
Rely on it a little bit too heavily. You can see that with the circle that's shifted in, it's headed towards farm side. So DRS, Nick Galaxy, down.
अच्छा इस मैच में ले IHC का chicken. ठीक है. अगर सर्कल मेटा बराबर सेम तरीके से 10% chances वो वापस ऊपर खिंच जाएगा, which it shouldn't. Oh,
the best they can hope for is that more and more fights start to pop off towards the center like this, with Besiktas losing another player down to 1 now, where they can find some openings.
LGD
पे बसट. Oh, गया. RC भी गया. अबे.
All of their players are falling, coming a cropper. I think Game Lord is just open.
ये तो मतलब इनको
everything they have.
मजे भाई.
So washing away everybody out in these open fields.
अबे इनको वाले ने दे दिया इसको AWM से.
Over their way. That's coming in from Nanobetse from Inco. Reject will be eliminated as well. LGD and Reject the first 2 to fall. Reject.
Game Lord वाले को क्या knock दिए हैं भाई?
These teams towards the bottom, happy days. Losing Reject early like this allows them not to get too far ahead. A7, however, still on good track at the moment, right on the northeast side. Still have a way to go, clearing out teams. BTR in their path, but BTR don't seem to be too much of a problem for a lot of these teams at the moment.
Bro, FIFA देखने चलो आप भी. Argentina versus Australia will be lit. Bro, I swear I even have tickets, but it is madness to go there. You have no idea.
Towards I8, and this is a much-needed win for them. And with IQ maybe winning this fight, it could be
एक
bad for
नाइट
them.
वाला गया था इस पे.
Really needed to win that earlier to see a safe, but either way, he does come up smelling well. Ghost, however, turns it around and finds another knock over to Vampire. Vampire already confirmed to have lost one player now. They really need to keep themselves together here. 2 versus 2. A lot of damage over to Stone. Ravenclaw crawling away to try and get rezzed up here by Fluke as they turn it around. Nades start to come through. They're not going to commit for this res. They don't think they have the time. The double DPS in action for Vampire, and it does give them a lot of power in this close quarter scenario. Southwest side and no one really close. A brilliant nade out. Finds Fluke, XIA stoned around the corner. Evens up the numbers yet again. Ghost now up the stairs, trying to play on the upside, but will be losing his teammate in the process. 2 players still alive, and out he goes, looking for the res, playing it nice and slow. But Ghost wants to put more on out, wants to put a nade outside, and he goes, the nade's in hand, and it's good for Stoned. Can he avoid the nade? Did it drop down, or was the pin back?
क्या ही घटिया गेम प्ले. क्या ही घटिया गेम प्ले.
Stay alive, 3 players.
Really needed.
आप देखते हैं सर्कल किधर बनेगा. नीचे नीचे नीचे. ओ देख. देखा IHC पे फिर से भाई IHC का चिकन. जिम में गेम देख रहा हूँ भैया. भाई तू जिम कर. डोले बना तो डोले बना. डोले बना. गेम बाद में भी देख सकता है. फिलहाल दोनों पे फोकस कर.
They're a bit split off, so aren't able to take these shots as of yet. You can see them rotating alongside one another. Tixie's in the back, takes a huge amount of damage from Mafioso, and now A7 can start to leverage this.
Which player has the most LMs in single game?
Alpha 7 cut Tixie off from the rest of HVVP, get the flush as well.
ये DBS ने अलग level पे गया. हाँ भाई.
Some sort of answer here.
DBS was a game changer.
Match of the day, and they've already started it off in an ideal fashion. They're moving ahead, and they're looking like they might just disengage from this. We saw this come through on the Miramar game as well earlier. They lost a player and then they just fully disengaged from the north side. They tried to just rotate away and play in a different spot. It looks like their confidence might have diminished a bit, Blank.
Yeah, just faltering. Matic takes a massive amount of damage there. Some good sprays. He was on a straight trajectory, though, which makes those sprays a little bit easier to hit. Kitsune still watching down that way. They needed that instant refrag, and with them being split off one another, Tixie in the back. I mean, Matic, the rest of the team, perhaps looking to rotate down towards the eastern side, hope to pick on a third party. But with how quickly we did see that fight conclude between A7 and BTR. BTR just sending all the way down towards that southeast side. HVP run into
Talking by DWG और इनको का चिकन मेरा prediction.
And A7 were already setting themselves
मैंने कहा या तो मैं बोलूँगा ही नहीं. छोड़ो.
3 players alive, though, still in with the shot on the northern edge.
बोलता ही नहीं भाई.
Regroup and see if they can do a little bit more. Center east of the circle now. 3 teams occupy the compound on the long. Game Lord, Titan, making time as well. Bigatron trying to roll up to squash from Inco, who do have 4 players active. Their players are a little bit too far away, though, to help squash on this one. And he will be caught in the press. Bigatron, you can see the health bars there. Zuxi is down, but Misery and Liquid very low. Close by to Inco, and the nades are in range here. The smokes are starting to bloom. It's actually Nick Galaxy
squash
shot in through from the northwest side, through the door frame.
More and more through Game Lord. Narvalo steps out a little bit too wide. Takes a bit of bad damage on his side. Gem Foster also falling. There is a slight gap in that shack, in which case Neighbor Galaxy are completely taking advantage of it. Just sending bullets whistling through. Hear the wood cracking as it hits, and Gem Foster will go down because of it. And Abete, Becker, Vitali all up front. BTR, all he can do is keep sending these smokes down towards the floor. Their position is now known. Yes, it's a central spot, but look at the amount of teams that see that position.
Bacon time. Have the upper floor here and a lot of sightlines over towards Narvalo. A lot of the teams on that hillside. Down 1. Tied, I think, for the highest elimination, or maybe on the highest elimination count so far in the lobby. Alpha 7 might have just surpassed that.
इनको गई भाई.
They've got this game,
इनको निकल ही नहीं पाएगी वहाँ से. I doubt
today.
they will be able to get out.
4 of them alive. They're in a fairly solid spot right now.
नीचे circle नीचे. Come on. IHC.
It favors.
मेरे बीच में बन गए. But still good for them.
Very simple little shift towards the center. Inco still happy with this.
अच्छा split था वैसे
इनका. Down slightly. That's towards down 1 spot. Crossing the road. always the scary part for them. Besiktas off in the distance. Alpha 7 will have to take a similar lineup. Fairly split though at the moment, so perhaps one or two of the players can get picked off. Maybe Sun goes for these shots. He does, but now that's the presence known. Vehicle dropped out a little bit too wide though. Should get blown up, which limits the amount of rotational ability coming through from HVP.
Not entirely sure. I don't think they've lost that buggy just yet, but it still won't provide them with everything that they need on that northern edge. They are in this next circle, however. Enigma Galaxy scouting out with Ralph as well from that northwestern edge. Alpha 7,
Alpha 7 की भी अच्छी
they've
position
played
है.
divide and conquer
Hill पे है
very,
ना?
very effectively, I would say, on this
Matic
northern
is also
side. This
fighting
edge
for the hill.
strategy working out for the Brazilian team.
Yeah, they're up and down, guys from A7, but right now they are certainly up.
IHC ने okay, एक player, एक knock, एक खत्म.
The scout to try and find a position to play in. Now just stoned remaining. Yes, they got 4 eliminations over towards I8, but it has been a rough run inwards.
ये जाएगा हलवे में.
Ability to just get
Bro, Argentina और Portugal. Portugal, bro.
Take them down and then move
All day
that.
Portugal,
they are
bro.
hemorrhaging players. Yes, they took knocks, but they always got players back up to 4-man strength. Smoke goes down. Enigma Galaxy look like they're going to try and move up towards it, and Stone's in a very tricky position now.
Spots that smoke start to bloom.
Vampire वाला किधर घूम रहा है?
Go
टहलने
for a
निकल गया.
180, repositions away from this rotation. DRS have spotted it. Delta wants the spray down, but it's not going to catch him just yet. Inco holding off against the aggressive change. Coming on through, and
HVP को क्या हो गया? पता ही नहीं भाई HVP को क्या हो गया.
Galaxy as well.
करेगी I think like एक chicken लाएगा तो I think there will be a game back in the picture.
To pick up that
They're
point.
just a chicken away.
4 eliminations on the game. I mean, it's just not good enough at this stage, Blank. This is 4 games now with a poor performance from Vampire. HVP similarly struggling, having taken a knock just now. They do manage to condense into
Day
that
1
res,
पे तो
but this
dominate
tower,
करती है
very,
HVP.
very
आज
difficult to
उल्टी
hold.
कहानी
The
चल
good
रही
news
है.
is the Besiktas
True.
only have 1, and down 1, unlikely to push out this way. So the nades not going to be super, super impactful.
Yeah, for down 1, I think the most important thing for them was the fact that it was the buggy that got saved in that situation. It was the Dacia that got exploded. So there's no way that HVP is going to make a 4-man crash onto that building. The buggy only taking 2 players with them. So they'd have to leave 1 player behind as a backstop there, which is not ideal. Taking a 3v4 as hard as it is, taking a 2v4 with a backstop who's not involved with the fight, where maybe Peace can take shots, Mythic might be able to take shots. It is difficult. And with HVP right on the edge of this circle, they need this northwest shift if they want to get further in. Down 1, on the other hand, very happy right now. Enigma Galaxy got towards the center, but suffered heavily to the hands of Inco.
Next circle coming on through into phase 6. DRS, western edge. Very, very on the edge of it as well. We'll be cutting through potentially even some of the positions that they're in right now. Next circle pops, and it is a westward one, which will leave Titans out. Alpha 7 are going to have to move as well. Bacon Time, Game Lord, all of these teams are going to have to move. Inco in their shack will be okay for the time being, but HVVP will have to leave theirs.
It's a little bit better, I think, for HVP, though. Happy enough with this one. They will have to move down towards where that one's gaming, maybe challenge out the RS's position. A7 have a little bit further.
A7 को थोड़ा difficult situation उनको नीचे आना है.
Power to make these kind of pushes. Game Lord will have to move alongside with Titans and Bacon Times. That's going to be a rough run out for these guys. All against one another, trying to shunt each other off the road, down and towards the ditches and out of this game.
They need to give a push on DWG.
Waiting for those peaks. You can see they're just stationing themselves at those windows, maybe looking for people, shooting out those smokes. Alpha 7 slowly move forwards, lining up those vehicles for the rotate still to come. IHC swinging out as well, and now Alpha 7 find a knock over towards Bacon Time. Alpha 7, 5 eliminations on the game, and in comes the rotate. Now Valo already down. Robs looks to move in and potentially look for a res as well there. Victor
Chicken biryani or mutton biryani, bhai? Mutton biryani all day.
Into the circle now with Robs getting that res, but in comes Shirty. to lead the charge for Bacon time against the remaining duo, but a lovely little step up for Akashi. Finds the forward position. Noise is there, getting isolated as well. Akashi around the side, looks for more, has to swap out for the Mini 14, but there's backup from Victor, and now he looks for the reload on the UMP. Player at the back, spotted, going into the side building there, side room, but there's an off angle, there's shots coming through, and Game Lord now may lose their backstop position. The duo at the back will fall, but it's only ice for Bacon time to keep going.
ये क्या हो गया?
Shut it down.
Goodness me. Akashi moves outwards. There's two players.
Game Lord भी बाहर.
Rob's hoping to get these two players back in towards action. HVP lose another member on their cross. They try to move down towards that western side, but down one were waiting for that push for a very, very long time.
नहीं.
Maybe HVP gets their
Game Lord
teammate
is
back
still
in
in,
action,
bro.
but they need to get towards a top 5 position
But
now.
Siktas
To see them with
eliminated.
maybe even just a chance towards the last 2 matches of the day. Titans fly in towards where Game Lord's holding. Very limited space to play in, but right now Robs is making it happen.
Doing a lot of work with him and Narvalo. Titan
Wow.
pull down. The crunch
Titan
is
Gaming
held
भी
off.
बाहर.
Alpha 7 now at their back.
Good
They need to
stuff,
turn their
Game
attention
Lord.
back up the hill, and they have more to deal with. Game Lord with the remaining duo, keeping things going. A little angle found. Robs looks to light it up, but the res comes through, and Alpha 7 are starting to regather momentum. Narvalo needs to keep this pressure on, but he needs to heal as well. All the reses for Alpha 7 are in. The circle is still pushing them, however, and they will need to move forwards.
Oh,
Nades,
what an
Molotovs,
aid.
everything pouring
What
through, but
a
Narvalo
nade.
gets the better end of the deal. Robs
गई
trapped
भाई.
in the
Alpha
chat,
7
sure,
गई.
but
Alpha 7
will
गई.
need to move forwards further. Carrillo is knocked out, and Alpha 7 getting cut apart. Game Lord doing so much work, 10 eliminations on the cards. They've trapped.
IHC.
and
Oh,
tracked
IHC
down
इनको.
And now they're turning their attention to
Oh,
Alpha 7.
तेरी.
IHC and Inco going
Oh
one
my
way,
lord.
then the other. And they
DRS ने
both
third
of
party
the
कर
teams
ली.
down in the center cell.
GG
Over
भाई,
the circle.
GG.
Narvalo close to Mythic now, who has a nade in hand.
दोनों
Has
को
already
wipe out
back,
कर दिया.
repositions out wide, and Narvalo back behind the rock. Revo low. Game Lord hold on with the duo on the east, but Bigatron are right there, ready and waiting.
Mutually
Oh, Mythic,
assured
भाई,
destruction from
what
HC,
a
as well as
freaking
Inco on that side.
nade.
HC
Alpha
one
7
player
गई.
and
कौन
Game
था Alpha
Lord
7 वाला
have
भाई?
Absolutely dominated. What an incredible hold.
कौन
from
से एरिया
the
की
two
ट्रबल
players,
मेकर?
Robs and
पुरानी दिल्ली
Narvalo.
तो अगर पुरानी दिल्ली बोल रहा है तो पुरानी दिल्ली I know.
To taking down Alpha 7, a
I
Titan
have
in
I
their
have
own
had
right as
biryanis,
well
the
at
best
top
of the best
lobby.
biryanis there.
HVP still struggling though, lost another player, but up to top 5, that's what they were looking for. At this point in time, top 5 is good for the guys from HVP, but down one looking to finish the fight here versus them.
They'll catch up, actually. They might not even realise there's still a player there. They will do now, though. Matic unleashing hell, but it's not going to be able to survive the burn himself. Matic falls.
कौन
No
था HC वाला?
eliminations.
मैं था
Matic
भाई.
is really-
मैं था.
I mean, you said it was what they were looking for, but
मैं था.
it's just not going to be enough to keep them there. Fortunately, it is still more points that they've been able to earn in the rest of the day so far. These teams towards the top are not
पनौती वाले
gonna let it
भैया.
go without a fight.
बोलो बोलो भाई,
Lord,
ये
10
तो क्या
eliminations
थर्ड
on
पार्टी
the
हो
game.
गई मेरी
Narvalo,
टीम भाई,
the
वरना
archetypal
जीत रही थी.
survivor, with a lot of points at his back.
सत्य वचन.
What can DRS do against down one as the two teams looking to get back up to 4 players?
Again, BTR set themselves in position for success after that last
BTR
game
अभी
on
भी
Sandhawk.
जिंदा है.
You want to see them do more here. Yes, they don't have the most amount of players to
BTR
work this out
and
with.
looks
Just
like
the two,
BTR.
Liquid as well as
But दो ही
Misery.
player हैं
But they
उनके.
have to take this all the way at the moment. For BTR, that last game on Sandhawk, yes, they got some points, but again, I'll say it, it was lukewarm. It was not enough. They did not have enough presence within that lobby. This is just a game where a second or third place might just about cut it.
DRS
Little
sandwich.
Spray over towards Forest there. Narvalo caught, but not going to get taken down just yet. Seemingly found some cover there behind the shrubbery. Down one, right on the edge, and will have to move further. Narvalo is closer than they are. DRS as well will have to push through. Bigatron, the only team in the circle right now, even though they are a duo, and they have some real hard cover to push up on.
DRS moving on the prowl. Killer sends himself in towards the smoke. Down one, moving in the vehicle. This has to be a good shot coming through from BTR. Rule steps up. Young one gets a little bit further
BTR
down,
सबको
but
BT
Narvalo's
दे दी.
there, finds
Oh.
two. This guy is killer
Game
today.
Lord ने BT दे दी.
Find another point, maybe, even getting a flush there. Nicely found, and a lot of damage being sent through. Narvalo able to flush out one of them, and down one have been taken apart here. Forest,
अभी
last
बचा
player
Forest.
standing for them, and now it's only DRS as a full force squad, but they still have to push in just a little bit. unfortunately for them, there's no windows really for Bigatron out their direction.
DRS moving up, 4-man squad towards the top of the lobby at the moment, looking to put some more points on the board here. A really good team when it just comes to getting towards these final moments every single time. Not able to bring always that firepower. Finishes off the fight for them. BTR though, 2 players left alive. Nice shots come through from Forest. Will at least find one. Gives them time to maybe get out, but Narvalo will take immediate advantage of that. From this angle, moves up to the shack further into.
अगर यहाँ पे DRS ने चिकन नहीं निकाला ना, I'll be really sad.
Solo scenarios. We've seen them in them.
फकीर भाई अभी आप कहाँ पे हो? मैं घर पे हूँ in Dubai.
Somehow,
घर पे
Gamelord have been operating well as a
Dubai.
team so far this game. They did get chunked down, but they already have.
पे क्या हो गया? हरीश दे तो दिया जवाब. कितनी बार पूछेगा?
Gonna get trapped out by the blue zone. Will have to make a mad dash for it if he wants to stay alive here. Bigatron.
That's a great volley. It's cruel.
He's still. Oh no, there's the zone.
ये kill नहीं देगा. ये kill नहीं देगा.
The zone will envelop, and neither team's gonna put a foot out of line here. Narvalo falls third place, but a cracking entry from Gamelord on the game. 13 eliminations in third place, a 23-pointer. Now Bigatron in a 2 versus 4, Misery and Liquid.
Liquid sending nades over the top. These nades are really important. Needs to find some damage from them at least, but you can see already the nades have been sent over the top.
DRS.
Only able to send one at a time.
भाई मेरी, by the way, DRS मेरी prediction थी, भूल गया? जब पूछा who do you want to win? साले अब अगर ये हार गई ना मैं सच में पन होती हूँ. ओ एक knock.
Not many Liquids got left, but that's him down. Now Misery in a really horrible spot. Rules on the side.
Position for Rules is known, but Liquid going to get flushed out here. Gianti starts the push forwards. Bigatron, 1 versus 4. Looks for some shots, finds 1, but is not going to be able to get any more. DRS.
Nepali bhai, Kostocho, Ramrocho.
Very, very nicely controlled towards the end there.
खोलो घर का मैं बाहर खड़ा हूँ.
Moving through, nice and effective.
चले.
Darius will be in a really good spot
ये
now.
कौन है Psycho
1
Harish?
points and finishing with a good point scoring and the
Hello
chicken
Tokir
dinner. I
bhai,
think that might
lafda
set them
no lafda
ahead of
bro,
Alpha
that was a
7, in
joke.
fact, in first place now. Really, really good
अरे
game from
बस
DRS.
करो.
I mean, they have just made it
कब
through
बोला
all
DRS?
of these
अरे
stages
RKS
so far. Very,
भाई
very
stream
well.
ना rewind करके देख ले. You said who do you want to win? मैंने कहा DRS. I love Sang. Sang मेरा भाई है.
But certainly always really present is DRS. Narvalo though, still going out of all of these games. I mean, it is incredible to see. The battery life on this guy is just unbelievable. The amount of time that he just remains in these matches as well. Like, why can't the rest of Gamelord just step up to this
कितनी इनकी kills थी?
and shift to this type of play style?
DRS की कितनी kills
I
थी?
would just get Narvalo on IGL duty at this point.
मैं भूल गया check करना.
It seems like he has earned so many of the points for the squad, and with that might even see them closer towards those top 5 positions.
Sapphire, BGMI, any other new state lineup? Nope.
But
not yet bro. जब तक game का भी पता नहीं है यार. मतलब ठीक है, उनका एक tournament हो रहा है. We'll see. RKS भाई, okay फिर ठीक है. तेरी शॉर्ट गन इतनी बीटी देता है ना. पंप एक्शन.
I'm gonna take a page out of
Check,
Imperium's
check,
book.
check, 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 mic check.
Imperium, he's caster, PUBG Mobile.
Senator, South Asia.
DRS Gaming, 25.
South Asia, I told you, bro. South Asia need.
I know, bro.
We need this.
We need this, bro. We need this. We need South Asian dominance.
Yeah,
China.
South Asian domination, bro.
Except China.
No, DRS have a good spot. No, we need to support IT and I8.
Yeah.
Valo Lords, my favorite
Yeah.
team.
IHC, I think will do it. I
Clearly,
doubt
I don't know
it,
how
bro.
he just keeps
Yeah,
relying on players, but it's really
IIT,
impressive
they
how he's got that.
need. IIT, they
As I
can.
said, Sunstorm, during that game, I feel like
It's
Yeah.
only
Game Lord just has their
2
very
game
first
for
taste
IIT,
of a
2 game
dubious,
good,
like,
2 game bad. So
Yeah.
we have
This
still
is-
2
this is
game.
broken.
I want more of this. We
Yes.
just
But
killed
IIT,
Titan in that fight.
what's
This is an
up?
incredible
What's
fight,
up?
but
Also,
Sunstorm
Inco is
did
giving
just
away
Game
their
Lord needs
ground,
to
bro.
remain as a four-man
Yeah.
team in the late
Inco is
game.
giving
I've yet
away
to
their
see it, but
ground
if they do
slowly.
it,
I don't know
Game
what
Lord
they're
too.
doing.
Game Lord, I think Game
clearly
Lord
have the chops
coming
to
in
take it.
top
We saw
5.
2v4
You
versus
think
Titan.
so?
That's big.
Yeah. See the elimination.
Just,
6
Game Lord
elimination
cannot win
Robs,
games
Narvalov
when
4
players
elimination.
survive.
So
They have to at
they
least lose
Too easy.
die in
Yeah,
third
2 easy,
position.
exactly
That
right.
means
But
they
the
have
thing is,
20
Storm able
points.
to do a decent result for the second place.
Yeah. That's good enough.
Then just
BTR
fall
number
short,
7
Chunk
played
out of
well
points
in
for
this
them,
game.
and that puts them closer to reaching the
I
top
wanna
echelon of our top 5 in
see.
our leaderboards.
I want to
whereas
see the
teams
points
like
table.
HPVP, again, another another underwhelming performance. I don't know if great came. I'm used to saying great when talking about them, but it was anything but that.
DRS
There's a
Монгол
lot of
биш
teams
ээ
starting to
зүгээр
struggle here
DRS
that I'm
одоо
getting
манай
worried
бүсч
for.
чинь өөртөө сүр тийшээ
We're
босчихсон.
almost
Тэгээ
through
сүр
the first stage.
тийшээ
We're almost through half of the matches we have in total in our last
багууд
chance
дэмжиж байгаа.
stage.
Ер нь нэгт
I
бол
don't know what to
IC-га
say,
дэмжиж
Sunstorm.
байгаа. Хоёрт гэвэл
Yeah,
сүр
and this
тийшээгийн
is
DRS
what
бол
I wanted to
I-9 гэсэн
discuss
багуудаас
when we get to the
дэмжиж
last,
PMGC оруулах
or
гэх юм да.
yeah, the
Тэгвэл
last
ерөнхийдөө
chance
манай
stage
сүр
of the
тийшээгийн
tournament.
ранг ч
You
өндөр
have
болно.
these teams that
Манайхыг бол
come
сүр
out
тийшээг
strong
айгу
in the
муу
group
гэж ярьдэн
stages,
штэ.
in the
Тийм
survival
болохоор
stages,
тэр
and then when
хандлага
they
ч
get
гэсэн
to
өөр
the
болох болохоор
last, I
тийм
guess, stage
тэрийг
or the
өөрчлөх
last
бол
part of the tournament,
дэмжиж
they
байна.
always seem to be struggling. They're
DRS
not
number 1,
adapting
58
well
points.
enough, and that's
Yes,
always gonna be the
DRS.
Yeah.
They have
DRS
dominated
number
Group
1.
Green for the first 3 days, and then they changed their strategy on day 4. They started dropping on the west side of the military base, and they lost
DRS
their place.
-ээс
They
лээ бол
didn't
тэр
even make it to the grand
хамаагүй. Тэр
finals, and
хамаагүй.
now
Ороод
they're
ирлээ
here.
болго
And they're
ямар
repeating
ч хамаагүй.
the
Ороод
strategy
өрсөлдөн.
again. I'm not sure
Тэр бол
why
хамаагүй.
they're
Хамгийн
doing it,
чухал нь
considering that's the reason they couldn't get to the grand finals.
пенальтаа
And now
ороод
they might
сүр
not
тийшээг
even
нэрийг
make it
гаргах
at
нь
the
чухал
end.
байхгүй юу?
This is
Одоо
very
манай
bad for
өнцгөөс бол
HPV,
Монгол
and
улс
they
нэрийг
have to
гаргах
turn
нь
it
чухал.
around now.
Yeah, they need to turn it
Сүр
around
тийшээ
right
хичээс
now
амар
for us right now.
ард нь амар хэм явж байгаа шүү дээ. Өмнө жилийн PMGC Grand Final-д
Match of the day.
сүр тийшээс ганцхан баг орсон шүү дээ. Манайх л орсон шүү дээ. Ганцаард нь ер нь л Усыг бол өхөр шүү очтой. Усаа авах хэрэгтэй. Донооны үсгтийг харъя. За. Дайцыг нэг чиг нэрхтэй байна.
Bro, what is happening with HVVP?
I don't know. Need to ask.
Yeah, I know. What is happening with them?
Yeah.
I don't understand, man. They were playing so good.
Сүү тийшээ талтын чансаа өгсөд ер нь бол слоч гэсэн нэмэгдэн шүү дээ. Одоо чи нэг энэ PMGC дээр сүү
Overall Asian domination, bro. Asian domination.
Asian domination. Nice.
Yeah, Asian
Let's see.
domination, bro.
I have some late delay.
So
In this thing, just increase the speed, bro.
Professional esports
Playback
players.
2x.
In 90 Hz experience streams, total consistent mobile
Playback
force,
speed, do it 2x. It will go faster to the end.
play and
Mini
what
bhai,
man.
ki hal Tokir bhai, all good,
Top
bro,
tier
all
accuracy,
good,
I
bro.
don't
Ups
remember
now.
the last you just keep throwing me under the bus in the middle of a sponsor segment. I don't know what.
Only top 5 will
What does it
qualify
say?
for
Okay, hold on.
PMGC
What does it
finals.
say, sir?
Total
What's the
15
last
teams, right? Yes, right.
Intense gaming, and that's about it. Why is
Yeah,
he doing this?
exactly.
I say this call out about 3-4 times a day.
But it's
For
your
the last
thing.
how many days? And you guys don't listen to the last word. It's
Ask
Streaming.
coach how he's
Hello,
going to
that's what
plan
we're
about
doing
2
here.
teams who are going to play
Gentlemen, we're
directly
about to
at
head
PMGC
into our
finals.
next match before them. We're
SMG.
going to talk about their overalls in DRS.
Yeah, I know. After they go in the SMG, they will not play very good because, you know, in the league stage, they're very need to practice in the league stage because you can learn a lot. You can
I think
understand
a
how
lot of
the
teams here
team
just realised there
play,
was a 90 hertz
what's happening in the
option on their
game.
phone
So
not
if
on
they not
Instagram.
play in
I was
the
like, wait,
league
second, this
stage,
is
I
also
think,
really good?
just my opinion, they will
Just
not
gonna
compete
help
very
out
good.
on our results.
DPS, 90 hertz.
Yeah.
Best of
First
both
place?
worlds.
I was also thinking that the teams like, you know, the top 5 who are going to come out of this particular stage even have better
Yeah.
chances.
They were playing this
Because I think like they'll be more like, you know, well trained and more practice against
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
you know, in the
exactly.
competitive, they have better
Exactly.
advantage. Shit, bro, HVP 15, Vampire 16. Oh my god. This is crazy, bro.
Let's see. Oh god. Yeah, I see.
This is crazy, bro.
Yeah, definitely
And
struggling.
LGD.
Not this
HVP
bad.
Vampiro. Yeah, nah. 잘한다.
No. I think Maxman's team should be safe.
자, 거기.
Should be,
많았어,
provided that he doesn't
다시.
pick for the rest of the tournament. But next game, Miramar. That's going to be a very spicy game, especially with the fact that Nigma, HVVP, Vampire.
Okay, I leave, bro.
Yo,
doing
okay.
so hot right now. And
Okay.
with this 5th game of the day, HVVP Vampires, I'm not sure if they can bring it back at this point of the turn, especially Vampire. In the last game, a couple of times they would send one of the players to kind of scout out, find out some information, find out which compounds they can actually just breach instantly. They didn't manage to do that, and they lost 2 players in 2 different locations to do
इस वाले ग्रुप में जो निकलेंगी ना टॉप की 5 टीम है उनको बहुत एडवांटेज मिलेगा प्रैक्टिस के हिसाब से
इस
वाले ग्रुप में जो निकलेंगी ना टॉप की 5 टीम उनको बहुत एडवांटेज मिलेगा
well, of course, Maxman's got to throw up Game Lord in there after their recent success and discovery of the DBS. But Titan as well, Max.
Yeah, I think they had some interesting fights in the previous game, but I'm mostly focused on teams in the middle of the pack right now, and the reason why I'm not picking lower teams, I think it might be over. I really looking at the lead that the teams had at the top, and I'm thinking, unless we see a step up in these last 2 games and seeing how things have been going so far, I don't know why I would put as teams to watch like HVVP, Vampire, Enigma, because even if they do get good games, I don't know if that's going to be actually enough to reach top 5,
well,
so it's looking scary at the bottom. Yeah.
Right, 5th place was 36 points. 20 points in a match, pretty doable. Even
Possible,
like 25, pretty doable, right? That does put you in striking range. I feel like.
Can we see coach in future with Godlike if they qualify for World League type? Yeah, why not? If Godlike wants to, like in future when they qualify for
I agree.
globals,
It's just I have not seen.
then yeah,
them
of
being able
course
to,
we will help in whatever ways we can.
Can.
I mean, we can support them.
Today,
we can help them if they need.
Looking like a shadow of their previous selves in what we saw in the last 2 stages of this Pmgc. Until I see something, I'm not going to put them as a team to watch because they're just not looking anywhere as good as they were in the past.
Okay, well, Sandstorm, respect your picks here as well. You had Nigma Galaxy, you had HVVP, and you had Vampire. 3 teams that need to step up, and 3 teams that I would never expect to not make it to the finals here of Pmgc. But we'll see as we head into our 5th match with John, Allen, and Blaine.
That's right, we're going right into match number 5. It is going very, very quickly, Blank. We are making our way inexorably, inevitably, towards the point where we will have to cut a lot of the teams out here. 11 of them will not be making it any further.
Yeah, we're really getting towards that end mark now, and it is not at all how I expected this to shape up at the end of the day. We have some teams that we thought were 100% going to get towards that top 5 position, yet here we are with DRS, Alpha 7, Down 1, IHC, and Game Lord currently in 5th place. What a strange leaderboard this currently is, but I'm happy to see it. Game Lord have been down bad throughout the year. I think towards the beginning they looked very, very strong. Last year they looked like one of our best Western European teams. They fell off massively, but now getting back to form. Unfortunately, we have not seen many of those dominant finishes with 4 of Game Lord left alive to get up those big points. And it's been a while since we've seen a really good chicken dinner win come from Game Lord. And I think that is the kicker right now for them, is that that's what's holding them back. I think the only thing that's allowing them to run forward at any kind of pace at all is just the fact that Narvalo, last alive every single time, just makes the call, makes the decision to basically play for the points for the team. I think he's getting the vast majority share of them for them. Other than that, it's just a case where they have a good position, they start battling out and getting a huge amount of eliminations across the board.
I mean, yeah, in that last game, right, they got, I think it was 13 eliminations over the course of it. Their total over the tournament so far today, 20 eliminations, right? So they only had 7 other eliminations, 18 placement points, and half of those were from that last game. It really has been, to be honest, not Game Lord, it is Narvalo, in my mind, as you said, on form. And we need more from the rest of them if they want to keep hold of that top 5.
हाँ भाई Arceus, I was saying that let the circle start, then we will see.
Pops up to the northwest.
Oh, तेरी एक second.
I think for HVP, if you look at the games today, and I'll keep saying it,
भाई IHC or NGX, दो में से एक.
Lobby right now, where a lot of teams are just going to hit those center positions. If you're already towards that area, you've got a good spot. And right now, HVP's current drop spots.
देख लेकिन LGD क्या करेगा? NGD बहुत तेजी से rotation ले लेगी.
La Cabrera over on Miramar, and then over on the Northwest Island for them in Sandhawk. They are always right on the outer edges of these maps. So it's unlikely that they'll get many circles coming their way in the first place. So getting towards the center
निखिल
position for them
जाट
is
भाई
extremely
बीजीएमआई अहमदाबाद
difficult.
से रिलेटेड नहीं
Changing
भाई,
drop
अभी
spots at
कोई
this
न्यूज़ नहीं
stage
है,
of
वही
the
है,
tournament, very
स्पेकुलेशन है.
difficult to make happen
But
without finding
let's
yourself
see.
going
I will
to
try.
front face
I
to
was
face
actually
with
going to have
some
a
of the other
conversation
teams in
with
the lobby
someone
and maybe having to
coming
take a top drop.
Monday.
So right now,
Let's see.
with this shift on the circle, this is their chance. This is their opportunity to make
Change
something
नहीं
happen.
करना अब सबका
Similarly,
final.
for Nigma Galaxy, currently down in
ठीक
14th
है.
place with 16 points. They have a chance here dropping over towards El Pozo. This is a good position for them. They can challenge out towards HUVP's spot on that
Several
northern
stage
side.
के
And
starting
has
से
yet to build
zone
Patron and Game Lord
meta
continue on
change
their
हो
streak
गया है.
towards that top 5 position. I want to
Looks
see
no
them
bro, it's the same. What
towards
are you saying?
25 minutes with 4 to 3
मेरी prediction
members. If I
HVP.
don't see that, I
बिंदु
mean,
गोयल,
even if they make it towards the
तू
grand
दिल से
finals,
HVP
I'm
है.
still a little bit hesitant to cheer them on in that way.
It is all a bit topsy-turvy so far in the first 4 matches. We'll see if that can change. If that
HVP is just chicken away from top 5, right?
Readjusted.
Damn.
DRS very, very far on the south side. They'll want to
Tough
get rooted
competition.
as
DRS
soon
कहाँ
as
पे है अभी?
possible. Try and avoid any
DRS
conflict
का
as well as they move on forwards. No one really too close by them, but their path
circle में.
likely to include a western coast rotation, which will be behind Titan, who themselves might be behind IHC on that route.
Titans moving in. Like you said, DRS. Go for that west and rotate up on that road. IHC just slipping down just a little bit. Still quite firmly towards the top of the lobby with 40 points. I think I'd be happy to see IHC make their way through to the PMGC. Considering the splash they made a couple of years ago, back when they were Zeus, I think this is another good chance for them to show what they're made of, really test their mettle against some of the best teams in the world. But again, right now, this is still last chance. This is still the survival stage. This is still some of the weaker teams from the lobby. Some of the teams that were just eked out right at the very, very last minute. Coming in 4th place. I think for HVP, VPE, this right now is not right. This is very, very wrong to see it happen. This is what happens in a sprint format. Sometimes is that you don't get always those expected values. But I don't think right now that 8 points and 12 points apiece for these teams can even be sat outside of the realms of expected values, right? I think you could easily say, oh, HVP would be in 10th place right now, and that is them not doing well. But at the moment, these two teams look like they cannot find that same kind of performance that they were looking at when we were watching them in that survival stage, when we were rotating those groups in and out.
Definitely needs a step up. To be fair, you can play the Inco strat and get 2 really big games a day instead of playing consistently. It is high variance, as you say, but you've already played your bad games, which would mean that you necessarily have to have these 2 massive games at the end of the day. And to put it bluntly, both of these teams can't do that. They can't do it at the same time. It just doesn't happen.
No.
And so we're seeing one of them going to drop behind at least.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, it's very unlikely that we'll see HVP or VPE both in the top 5, barring some kind of miracle for both these teams, and the teams at the top suddenly having a massive drop-off in performance. For HVP and VPE to make it to the grand finals, right now, the percentage is very, very low of that happening. So it's a bit scary for any fans of VP and HVP. It would be very sad for one of the most promising Thai teams to not go through to the grand finals and represent their country there. But again, this is just how PMGC works. Sometimes you get cut, and if you can't continue that kind of sprint, you can't continue that consistency going through for 5 days, you should have made it in the top 3 in the first place.
I mean, we were talking about Vampire after the show yesterday, and I mean, they are generally quite a streaky team. They have had massive performances. I mean, you look at PMWI, for instance, back earlier in the year, they came first in both phases of that tournament on a global stage against some of the best teams in the world.
RKS तू दल बदलू है साले.
This is absolutely completely different from what we've seen, even from previous days in this tournament. So you cannot afford to have these off days in this fashion.
Yeah, and I think the adaptation has to come through now from both of them. A7 is probably the only team I'm seeing at the moment that is able to make it happen with this edge playstyle. And they usually play from the northeast, though, and I think that's something you have to consider, is that a lot of times this northeastern side of the circle, it's very free, it's very clear. And for HVP, where they're coming in, it's a little bit difficult. For VP as well, the southwestern team playing on the edge, they also have a massive difficulty doing that because there's a huge amount of teams that are coming from that way, dropping on that side of the circle too. There's a lot of little bits of nuance that's going on at the moment, which is hampering a lot of these guys, but I still have to admit that A7, again, probably the only team that has found success
PMWIK
winner,
yeah bro, they're at number 16. Vampire at number 16 is a shocker, bro.
Really good time to bring out the magnifying glass and see exactly what's going on. Is it that edge play style that's holding them back, or are they just in this state of a little bit of mental fluctuation? Can they not quite find that same groove that they were in over the past 3 days? And is it not just been able to translate here? I think this is a great time to have a look, really deep dive on the team, because if they don't make it far into this game, I'm talking past 20 minutes, you know, there is something seriously going wrong. And the adaptation coming through tomorrow has to be massive from both VPE and HVP.
Hopefully they can pull something together in
circle
these final 2 games of today as well. LGD moving in from the eastern side, who've been having a fairly middling day right now.
Alpha 7 की बहुत अच्छी position है.
Fairly strong performances. They've had some solid results come through. But now they need to start to blast out to join the big boys at the top.
HVP ने बहुत अच्छी position पकड़ ली.
22 points.
बहुत अच्छी position पकड़ ली.
38 points the current bubble, so they are 16 points behind. Not insurmountable.
भाई एक chicken निकालना है उनको. HVP वापस top 5 में. You know what I mean?
A little bit behind where we thought they might be, especially given their performance yesterday. HVVP regrouping a little bit to play on the north side of this next circle shift.
Really good ridge to play from on this top side. Huge amount of sidelines available to them. The next circle coming in will lock off that northern edge portion as well. So again, leaving those 2 players behind in Meku as well as Kitsune, the north side of the ridge, will give them a bit more opportunity to look out that way and make sure there's no one coming in. So that careful nature returning back. But you can see there is a difference. There's a really
what
big
will
difference.
be
Yes,
your
HVP
advice if
got
someone wants to
circle,
shift from
but
engineering
it
field to the
does
business
seem like
sector?
VPE has
If you have an
switched things up
instinct
as
for
well.
business,
I mean,
then
they
you will do
looked
business.
at what's happened with Inco. They
If you're
find
more
that
of a
they're
technical
getting a lot
guy,
of
then
success on
I mean,
board,
like,
and you wonder
it
why.
depends.
It's
You
like,
need
well,
to
they just
identify
shed the
yourself
center, they
that
hold center, they get
can you
far
be a
into the
good
game,
business
they hold on to these compounds, and
man, or
VPE,
like, do you have a
instead of trying to
business
play out on the
mind?
outside now and move in, they've taken
How
up
well
a
can you
very
identify
central
opportunities
compound.
for
They're a
business?
strong team. They've got good team fighting capability. They can play off the back of one another, but they've been constantly on the back foot every single time at risk of toddling backwards and just falling flat on their back.
Ooh, gets lit up. Hamodi wins that challenge. A solo outpost for Enigma Galaxy, and that makes that a very risky challenge to take for Hamodi. However, he does win that out. However, if IHC, in the meantime, take down
no fight,
vehicle,
no casualty in
he
zone
will
1.
take a knock on the drop down if he needs to regroup
So
the rest of the team.
To be careful with it at this point in time, John. Like you say,
Besiktas का एक knock
really
LGD
important
ने
position for them, just in
आया
terms
दूसरा.
of being providing that info backwards towards the rest of his team.
Ooh, he
Suki,
missed the
though,
spray.
big amount of damage coming from Peace. Immediately gets back into cover. Zessie down. It'll be difficult to pick him back up, but can make that long crawl back towards Enjoy. Pick him up, but Suki's very unwilling to let this player go. Got him on the chains. Keeps dragging him backwards, but finally gets towards his teammate, who's unraveling those as we speak.
The rest of LGD as well, looking out this way, being pinged furiously, I imagine.
Push.
After the knock. Slowing them down, and actually, potentially... No, MVM's moving away on that one. Just trying to get a little bit better position in this next circle, because Besiktas right on the edge. It's not worth LGD pushing out for it. Circle shuts yet again. The big fight I'm looking at blank is Bacon Time versus HVVP. Both of these teams need to stand up. We've talked a lot about HVVP, but Bacon Time as well. This was
by Alpha 7 पे okay. इनको center में not easy. They will get freaking bombarded from everywhere.
Very split off at the moment, watching all angles. They're very concerned about getting backfilled on from any of these positions and saying how important.
Hello, Tokir bhai, love from Gujarat. Thank you, Baldev bhai, love you too.
Making their way on over. I think the information should have been passed back from at least one of these players from HVP. Tixi trying to not get too far forward. Does have to play point man a lot of times and suffers for it, but I think that it's more valuable for them to recall Tixi early on and allow him to play as
done.
That backstop member.
Now
Reject
better.
moves up towards Sung's position.
So
Just this goes down, but Sung has fallen. So we'll be able to get players on his feet for Reject as a 4-man squad.
With Reject holding off those sight lines. Oh, nearly. Losing another up the top there, but Ghost does get the angle. Potential for Titan to take a little chunk out as well, but Reject lose one player. Wants to loot up, get off the top of here. Probably pretty sharpish unless Reject can re-establish control on the ground with Duello and Divine. It is valuable as a sightline, but if you're getting shot out, it's not going to have any value at all.
DRS moves up. Currently our first place team, 56 points, looking good at the moment. Poly fans can be very happy about this for them. Moving through. This is all the way down to the southeast edge though, so not quite in the circle as of yet. A little bit further to go. DRS moves up. Currently our first place team, 56 points, looking good at the moment. Poly fans can be very happy about this for them. Moving through. This is all the way down on the southeast edge though, so not quite in the circle as of yet. A little bit further to go. Nick Galaxy move down. Challenge off against Titans. Great nade from Teak.
This is on the southwest side of proceedings. Nate already finding the opening onto Nick Galaxy. Oh, hard to be here. They keep just about squeaking in, but they continue to find themselves a lot lower down the tables than they find themselves comfortable with. Modi has got the angle and will be suppressing the Titan knocks on the inside.
He can't दीवार पे गोलियां
be able to
मार
find any damage there, but Lord underarms it over the top of the wall. Could be good, repositions them, but they've all moved back. Titan with a really timely maneuver.
Nicely done there. IHC unfortunately did take down one of the Titan players in the back there. Knocked, unable to regroup with the team. That's Axa down. IHC picking that one up. Might not be able to finish him off, but I don't think that you'll see the rest of the team be able to get there to help him now, all the way on this southern edge. Bacon Time as well as HVP chilling in the same area. Really, it's very important for HVP to take a confident and clean fight with Bacon Time. For Bacon Time, life gets very tough towards the ditch inside of Credit Fields. Luckily, Tixi's able to regroup with the team. Very split though. Any one of these knocks unresable. P chilling in the same area. Really, it's very important for HVP to take a confident and clean fight with Bacon Time. For Bacon Time, life gets very tough towards the ditch inside of Credit Fields. Luckily, Tixi's able to regroup with the team. Very split though. Any one of these knocks unresable, in which case Bacon Time might be able to quickly capitalize on top of it. VPE in a good spot.
I'd see late entry lega.
Holding off versus Down 1 and DRS, who are very close by. Good push from DRS actually to get into that position. Nice nade.
Knock over towards two of the Titan players. They've already lost their backstop, remember, as well. So only one active puncher. Last player standing for Titan now.
A7 na must rotation le rahi.
4 players alive. Free fire on the corner. There's backup as well further down. Playing as a duo, Lord and Freak. Trapped on the tire buggy there. But we'll be able to save it as he swings out wide with Ralph.
Bro, टेस्ट क्रिकेट के लिए टाइम कहाँ है? टेस्ट क्रिकेट देखने के लिए 2020 और one day maybe बीच में important World Cup वगैरह हो then we do all of that stuff.
Godless forwards against
World Cup हो या कोई बड़ा tournament
we'll have to move up north on this next circle.
I also close by with some good sightlines down towards this spot. Smokes are out for BTR to keep this position nice and safe, but it's not within the circle. They have to move forward already. You can see backstop sent out by AHC. Very dangerous outpost actually. A little bit risky, so they will move back down towards the team. See if they can find any of these team shots down towards BTR. They don't, so regroup instead. Smart decision coming from IHC. Might just want to send away from this one.
Getting into the buggy. There you go. There's that reposition. There's that regroup. Bacon Time still sheltering under the windbreak of HVVP on the northwestern side. Alpha 7 northeast. Looking to try and challenge out DRS's totals. But in the fight, it's down 1. Having to fall back through the fire is not ideal. Taking quite a lot of damage there, trying to burn away at Aegon XI8 on the scrap. 3 players alive for down 1. Aegon XI8 with 3 in the compound as well. Forwards position and an aid over to Osel. Fabian low as well. Needs to try and get a heal, and that's the last. They don't even need to see them. They don't need sightlines. Aegon XI8 take all of down 1 down, and 3 players active for them to move forwards. Reject on the mountain, fending off against IHC, but the roll-up is a little bit too strong. It's going to move Ragey off, and 3 players from Reject, not enough to stop them.
brilliant nades there coming through from
Our
Ghost and Blade.
Instagram admin does a
Decimate
dedi
the
bhai,
players
usko
coming
raise
through.
dedi.
From down one. Reject though, IHC were able to move up to a good spot here. It's a long shot for them to get there. In the meantime,
कितनों
HVP
को raise
spotting
है
those
भाई,
players from
Instagram
Nick
team बहुत
Galaxy down
बड़ी है.
towards that
हमारी
south
meme team
side.
बहुत बड़ी है.
Wonder if they can hold this spot. I mean, Bacon Time will have surely heard them now. They've been very quiet.
Certainly have. It's been quite strange that they've stayed there for so long. I guess they know that no one's really going to crash them in this position. They're in the circle. They don't need to take this fight. Just stay alive for as long as possible. Get some consistent points on board. IHC moving in against Reject. Lose Yol, but we'll be able to res that one. Duello and Reiji now. Last player standing for Reject. Close by to Alex and Enigma Galaxy as well. A little bit around the corner. Everybody needing to move north though, which means that this fight is going to be forced.
Oh,
Nade over the
nice
top,
nade.
right on top of Alex. And Icy moves into position.
IHC
Duello
को क्या
trying
हो
to
गया
swing out wide as
भाई?
well. Reiji super low against Enigma Galaxy. Fighting off against two teams as a duo. Really tough stuff coming through for Reject. That south side, very treacherous indeed. Center compound is there.
Insta ID का meme page है कोई?
This is the
Admin
game
का
that they need to
मतलब
win, but
admin
they
का
haven't
no
managed
bro.
to rack up the
That's
points
his
yet, Blake, and
page.
there's still
He's
plenty of teams for
dedicated
them
to
to go
that
down in
only.
front of.
Still a massive challenge. Game Lord have been taking a fight from Besiktas as well as LGD at the same time.
LGD
It's been really
किले
good stuff.
बटोर है.
A
LGD
very
की कितना
wide
एक
peak
बचा
there
है
coming
खाली.
through from Robs though.
Are
A
you
little bit
kidding me?
ill-advised, considering they were fighting two teams in the first
LGD
place.
wipe out
Taking
हो
a wide
जाएगी.
peak like that is very dangerous. Narvalo, Victor still alive. Victor making some very risky
LGD
dangerous
खत्म.
plays as of recently. A bit too far out. 7 eliminations found
RC
so far
wiped
for them.
out.
In the meantime, Enigma Galaxy still taking shots down towards the guys from IHC.
IHC third
Trying to
party
move
होगी
that
Enigma
damage
Galaxy
through.
से.
IHC
LGD
down
बाहर.
now. IHC currently one player alive.
LGD बाहर.
Uh-oh, Narvalo spotted. Bigatron, 3
ले
players.
BTR ने
Streets
Game Lord
on
को
into
दे
the
दिया.
third party there. Only the one player active for Game Lord.
मुझे लगता है BTR ना काफी confidence में आ रही है. Besiktas पे. Oh, nice.
Swinging in from that south side.
शाबाश शाबाश ज्ञानते.
Besiktas in the shack. Able to line up one.
अबे ये 1v4 ने कर दे.
Good. Does he get another knock? No, he doesn't.
अबे 1v3 कर दिया था.
Now DRS holding on to their top
US.
spot on the tables, and another elimination point under their belt as well, under the watchful gaze of HVVP on the northwest still.
The wings there as well. That Alpha 7 have a good opportunity to try and third
Game
party
Lord
onto that
बाहर.
one. Last player from Game Lord does go down now. BTR putting in some work at the moment. 7th place, not a bad position at all. And I think that at this point in time, yes,
भाई
BTR haven't
छत्रपति
had
शिवाजी
their
महाराज
massive finish on
मालूम
the
है
game,
क्या? I
but
know bro,
certainly
of
have got
course.
some decent ones
I'm a
coming
fan of
through.
Chhatrapati Shivaji.
Found some good positions on the map,
Maharaj.
played from there. Maybe didn't get the win,
I've
but
read his
looking for those
history.
consistent points at this point in time, I think is wise considering where they started at the beginning of the day.
Inco versus I8.
Inco
Inco I8.
holding on to their
Inco
compound,
I8.
Aegon XA8 in for the challenge, playing off one another though.
Shotgun.
Better and Natali move forwards. Blade already low. 3 players to deal with. One knocked in the back.
Chal
lane.
Inco chal.
IQ playing close. IQ will fall. as
Nice.
well. Low and dispatched. Inco staying alive. 3 players in it. Sorry, 4
De diya
players in it.
pura.
3 eliminations. 10th place finish there for Aegon XA8. Alpha 7.
Feel really bad for
Underneath
Uruguay.
Bigatron.
Fuck Uruguay, bro.
Who've been moving through the Miramar ground very effectively. Misery
I'm
ducks
happy
behind
they
cover
lost.
Again. Jen Foster did get down, flushed as well. Low HP for Misery. Mythic and Revo are there, but Liquid and Zuxi roll on through to try and throw a spanner in the works here. Carrillo pushes all the way through, out and will
कर
spot
दिया
Misery.
BTR
A
को
bold
A7
push,
में.
but it pays off.
ये इनकी
Revo
झोली
and
में आ
Mythic
गए
now
किल लेके.
teaming up with Carrillo. Back together, all 3 of them trying to face off against Zuxi. Last
ऊपर
player
से
standing
Vampire आ
for
गया
Bigatron.
third party.
Struggles
Vampire के
there.
कितने
Will they
बचे हैं?
have third
4.
party angle for Vampire to shut anything coming out of this compound.
गया
Challenge
Zuxi.
is good. Carrillo low. Zuxi falls. Swept now. Starts to stand up. Backed off the ridge line. There is backup moving in from Vampire, and they want to take this team out here and now.
HB still have oversight on this
If
though.
you need any kind of assistance in
Vampire
Indian
moving
equity
away.
market, bro, I
A
am
little
not
bit of
trading
damage
in
over towards
Indian
Alpha
markets
7
to
is
be honest.
more than they needed, to be honest with you. That little bit of damage will slow them down, let them know that they need to be wary moving off from this side after hearing those shots. So I like this from VPE.
इनको
Maintain
chicken
this
buy, इनको का
decent
chicken,
compound
इनको का
within
chicken
the
use.
circle. Keep
Talking
Alpha
about what is
7
NFT non-fungible
in a
token,
position
bro.
where they're a little bit afraid
It's
to
easy to
move up.
study. अभी इतने
Inco,
बताने शुरू
far
हो
in the
जाऊंगा,
game,
बहुत
picked
time
that central
लगेगा.
spot. Really haven't done much at all. Grabbed those 4 eliminations for themselves and then just coasted from there on out, and that is fine. That is fair play. Bacon Time, though, have not moved an inch from that position. I think for HVP, maybe false sense of security is there. I think I just saw Tixie take some shots down towards Bacon Time actually though, so they have been located. Have to move from underneath this warehouse, potentially a lot of free eliminations though. Still, HVB have to be careful. Everyone in this lobby has absolutely beam laser-like accuracy.
Oh, teri!
Galaxy. Lord proving that. Worried about Tixie though, and you definitely should be. Ralph moves in for the backup as Inco try and move in for the res. They want to play together here, the remaining duo from Enigma Galaxy. Ralph though still in the vehicle. Vitali spots it, gets these shots down, plays down the Lord. Will be able to get that flush, I'm sure, very, very quickly.
Oh,
Ralph last standing now.
nice,
And here we go, HVVP finding those shots.
DRS ने भर दिया किसको A7 को.
In the crater. I think HVVP have known for a long time that they're there. They would have heard the vehicles move up a lot earlier, but they've just been happy to leave them chilling. Save those for later. Put them on ice. Bacon Time eliminated 7th place. 14th position on the table is not good, but 6 eliminations for HVVP. It's a good start, but they need to go further.
UTV, you don't need to buy any particular courses on that. If you really want to know what NFT is, you just can go online. Google will give you a lot of information.
It's just because of Bacon Time's been here. And I respect the fact that they've tried to keep as many sight lines on them as possible before moving out to a more proactive and aggressive position looking down towards the southeast. This means now that they're completely clear. They know that they can play this ridge side with confidence. Tixie can move down if he needs to. Now they can just start to take shots down to absolutely everyone.
अरे ऊपर से HVP दिए गया BT.
Already opening up towards
third
DRS,
party.
To start it off with.
Look at how high up Meku is, and Kitsune as well. Matic just
शाबाश तूने HVP बोला था. RKS.
I think Vampire are only saved by the sheer fact that they might be out of render distance at this stage.
अगर यहाँ पे Mythic निकल गया ना, so they have a good chance. Then HVP को next circle में नीचे आना पड़ेगा.
Difficult to hit those shots out that range. They're more concerned about the teams closer by. Matic spots Vitali. Shots with a Mini 14 over out to Inco's backline. Tixie moving in as well. Has taken a bit of damage there.
DRS ganda phas
A
gaya.
little foothold forwards, but Ralph is close by. The teams down the hill might be able to deal with that, however. Schwep shots over towards Rules. And Blank, we said both HVVP and Vampire needed to have good games. They needed it. We said they couldn't do it. Blank, we might be being proved wrong.
Maybe. Meku makes his way down off that cliffside. Starts to move around towards the rest of the team. Ralph removed.
NGX bahar.
Out. Tixie.
Chal Inco chal. Nice split by the way.
At bay. Matic also supporting from this position. Difficult for Inco to move out. Little to no cover available for them. Now again to nade range. Tixie will pull out the nades. Inco sends off towards the east. So Tixie wants to put that one away for the time being.
Circle goes very central, but still under the watch of the HVVP high ground. They might have to descend from the
DRS wale बेचारे गंदा फंस गए
plateaus that Kitsune is currently on. He is outside the circle, but he can leverage it as long as possible. Vampire picking up a point or two on their way as well as DRS.
Oh, बच गया.
Fortunately for DRS though, they're right at the top of the tables. They're in this very late yet again. 3 players alive.
Yeah, this is really good news for DRS and should secure them some good point scoring towards the end of the day, which sees them very safe in terms of a buffer coming into tomorrow. Still, there could be some massive strikeouts for some teams. Get them back into a fighting chance.
My HVP has everything in their favor in this match. Everything is in their favor.
First couple of matches tomorrow, if they can match the type of performance they've been able to show today, which is getting late into a lot of
Mythic gaya.
Really could be DRS.
Mythic gaya.
He's seen as one of our first secured members going through to the grand finals.
Was looking for a nade in Mythic's backpack there, but doesn't have one to play with. Behind DRS in both the tables and the position. The smoke forwards actually going out. Will give the game away. Mythic has a little bit of trouble with Gianti close by. It's actually Ravenclaw from Vampire to spot him. Lands a headshot there.
Alpha 7 bahar.
Elimination point away. 4 elims, Alpha 7 out in 5th. Again, similar story to DRS. Good point scoring to close out their day. They still have one more match to play. They'll keep
भाई Vampire और HVP भड़क गई इसमें.
From the south side, HVVP from the top. Trying to trade it off. Knock over towards HVVP for the first time this game. That might be worrisome. Inco southwest side, being left alone by pretty much everyone now. In comes Vampire to put the crunch onto DRS. The DRS are being shot down by HVVP in the time being as well. Ravenclaw moves up far and far. Schwepp cut down, and in comes HVVP
DRS
as well.
but still number 3 not bad.
Ravenclaw out wide, Vampire down to 3. Matic spots
Ravenclaw
takes it down, looks for the flush. We'll be able to find it. 10
इनको किधर है?
HVVP blank. The heat is coming back.
शाबाश इनको.
This is what they needed.
ऐसे ही करना है.
They can roll this confidence forwards. Vampire in it late too, but Inco are still alive.
And this is what we're talking about. You drop the magnifying glass on this team, you see what the real problem is. And it looks like it is just this case of playing on the edge with such a central-based lobby. It's difficult for them to find these positions where they can sweep and clear.
इनने ridge cover कर ली. Very good. Very good.
Have a knock. Kitsune's got a grenade. Be able to send it over the top, get some good damage. That's fantastic. A nade might do the job there, and Nenabete knows he has to move back.
I think those shots came in from potentially even Vampire across the way. Stepped a little bit too far up that ridgeline. Becca on the off angle might be able to get Matic done here, but Tixi bursts it in the air super high, and those shots from earlier are crucial. Nenabete falls, and they can res. Move closer to the edge of here, though, and Becca might shut you down. Vampire is there, and Squash has an off angle for Inco. This ridgeline is so dangerous for HVVP. It is their savior, but also their curse to play around. They'll have to move closer to the center of the circle. Heals come through. They'll have been fairly good on the ordnance for now. Kitsune wants a peek, Meku wants a turn, and they're getting shot down. Vitali falls.
Oh, nice.
Becca spot out, but shot down, stoned. Squash will be able to deal with it. And out Fluke, the only player for Vampire. One player active for Inco as well, with the backline still active. Vampire eliminated. Third place, 3 eliminations. They'll take it. 13 points is not massive, but it's better than what they've been able to do so far. Inco now against HVVP, who have been claiming so much of this lobby in such a crucial time. And Inco as well, performing in a way we haven't seen since the start of the day to get this late in. Squash down to the zone. Nenabete looking to heal everybody back in for the roster.
Nenabete moves up, back to challenge here. Squash denies the point, out in the play zone, but Meku with a disgusting angle on the side.
Tixi ka knock.
Nenabete's already up, takes down one with the DBS, looks for a little bit more.
We'll push through, all the way through the
Kitsune,
who's in the reload, he'll find a second as well.
Oh,
bhai! Challenge, but HVVP turn it back around.
Nice!
It's not elation, we've seen them. The Icemen of the lobby. They keep it calm, even under some
Almost,
pressure.
bro, almost.
And they are
Almost.
To keep themselves alive in this last chance.
And with that kind of game, honestly, 12 points at the start, we'll see them around about 20-ish points there on the higher end of 20-ish points. We should see them just about underneath, getting into that top 5 now. I mean, it was a little bit good there for DRS, getting quite far into the game, secures their top side in that first position spot. And VPE also similarly getting some points on that game too. Very, very well done. Look at that, Matic. Look, man, when you don't go and scout out with the vehicles and get shut down about 500 meters away from your squad, look what you can do. It's unbelievable good stuff.
That's crazy, isn't it? 8 knockouts. Incredible stuff coming through from Tixi for the roster. 14 eliminations, 29 points, Blank.
It is a great game, an absolutely insane game coming through from the guys from HVUP. And again, it's this thing where we had to take a look at them from a position where they could play, and it seems to me that there is just that edge play that is causing them some problems, John.
Vampire in late. HVVP getting this chicken dinner. This is the turnaround that is needed. But is it too late? Have they got enough time to make that run back?
I think HVVP need to add a couple of letters to their name. It stands for look good, smell good, if I remember correctly. They also need to add in play good. 29 points for them, getting 14 eliminations and the chicken dinner. That is exactly what they needed, Maxman, to get back in the running here.
You said it, Jason. I was a little bit doubtful because I was a little bit disappointed with their first 4 matches, but this is a game that not only they needed, I think, for their moral boost, but this puts them back in the race for top 5. And now I have a reason to potentially put them as my team to watch for the next matches, because this is, I think that they needed something. I saw a little smile on the face of Matic there, and it's like just a little bit of relief after a game like that. And a confident one too. That great 2-2 split, you're just fragging out as much as you can.
The only problem though, Sandstorm, we did see Alpha 7, we did see Inco, we did see DRS as well get some really good results here, which means the HVVP aren't really going to catch up to them too much. However, the teams in 4th and 5th place, like your Game Lords here, they're going to be able to at least close the distance on.
Yeah, the mission for the 6th and final game of today would be to get within that top 6, top 7 level of that leaderboard. And I think HVVP will be able to do it, considering the massive turnaround that we've seen in that last game. But to be fair as well, the zone did just go straight to their drop location. So that was massive, massive help for the side of HVVP. And hell, we didn't even have to wait for the 6th game. They're already in the top 7 part of the leaderboard. So that's a huge boost to them. Only, what, 3 points now between them and qualifying. So one game can have a huge impact on where you are on the leaderboard, especially with the amount of eliminations that we've seen HVVP get.
I mean, they were 15th, I believe, going into this match, and they're able to just completely shoot off the bottom.
To get within that top 6, top 7 level of that in that last game. But to be fair as well, the zone did just go straight to the drop location.
now at
so
number
that was
7.
Massive, massive help for the side
Inco
of
at number
hell,
3.
We didn't even have to wait for the 6th
Nice.
game. They're already in the top 7
DRS
part of the leaderboard.
67
So that's
points,
a
good.
huge boost to them. Only, what, 3 points now between them and qualifying. So one game can have a huge impact on where you are on the leaderboard, especially with the amount of eliminations that we've seen HVVP get.
I mean, they were 15th, I believe, going into this match, and they're able to just completely shoot off the bottom. Vampire was last, but they're able to get themselves into 15th now. Unfortunately for them, not as many points as they were hoping for, but at least it's out of life. I think that's the upside here for me, Maxman. HVVP and Vampire, they're not dead just yet. However, LGD, a little bit sad concerned. They finished 2nd overall. They looked really confident. They didn't shake the hand of the interviewer, as we saw yesterday, so they have no curse on them. But they're struggling as well here, Max.
Mr. shook his hand off camera. I mean, that's the only explanation about what's happening to LGD, but I'm not sure what's going on. It's so weird because they're taking these fights. Like, when it comes to macro, they still get in good position. I think the rotations are good. When it comes to taking fights head on, like they lost the Game Lord right away. I think in a 2v3, 2v4 situation, which is really, really surprising. So LGD maybe just losing their tact when it comes to these fights and engages, and it's a tough one, especially as you enter the last game of the day. You don't want to end on a bad note because that's tough going into the last day.
Yeah, I think one thing that's made that work in their favor is the amount of aggression we're seeing out of some
road pe dhyan de, Zayan
mujhe very aggressive today. You've actually been quite happy with that, Sandstorm.
Yeah,
Zayan
very
ne
pleased,
nahi
and
gaadi
definitely
li
not what I
hai.
expected from the side of Inco,
Zayan
but seeing
has
how
bought a
they're
Range
taking those
Rover.
rotations, going through the middle of the zone time and time again, and just trying to get as much information as possible. I mean, in that last game, they were able to be in the middle of the zone, I think zone 5, zone 6. You had a lot of teams on the high ground that were just constantly fighting each other, so they had all the free information. They knew exactly where they could move, and even that fight with Enigma Galaxy, they lost a player, but they were still able to instantly push, get that position, and then they just had complete control once again. Very, very good play from them, and now, especially with that result, I think, you know what, I'm eating my words. I was completely wrong at the beginning of the broadcast. They might definitely do it, but is that going to curse them? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not.
I do remember hearing someone on the desk say, if you struggle on 2 matches, they're not really going to have a chance. But we'll see if things... I mean, it's not done just yet, right? We still have our top 5 set at the moment. Let's see your teams to watch here in this next match. And Maxman, I'm expecting to see an HVVP out of you.
Hey,
there
got
we
2.
go.
Got 2 HVPs right now. I actually, even though HVP had himself a really good game, well, of course, gave himself the chicken dinner, I think Vampire showed also some really good potential in that previous match. Like, they seemed like they were actually trying to do something compared to their previous matches. Defending their compound against Breach after Breach, actively pushing uphill. They took a fight, I believe it was against DRS at one point. That was a non-easy fight, yet they come out on top. And they were trying to also sneak a top 3 position at the end, which they were able to secure. So, still a tough start to the day, and they, of course, still only in 15th position. But they started off this game with 8 points, and now they're up to 21. So they're getting there slowly, and they still just, with one strong game, can catch up to that top 5. But I still need to see a little bit more from these guys.
Yeah, one game could easily get them into like top 7, like we saw for HVVP. The problem is they are running out of time to do so. Every match that they continue to not perform to the levels that we know them to be at means they're falling further and further behind. But so are quite a few teams. But DRS, Inco, HVVP coming in for you, Sandstorm. I can kind of expect why most of those were picked, but let's hear your thoughts on DRS.
So DRS, the team that had the biggest change, I feel, coming into the last chance stage of the tournament. They struggled a little bit during the survival stage, but we said, or I focused on the fact that when we get to this stage, it's going to be a complete change in the strategy from them, going from playing the edge of the zone and being super passive to actually picking the right time to take your fights. And now they are leading last chance. So I want to see if they're going to be able to finish off the first day of this stage and still keep that lead, because I think that would actually cement them as one of the 5 to already qualify, because it would be quite difficult for the rest of the teams to get to them, just with the fact that they still managed to get a top 4, top 5 in that last game as well, with HVVP getting the chicken dinner. So good performance, and hopefully they'll be able to keep it up and secure themselves a spot in the grand finals.
I mean, yeah, if we talk about regions with big fan bases,
I8
like
can
DRS
get
has
top
a
5.
massive
I don't
fan
think
base
so.
when it comes to Nepal.
I mean,
DRS for them to qualify would be honestly
God
be
SD का
phenomenal.
अच्छा क्या कर रहे हैं
DRS,
आजकल
the
SD
real
वाले
soldiers for years now.
खेत में
Max.
पत्ते
We've
खेल
seen
रहे
this
हैं भाई
organization around in
वही
PUBG
चल
Mobile,
रहा है
but
और
we've
बताओ
not really seen
घर
them
पे सब ठीक
make the
खैरियत
splash that we've seen out of a couple of other orgs.
I think I mentioned it on the very first pre-shows that they were like, it's a tradition to have DRS in Pmgc. It wouldn't feel like a real Pmgc without them here. So yeah, I think that they're a team that for the first time for their first time in Pmgc making big changes that I have not seen in previous iterations of this team. And I think it just looks amazing to see that they go for this passive playstyle and now they're just ramping things up because they know a middling average performance is just not going to cut it to make into top 5. It really isn't, and you need these big step ups. And I think that that's maybe what LGD's struggling with, because PL, really long tournaments, and now you've got this 2-day tournament now where you have to qualify. They're struggling to the teams that are making these massive changes, like your Incos, like also the side of DRS, and they're really bringing the heat in these games.
And bringing the heat indeed here as we take a look over on the side of Titan. No smiles right now for this team as they are well, and then there's a smile, of course. You know, why would there be? My own caster curse. But yeah, I'm not looking to new happiness necessarily.
Talking about pickup line suggest करना.
Playing with 3 players in this last match as Axer unfortunately needs to go get some medical attention. So a little bit making things a little bit tougher, but maybe more awesome for Titan if they can manage to get a top 5 here at the end of our day tomorrow, to kind of relive things and potentially push themselves further. But on the HVVP side, I mean, even with that last victory that they just had, they're not looking really calm. They're looking a little bit worried.
They are looking a little bit stressed, and my question to them right now is, which drop are we going to see from you guys in this next game? Are we going to see you revert back to the good old-fashioned drop in North Georgia pool that gave you first place in your group 3 days in a row? Or are we going to be seeing you drop off on the west side of Military Island, get mediocre loot, and then suffer with a lack of information and a lack of ability to rotate into the zone, like we've seen in the first half of today's games? We saw in Miramar, they tried to go in from the north and they struggled against BTR. We saw that again in Sandhawk throughout the day. So there needs to be the proper drop location and just the proper start for HVVP if they want to stay within that top 7, top 8 range, just because of, again, how close the overall ranking is, and because of us not having so many teams dominating. The results are just so tightly squeezed rather at this point in the leaderboard.
I like squeezely tight. I think
Right?
that was a good
It's
Metal to the pedal, you know, it's cool.
yeah, we have a new one to add to the list here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have another team actually I want to bring up right now. It's going to be, I want to see Besiktas step up. Then you have one chicken dinner. Outside of that, not too much. So Besiktas, I want to see, you know, a good baseline coming through.
All right, well, we're going to find out if Besiktas can do just that. Of course, all of our other teams participating here in our final match of our 2 days in total. First day going to be done after this one. So John on a blank, take it away.
Reaching the halfway mark is a daunting prospect for teams towards the bottom of the tables, but with HVVP blasting out in that last game, they might have alleviated some of that pressure. Although you wouldn't know it looking at their faces. They're looking very, very serious when we've seen them on the cameras.
Still, they realize that, you know, they need to do a little bit more here. I think match 6 will be important to them, and I think that when you look at that last game, light bulbs should be flickering on now for them, in the case that on their side of the map in North George, yes, they might need to play there still because it is their drop spot. It'll be unlikely they'll change it right now, but I think the looting session needs to end a lot sooner for them, and moving towards the circle can occur quicker. A lot of times we have seen the eastern circles or down towards that south side, which is getting a bit more difficult for HVP to actually contend with and head down to early on. But I think if they make an early move perhaps they can get towards one of these compounds that can be picked up right on the edge side, and at least they're not playing inwards versus a lot of teams that are currently holding a lot of these western compounds. Alpha 7, on the other hand, towards the northeast, able to find a lot of easy positions to move in towards the circle.
IHC last game prediction अब मैं जा रहा है टीवी पे देखने.
Scouting from that team, but getting in through that area a little bit easier than VPE and HVVP currently, who are held out on these western sides. So I think earlier movements, more central case positions, and when we saw it that last game, I've been talking about it all day at this point in time. VPE sends center, HVP gets a center position as well. Both teams end up in the top 3. I don't think there's much left to say about that.
चलो भाई लोग कौन जीतेगा इसमें बताओ.
Themselves.
They are better in the gunfight than the majority of this lobby.
भाई new player कौन join करने वाला है अभी नहीं बताऊंगा भाई, announcement होगा बता दूंगा.
Even if we didn't see it at the start today, so hopefully they can pull it back together, pick up the pieces.
Circle बनेगा मेरे हिसाब से नीचे. Military base side
those last chance spots, top 5 of course being
अगर ऊपर गड़बड़ बसड़ी
very close to that now.
दिखा circle दिखाओ.
Alpha 7 going to drop out late. Imagine heading up towards Severny potentially, but is that VPE as well also heading out on the northern side? Alpha 7 maybe up to North George. What is going on with this
circle?
Really kind of changing things up here as well. Alpha 7 maybe hot dropping HVVP in North Georgia pole, and the circle.
अब तो पक्की बसड़. Which team do you like from Nepal? I like all the teams from Nepal, especially like high voltage हो गई. इसमें मेरी favorite is like DRS. I love DRS.
This circle again, HVP given another chance right at the end of the day to bump up those score totals. Currently in 7th place with 41 points. Very doable to get into the top 5. In fact, at this point in time, just need to not have one of their games they've had from match 1 to 4. Though I would even go as far to say that right now for HVP, there's a very good likelihood that we'll see a good game coming out from them, especially being on this northern side, coming off the back of a good game where they found success with that
DRS
position they were in.
Quality team, man. अगर आप South Asia में देखोगे, DRS is one of the best quality teams.
Alpha 7 sending over the tops. Alpha 7 will have seen the shoots from HVP and know they're there just because it's their general location. But similarly, HVP will be looking back towards those shoots, knowing that there's a team over towards that northwest side. I'd sort of expect them to try and.
क्या वो नया player PMGC final खेलेगा? नहीं भाई. He'll not play. Of course he'll not play. हमारा lineup वैसी ही है. All the team is there. We are just adding one more player.
Run over from
5th player you call it.
Immediately to assist with the guys from Alpha 7 that are currently in their area.
Yeah, they have fully regrouped on.
भाई आपको खेलना आता है क्या PBG? भाई आपको बोलना आता है PUBG?
I'm very interested in where these hot points of contest are going to be, though, for the southeastern group of teams, because no one currently playing in Primorsk, with Vampire heading up to Severny. They're going to be safely on the north side of the river. But I imagine that around Ruins is going to be fairly hot when it comes to those rotations, as well as that north side of Yasnaya moving through there. Roshok may be a little bit calmer, but Rejector holding out around that area as well.
There's a lot of positions on this side of the map where you can hold up, you can get a really good chokehold on the circle. I mean,
इनको का कोई player no bro.
You have to be aware of the banking that's
देखो अकल लड़ाया करो.
kind of come out from the
जो
water.
कभी-कभी तुम बातें करते हो ना, they don't make sense.
Be careful of that one. But yeah,
बीच में लोग आगे भाई.
as there is over towards the eastern
Jonathan खेलेगा ST के roster में. कोई लॉजिक ही नहीं है उस बात का. पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. ना लैंग्वेज है ना ये है. और which we are South Asia champions and hopefully PMGC champions, right? Which player would you drop? Which organization does that?
Scouting, making sure there's no
You
teams
know,
around you.
so you have to think about
a
it.
good way to end our day.
आप बोलते हो इनको वाला खेला है. Brazilian बोलने वाला Mongolian कहाँ से बोलेगा?
In the sense that so much of the previous 4 matches has been favored towards a lot of these eastern teams. It's giving a bit more of a break towards those guys that have had to play Northwest a lot. Interesting split from VPE as well, heading up towards Severny side after seeing this circle, opting not to head down towards Primorsk. I think you're now starting to see, these teams that are not doing so well, like VPE, like HVP, starting to make some adaptations to try and fix some of the scenarios. And they know that Severny's a free area, so pick that one up. It's a no-brainer.
LGD make a break to the northern side of the river, so they have got 2 players now playing on the east end of North George. It's going to cement HVVP into that location a little bit further, a little bit firmer as well. Reject moving up as well along the north shorelines with Reiji scouting out for the squad. Closer again towards that box compound, towards LGD. And potentially looking to hold a valuable choke point on the other side of that central island.
I mean, LGD's already moved up past Hospital, past Crate, up towards the eastern side of George. Now, HVP stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment. Brazilian squad, Chinese squad, just either side of them. Jen Foster looking to take some damage over towards
समझा रहा हूँ तेरे को विजय, लॉजिक समझा रहा हूँ विजय भाई. LGD और VP क्या कर रही है?
Over towards those previous matches.
LGD भी one chicken away.
Still in 5th place as well
from top 5.
Right now, 1 point ahead of IHC.
भाई top 16 में से सारी टीमें जो है, सारी टीमें 1 chicken away.
Shots their way as well. 39 points. They are still very, very much in the race and keeping things going. Game Lord.
Court. अरे भाई, बेइज्जती थोड़ी कर रहा हूँ, तेरे को समझा रहा हूँ. Sorry if you got offended, bro.
People towards the top of these tables. But is it Game Lord or is it Narvalo? We're going to keep asking.
Not trying to disrespect
until the rest of the team proves themselves fully worthy of being in those top 5 as well.
ले,
Vitaly
इनको का गया एक, Vitaly गया.
Happy to pick up the point.
Inco getting a lot of points off that last game. They needed it as well because they were slipping down quite a bit. I think that, you know, practically, like you say, John, the majority of their points have come from 2 games today. 31 points at the start. They got 3 points over 3 matches, and then another big game there on Miramar.
Nawaz Khan, what's up, Tokir bhai? All good.
With a high elimination count and a chicken dinner really does benefit.
Ask Pika how does he manage his circle?
During the day, with that 1 game, it has really allowed them to be in a better
मैंने flow
position.
में लिख दिया Brazilian team है, पता
है. 5-point game at the start of the day instead of what they had with 34.
I get it, bro. I get it.
Archie 31.
Feel you, bro.
You know, this would have been
कभी-कभी मैं भी noob बातें कर देता हूँ.
Pods maybe even 12th to 11th place, like stuck in the middle of that with that last Miramar game. So a lot can change and very quickly in this format.
As we stunt
just
racing
with
कर रहे हैं.
HVP as well, up to 41 points after that previous match on Miramar.
And Vampire, it is unfortunate that they didn't jump further than they did. They're currently still 15th place, but they have shrunk that gap to the bubble to 23 points. So hopefully trying to eat into that to bite a chunk out of that distance towards the end of today. Teams starting to crunch in. HVVP have not left North George yet, and a lot of teams are starting to move into the positions around them, so potentially difficult for them to maneuver. Alpha 7 actually leaving North
Big
George,
Boss
heading
देखते हो नहीं
back
भाई?
towards Zaki to play
उतना
right
वेला
in
नहीं
the
हूँ.
back. Nobody's going to be able to backfill them there. Why would they? Unless DRS go for a wide boat swing, which might come through if the circle shifts north.
Yeah, Misery gets lost on the rotate. Unlikely they'll bring him back up. Gets shunted into the bush and Dunzo'd. 1 elimination now found for Besiktas. 62
I see
players in the
practicing
lobby,
for Formula 1
16
race.
still
Yeah,
going.
bro.
IHC, the long crawl up towards that
ले
northern side. Titan
BTR
still
का
remaining over
फंस
towards
गया एक.
Milta. Circle centers up, and look at that, Inco. A long run, make the way towards that top
Misery
side
will be
shooting range.
put out of his misery.
Took a little bit of damage earlier on, but they should be absolutely fine. This is in that forested region, so they can keep themselves nice and safe, nice and comfy in that area. And if HVP
A7.
all the way over
I feel
towards the
A7
eastern
का
side of
chicken.
North George, LGD a little bit further ahead.
अबे
of them
अब
towards
होगी
the east
बसड़.
side.
HVP कहाँ पे?
LGD are going to be able to hold on their 2-1-1 split right now. I mean, it's very open.
HVP की भी बहुत अच्छी Giorgio pool. Good positioning.
2-2. HVVP get the first
Taman
knock
Khan
onto
on his way to
Inco, get a
Tokir bhai.
second as well. Third coming through. Was that a flush onto Nenebete, in fact? Turning it around. No, it was totally Becca left for Inco and HVVP, picking up a couple points there. Make that 3. They're able
HVP ने पेल दिया
to claim away.
Inco
Someone
को.
must have pinched one of those points away from them. But either way, Inco down and out in the final game of the day. 54 points is their total blank. That is below a 10-point average on 6 matches. It's a 9-point average.
इस गेम में HVP top 5.
Just underneath, technically, of 5th place. We do conclude this match, but still, a lot of teams have to do well here. And we could have a case where a lot more of our 1st to 5th place teams drop
पिछले
out.
गेम में भी इनकी पोजीशन अच्छी थी, इस गेम में भी इनकी पोजीशन बहुत अच्छी है. ये अच्छी पोजीशन नहीं छोड़ते.
Just a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I mean, 54 is still a 10-point buffer between them and
Besiktas
4th
क्या
place
कर
at
रहे
the
हैं?
moment. Or moving out down towards Besiktas's area. This is in the ruined airplane area at the moment. Nice position to hold for a little while. Fortunately,
उन्होंने bash किया, दो बंदे गाड़ी से उतर गए. True.
Shut down. Valo gets the flush as well with the DB. Akashi takes a lot of damage but doesn't go down for Game Lord, so still 4 players active. Aegon XA8 not so lucky, taking a knock their way.
लेकिन HVP पे आ गई Vampire.
Vampire who have managed to appear here.
Bro, Vampire A7 HVP, इनको आप ignore नहीं कर सकते.
Passed Alpha 7
You can never ignore them.
Into the north side of Georgopol. To one of the buildings underneath the hillside on the north edge of it. Seemingly allowed to do so. That's going to be dangerous. Potentially a bacon time situation for Vampire.
Very close to a lot of these guys. At the moment, HVP continues to hold off both these teams at the same time, getting some knocks through. Sure.
तो अगर भाई आप अपना अवार्ड शो कब करें? क्यों किस मैं कौन होता हूँ अवार्ड देने वाला भाई?
With VPE all locked into one building, there is a chance that you can take some good nade tosses over towards that area, maybe find yourself a few eliminations, a few knocks that way. You could diminish the actual power of VPE, that's good. But again, these were our 2 top teams coming into this lobby. Going head-to-head against one another, it's not always as easy as we make it out to be. LGD also...
देखना, इसका ये जो बसड़ मची है ना, इसका फायदा उठाएगी LGD. LGD 2-2 split में गई Vampire पे और इस पे.
And HVP, so looks like a lot of these guys towards the top of the table.
DRS is at a very good position.
Get some big points on the board.
YouTube Zeto, we are stalwart. Yes, sir, we are stalwart.
DRS as well, all the way out on that west side. They're crossing on the West Georgopol Bridge to the north edge. I'm wondering if that's going to go detected. Should be just about close enough for VPE, for HVVP to hear those vehicles move. But if they go in on foot, it might catch them unsuspecting if there's a third-party position there from the North George area. But do DRS want to commit to it?
VP और SPP दोनों आसपास है. हाँ, वो एक भाई 2 compounds में.
Teams making their way in.
सड़क के आर पार 100%. पीछे I8 है. ओ उतार दिया.
Knocked out, flushed easily. Information gathered short.
Bacon को उतार दिया.
Dangerous rotation for Bacon time. Probably necessary, to be honest, to spend the player's life there. To be able to get a little bit of a safer route in, but in they crash and right towards Vampire they go.
DRS के लिए इस टाइम पे पूरा सेंस सिर्फ ये चीज बनेगी कि that you just freaking sit tight. अभी तुम सर्कल में हो, कोई आसपास नहीं है. Don't look for anything fancy. ये ले Bacon.
Getting flushed, will be able to take a little bit of damage.
Big gun change करना.
Ormstyle stays alive. If they can get back in, great. But a nade being cooked up and Meku's flying in as well for the backup. They do not want to allow another
nice nade
here. And a nade over the top gets the flush. Looking for the next player in as well. Shirty's across the way.
भाई मेटे का nade देखा. हमको क्या काम है championships का award चाहिए.
HVVP are playing as a team and they're getting their confidence back. 5 eliminations.
Really good refrag there coming through from Maku and Tixi. Also backed up by the fact that Matix remained in that building, so isolating that engagement away from any team that wanted to go for a third party. So VPE still locked down by Matic, able to quickly peek out those windows if he needs to. But HVP in a really good turn of events at the moment. Bumping up their score points, already now in 5th place, laddered up above Dan1. For now.
Disaster for Bacon time, though. Last place on the standings, 1 player remaining. The first day, absolutely getting cooked. I have to really come into tomorrow swinging, best foot forward, try and turn things around. Titan moving in, having to play with 3 this time around, unfortunately. It is far from ideal, but middle of the pack, if they can just get 6 points on the game, they'd be okay with that. That would give them a chance for tomorrow if they can come back with 4.
Titans. Still in the game at the moment with the 3 players, like you say. I mean, got quite far into the circle. It's a decent position, but with that shift,
DRX को आना पड़ेगा अंदर. भाई अभी भी HVP perfect position पे.
But there will be a lot of teams moving over towards that crated area. A lot of positions to hide, a lot of warehouses to move into. Reject immediately making the decision to make that crossing right now.
I see late rotation.
That movement, dragging the rest of the team behind as well. Playing 1-2-1, forward
Group
1
green
scout.
members showing their class. Yes, bro. Green group was some classy group, man. Some classic group.
Taking a knock as well, allowing Reject probably to get past into a position that otherwise they probably wouldn't have been able to get to.
Yeah, you're 100% sure that if that happened,
HVP
BTL
ने
would
knock
love
दिया
to have
फिर
taken
से.
shots down that way, but it's actually HVP that takes shots over
अरे
towards
mythic को
Reject.
उड़ा दिया.
Find at least one of them. They're on the open broadside from the windows. Really good stuff. Again, they still have to be
Career low
worried
भी
about
बाहर.
VPE. They're on that north side. Eventually, we'll have to cross downwards. Good shots coming through from down one, but that's Ravenclaw actually taking a knock. Great moment there for HVP to keep VPE locked down on that northern side.
Really good high ground in those buildings for HVVP. Game Lord down one, both fighting it out.
किसमें
This
लगी?
again
Game
is
Lord
good
or
news for
DWG
HVVP,
में?
one of those teams around them. Either way, it's going to take a little bit of punishment on the northeast side, heating up very, very quickly. But guess who's still alive for Game Lord Blank? That's right, it's Narvalo. Has that DP in hand, a signature weapon seemingly for this guy, and he needs it. When you're left alone,
कुछ लोग दूसरे ग्रीन ग्रुप की वॉच पार्टी की करने आए थे एंड अब गायब है. Game, bro, it's a love for the game. Otherwise, I have 10,000 better things to do.
So difficult for him to make his way.
It's how passionate you are about the game.
Could just full send it.
It's not just a stupid game.
Spots the player, looks to take shots as he's rotating away. Game Lord knowing they need a few more points, but it looks like down
ग्रीन ग्रुप पे तो बहुत लोगों ने वॉच पार्टी की थी, लेकिन थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट हो गई थी जो वो ढूंढ रहे थे.
So close to them in terms of the rankings as well, finishing out the final member right now, knowing that how far Game Lord can get into the game, which is a solo player as well. You know, those placement points could be the big difference maker.
IHC के पास यहाँ पे किल उठाने का बहुत अच्छा फायदा है.
Spot to be in underneath the bridge, but very
it's an open.
1-2.
As long as you can hold it down. Those sightlines from the side can be brutal, so if you allow people onto the coastline, like Alpha 7's position, like Besiktas' position, can be dangerous, but fortunately, there are teams on either bank as well who are going to take shots across that broadside. It is a very isolated position, but Titan are going to try and hold off under the bridge with 6.
The way that this landscape pans out, there is huge amount of low ground here, a lot of buildings to play around with, so no one's really safe if you sat in these crates or you sat in these compounds.
Have you met Stalwart? Jayan is my younger brother, if you don't know.
See a lot of these long-range engagements
What do you mean how I met
unfolding
Stalwart?
as the game goes forward. You already saw HVP all the way in North George taking shots down towards Reject in crates. So
Finals में फिर से कुछ लोग disappoint होंगे, bro. Hopefully haters will be disappointed.
It's not unreasonable to think that they would get shots either. And DMR's also being buffed recently. Gives them really good opportunities to hit some headshots, plink off some helmets, even get a couple of knocks on their side. Next circle, south or north, straight middle. Oh, awful.
It keeps the HVVP position in there, but do they commit to staying there, or is it going to be more valuable to move out and try and take the position away from Aegon XIA, or even try and just get across?
HVP अगर back clear नहीं करेगा वो फंस जाएंगे. At least I expect HVP lose 1 or 2 players in this.
As much as they can from the spot that they're in. It's very, very tricky, but it's equally tricky for all of these other teams as well to make that decision. And likely, we're not going to see anyone except for Shirty move, except for Narvalo, down 1. And Vampire are going to have to make that choice.
DRS have a really
अभी तक नेड गया.
That way. I mean, the best bet is just to head down towards the south and move into one of these warehouses.
Very good entry by DRS. Very good entry by DRS.
Side towards Reject, it's almost a death sentence. So the fact they're able to quickly swing downwards, pick out that compound, realize that
they have to give a push on LGD.
Opportunity for them. Getting further into the game now too.
अबे DWG के 3 player, तीनों knock.
All 3 of them fall.
तीनों knock.
Flushed out as well. Goodness me, Fabian.
ये क्या कर दिया DWG ने भाई?
The rest of his team. Now going to have to live the Narvalo lifestyle.
And cut down the approach.
ये क्या कर दिया DWG ने?
Very, very sharp reaping blade coming through from the guys of LGD. Instantly shut that down. Narvalo's even looking for a little bit more, maybe hoping to pick up Fabian. That is a dangerous position to be in. 6, take some shots.
Oh, नदी में कूद गया गाड़ी लेके.
Finds the mark he was looking for to get towards the water. Drops out maybe a little bit too short though.
With the vehicle there, if he can fall back and explode it safely.
DRS is very good.
Cover. The
Oh, BTR वाला एक ऊपर है.
From LGD and from Titan. LGD actually taking shots over towards Aegon XI8, who have pushed up to North George. Oh no, wait, hang on a minute, that's Vampire. It's similar color, different team, but down one do finally go down. 44 points.
Hello.
Before the game, 3 eliminations. Narvalo joins Aegon XI8 in their compound, but there's plenty of nades being put through the windows now. 2 players are there to fight off against, and they shouldn't be able to find a nade angle at the moment for Aegon XI8. He's playing right at the back in the room. It'll be super, super difficult without pushing straight on in for them to find that. Unless he missteps. Does take a bit of damage there.
It is a
Just smokes out the entire building though and makes it really hard to go for those nade angles.
Very exposed at the moment.
अभी निकाल नहीं पा रहे हैं इसको. एक नेड तीनों खत्म.
Try and get this member down from Game Lord. Moves a little bit further up. This is a dangerous push. 6 grenades though. More than enough to maybe make this happen. It's right up towards the window. It's too close. There it is. UZM finds it.
Game Lord.
Able to get the nade right on the money. It was a dangerous push, as he said, but didn't really have too many choices to make. It's no, even Narvalo can only go so far. IHC against Enigma Galaxy in the crates on the south side. Next circle just about to pop as well. So this fight needs to conclude, and they'll make the decision what to do after it. And Modi with the lineup playing off Freak on Enigma Galaxy. IHC have the high and low ground. Risky drop in, but it's good.
IC was icy cold.
Modi there. Knows that there's another player waiting
Bacha
around
Freak.
With the knock. Freak
Oh,
is there,
teri.
looks for a hop up, looks for a shot, but hang on a minute, it's Bigatron looking to light up IHC in the meantime. They're taking shots out that way, but Freak might just step a little bit too bold forwards. Godless spotted, and he will be taken down. That's
eliminated
by to a nade from Bigatron, who are taking a lot away a lot of these points from the teams. The circle does shunt, but it keeps that northern side in it. Aegon XI8's
Bro, BTR वाला ऊपर बैठ के ना सबको BT देगा वो.
Need to make their way on over with Aegon XA a little bit under the weather. 3 players, definitely doable to go for this crash. LGD looking to do that themselves. Liquid down, a good nade to start that one off, and Zuxi, no choice but to back off here. Gem Foster has a great spot on the high ground. Time being, now VPE realise that they have to push through HVP if they want to get in. Ravenclaw on the side, great move out from Matic.
अब इस फाइट में आएगा मजा.
It's a Vampire, Ravenclaw down first. Matic down on the ground, the only
भाई वो घुस गया शॉटगन लेके. मुझे श्वेप का देखना है, श्वेप क्या करेगा.
Try and get a challenge here. Fluke has a nade cooking. Schwepp is there. Another knock over to Stoned, and Matic is going wick.
ये गया Matic.
He's dismounted. There is
ये फाइट सबसे मजेदार होगी.
Though on this high ground position, but the blue zone is pushing. Matic is pretty much done for here. The rest of HVVP are going to be shut down, and Fluke moves on up to the top and will be able to get the shots down with the DBS. Kitsune now.
Kitsune Mafioso से उड़ गया. गई HVP बाहर.
They will go down in tens. It's probably
Aegon XI8 वे ले रहे हैं फाइट किसके साथ? LGD वालों के साथ.
With all of the teams right in front of them.
Stoned out. Oh nice भाई. ये तो मजेदार हो रहा है और.
They managed to get one from the grave. 7 eliminations.
VPE now tried to step out, but it's Aegon XI8 in the way. Goes find Schweppes. That's a really long grenade, and UZM sees it coming.
भाई Aegon XI8 पे बहुत अच्छा zone है.
It's a really strong spot coming through from I8. It was a difficult push for HVV to hit up with 2 teams fully loaded in both of these compounds, making that crossing been very difficult. I think even for VPE, like it was lights out as soon as that shifted away. Didn't really have much choice after that fact, just to hope the circle moved their way. Looks Zuxi on his own inside the crate. I think Icy knows though.
Oh, they definitely know. Oh, they definitely know that he's up there. In the meantime, LGD bearing down upon Aegon XI8, who's been strong for so long, but
खुले में आके
taken down by a nade from MVM. Suki on the outside, YZ goes up to join him, a nade out the door, might prove troublesome, but UZM trapped in the kitchen there, under the fire, will go for a spray, and it's 1 and it's 2. Last player standing for Aegon XI8, it's a 1v1. Suki up to challenge, a lot of damage pouring both ways through the window, and UZM takes it. Shut it down. LGD wrest control back in a hairy little fight on the northern side, but there's no one for a third party.
LGD.
The south is still going hell for leather.
That could have been very bad there. I felt like I8 had that in those final moments. It was a really aggressive push out. I respected it to say the least, but just one of those bullets flew straight, did not hit him. Able to close that one out. Now LGD back up to a 4-man strength alongside them and IHC.
BTR के 3 उड़ा दिए IHC ने.
for LGD, what a difficult push it's going to be to get
Mafioso abhi bhi
for them. They'll need the vehicles. I don't think they have them.
If he places...
They will have got that full resupply, though, off all 4 bodies there. Jen Foster for Bigatron. Just chilling right now. I don't think anyone's really looked out here. And because he could, I think, can he crawl forward and be in the next zone on the arm of the crane? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. IHC are going to push out. I don't think anyone expects there to be a player up here still. I imagine people are thinking that everyone was down and descended. Although, to be fair, they would have got that knock onto Zuxi and known that there was still a teammate around from Bigatron.
I don't want to jinx it just yet, but Titans, 3 players in a really strong spot all the way on the eastern side. They started this game with 3. A very nice consolation to AXA, currently not in the game. They ought to pick up some good points here.
Would be such a relief for them as well. They've already got to top 7. Looks like they're going to try and take the fight with LGD. A tough task, and Teak goes down first. They have got cover. They'll need to crawl back quite a way and drop a smoke to be able to go for this res, but they can stay up at 3. LGD are going to have to push closer to that ridgeline, towards that bank side as well. And you said it was going to be a tough choice, a tough push. This is where it really starts to solidify.
Some vehicles, though, at least the one. So you really do need to just send straight, direct to the other side of the bank, but there's so many other teams also holding in a similar spot. There's Revo, steps up, takes shots. Suki, huge amount of damage on his side.
Goodness me, playing in the vehicle as well. Suki
Oh,
spotted, knocked
very
out
nice.
as well, but Revo got a little bit too big for his boots, and YZ humbles him. Puts him back into the mix. MVM going down, as are the rest
LGD
of
गई.
LGD.
LGD वहां से नहीं
Only gonna be
बचेगी.
YZ left. Suki may be resable here, but Mafioso will need to crawl across to get Revo back into it. YZ
Oh my god!
wins that trade. How does he get that
Damn!
done? Eliminated 6th place, 6 eliminations. Now over in the crates, it's really all to play for. Jen Foster still on the top rope, up on high ground. He is taking shots. He took down Scarlet, one of some of Reject earlier before.
भाई यहाँ DRS मारेगी. यहाँ मुझे लगता है DRS मारेगी.
Down, looking to res up Killer. Delta will be looking to pick that one back up. Alex as well, getting resed here. Bigatron, their Lone Ranger up the top. Will find Ice
अब Titan वाले आ गए.
forward position against DRS, which is going to
आ
allow
गई.
them a
अब
lot
गई
more
Alpha
ground.
7.
And he
अब
does
गई
have
Alpha
just
7.
a little bit of this to play with. Does he have any meds though? Because he is super low right now. Delta spot Icy. Shots from Teak as Titan can start to leverage their bankside position. If they get rid of Alpha 7, they have an amazing opportunity to curtail the players from crates.
BTR out, Titans, DRS, IHC looking to finish this one off. And Titans with the 3 players. AXA not in, but they refuse to let him down here at the end.
Shots from IHC, good. Line them up onto DRS, finding 1, finding 2. Zol now with the last player to worry about, and Titan are on the bankside. You do not have anywhere to go if you're Gianti right now. Pushing all the way through. This is a broadside from Godless, just completely bold there. If Titan peek up, that's a
Gyante
There's
निकाल.
Zol, traded off Godless, playing 1, playing 2. Gianti gives them a run for it, but Zol stays alive. They crunch in, they have the cover of the crates, but in move the Titans. They start to
IHC
close the
versus
net,
Titan
and the trap
2v3,
is set.
bro. What a fight.
Zol tries to heal up. What a fantastic way for Titans to bring this back up to form.
IHC बोला था starting से अब चिकन बनता है इनका. तो अगर भाई ये तो मेरे opposite जाने का सोच रहे हो क्या?
Like this, John. From IH jump up into this one. So AXA having to leave the lobby for 1 game, but the Titans wanting to keep this up for him.
Doing him proud. 4 eliminations, looking to put 6 on the board, and they will be able to close it out. That is how you do it. And what a relief as well for them coming into tomorrow. I'm sure they were absolutely dreading dropping in with 3. But AXA's going to be happy with that. They've absolutely.
And now I want to see the points table.
Phenomenally well. 3 players. Throw it up. Be proud.
Honestly, AXA probably one of the most smiley guys in PUBG Mobile. I think he'd be glad to see this right now. The rest of his team smiling with him. Happy days here a good amount of points sees them with a striking chance into tomorrow. Love Hearts coming through too. Happy days. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with this result either. But yeah, a lot of teams able to get some good points. BTR as well. Jen Foster right on top of that grade, just kind of poking the Bears underneath him, getting them to fight one another. I am very happy with how Last Chance has gone so far, John. We've had some really cool storylines, really cool games. But yeah, all down to tomorrow now.
HVVP getting quite a few points as well on the game from eliminations. Not too many on the placement though, going down in 10th place. But it is going to be so exciting to see what's going to happen tomorrow because it is still so close. It's all to play for.
Well, point table देखते हैं फिर खिसकते हैं. Guys, before you guys leave, like, subscribe, press the bell icon. Don't forget the bell icon. Press the bell icon. So that tomorrow when we do again, we all join together. That being said, tomorrow is going to be fun. Yes, bro. Tomorrow will be fun. पॉइंट देखने यार, पॉइंट दिखाओ जल्दी जल्दी खिसकते हैं.
Just gotta leave the suspense in there for you guys at home, because to do that for Titan Gaming being a man down since the game started and to pull off a chicken dinner with 6 elims, 21 points to keep them in the running for top 5, I don't know what it is to say about that team, but that was phenomenal.
They go from mill to right to here. It's a really, really long rotation to make too, and they must not have had a lot of information in this game. But yeah, as you said, as a 3-man, a game like this,
अच्छा टाइटन के 21 पॉइंट, आईएससी के भी 21 पॉइंट, अल्फा 7 के 17, डीआरएस गेमिंग 14.
In the river. How about that?
We are the
we are the river. we are the river.
Dude, tomorrow is going to be crazy.
And the moment all the teams are eliminated on the North Sandstorm, you can start playing that ridge line, and you know you're never going to leave George Pole in one piece.
Well, DRS get another 14 points
May
as well.
take 15 eliminations.
I believe that was 12. Some big points needed here for some of these teams, but DRS lengthening their lead even further. But taking a look at a quick recap of the day, Matic 15 eliminations, leading the charge here. Kind of surprised by that, to be honest, considering HVVP only really had one good match.
Yeah, considering the fact that when we started today's games, they started off in 12th place, 8th, 13th, and then in that 5th game, getting those 14 elims was absolutely massive for them. And then once again, having the zone coming in your favor towards the northern
81,
western side for George Pole
75,
definitely helped out
64,
HVVP.
54,
And in the rankings, they are
51.
still 5 points between them.
Yeah, it's just a matter of one chicken dinner, bro.
And getting to that top
HVP
5,
8
but
chicken.
Titan, jeez.
Number 1, DRS,
predict.
1 chicken, good lead.
I don't know!
Nico Gaming is at number 4. Playing really well, they are in the lead. I hope
I am a little bit
बाकी
shocked by
tournament की
this is
तरफ फिर से ना हट जाए.
completely off to what I initially expected going into this, but DRS in first place. We said it, the change of playstyle has been working great for them, Jason, and I want to see if they can keep it up heading into tomorrow, because I think a lot of
Vampire
changes
is
are
at
going to
number
be made by these
15,
teams
bro.
on the second page of the
मतलब
rankings.
उनको पूरा rampage पे जाना पड़ेगा
Is so
tomorrow.
close to so many other people.
They have
Like,
to
there's
go on an
2
absolute
points, like 2 or 3
rampage
teams
tomorrow.
behind them, 2 points away, going even into 9th place is 47. Like there's not
Reject,
many points separating them.
DWG
between
किया.
a lot of different
नहीं,
teams.
DWG
going
किया,
into tomorrow,
LGD
that is
and
the
Vampire is a
scariest place to
heartbreak
be. And I need
if
to see
they're out.
Titan do it yet again, though. I hope they do, call Axer right away. Be like, bro, we won. What's happening? Get out of here more often. We'll play as 3. Just fantastic to see, but no one should really feel safe. Even DRS towards the top, if they can put on a performance like this tomorrow, obviously they're going to be through and looking like a phenomenal team. But the problem with DRS is, I think, for me, is a level of kind of consistency of them playing at this level for more than just a couple matches.
चलो भाई लोग, बहुत अच्छा लगा आज, मजा आया.
Well,
कल फिर से
these guys
मिलते
have been
हैं.
performing
लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब
insanely
और
well
बेल
today's
आइकन
games,
दबाना.
and you
कल
want to
जैसे
see
ही मैं लाइव होऊंगा
consistency,
फिर
they
आपको
definitely showed it to you
नोटिफिकेशन
today.
आएगा.
Not
चलो
one
guys,
game
bye bye,
have they been
see you,
placed lower
good
than
night,
7th.
take
Not
care,
one
stay
game.
safe.
They had 2 7th place finishes, and then the other 4 games they had, it was top 4, top